Dan MegaMix.
Hello, everyone. How are you? Fine, thank you.
I don't know. Shannon, but
I wish I were a bird.
なんであんた英語喋っとるん
Shannon, but
We'll get into all this, but we always start from the beginning. And to introduce you to our listeners, ladies and gentlemen, Shannon Burke. How you doing, man?
I'm doing great.
And so for
I'm just honored to be here. Thank
You
you.
have a much better radio voice than any of us.
Oh, yeah.
Like, he sounds so creamy.
It's true.
In my headphones, and
Not
I'm like,
creamy.
And I'm like, you know, like, it's just
I'm like a marble
terrible.
mouth. I can barely talk.
Yeah, you're like, whoa, 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 and I'm like,
Interruption.
mumble.
So Shannon, let's get right into it.
Let's get into it. Where do I start?
Let's start from the beginning because I don't know. Like
I don't
even,
know this
even
part.
back before. I don't know if you were in radio in Austin because you came from Austin, Texas, correct?
Yeah.
Were you? Because I know you owned bars, and
Yeah, let's
that's
talk
all
about
I
that.
know.
Yeah, I want to talk about
But
the bar.
here's the
Okay.
condensed story.
Yeah.
I did own a bunch of bars, and well, not a bunch. I owned 2 bars, and I owned one was a bar and grill, pool hall. One was a live jazz club,
Okay.
martini bar under like a basement level, cool as shit.
That is cool.
It's called Cedar Street. It's still there.
2 bars are better than 1 bar, by the way.
Yes,
when you own
and
them.
and I had a little shithole neighborhood joint, and then I opened another bar. Anyway, I was in the bar business, but I was in the bar business a lot in Austin. So I spent a ton of money on advertising because I would get a cut rate if I bought for 3 places.
Yeah.
you know, you would get a deal. So a rock station I bought time on.
Okay.
Flipped to all FM talk.
Yeah.
And it was Howard Stern mornings, and then Don and Mike somewhere in there,
Wow.
and Pharrell, and
Not the Pharrell that the kids know.
Scotty Pharrell.
Oh, I thought you meant
No, Scotty. You know Scotty Pharrell, right?
Yeah.
Scotty on the Edge.
Yes,
I
yeah.
touched it like a sports.
He's back
It
on.
sounds like his
he's
brain
back
is-
on terrestrial radio now.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he's huge.
I always liked him. I always thought that guy was pretty funny. He's weird.
He's
you
a
know?
pretty cool guy. So I spent $100,000 my first year with this one station doing these 3 bars. That was
Holy
that was
shit.
my annual,
Okay.
and I split it between my clubs.
Yeah.
And they're like, "Fuck, you're our biggest." You know,
Yeah.
all of a sudden I'm the big cat. I'm the highest, local guy spending money with them.
Yeah. For
And
the people.
they
You're the
just
John
flipped.
Morgan.
It was
Yeah.
owned by Shamrock Communications out of Pennsylvania somewhere. A bunch of weirdos. A family owned.
Yeah.
They owned the Orlando Sentinel for a long. I mean, the Orlando Weekly for a while. They
Oh,
still
really?
own it.
Yeah.
Shamrock Communications. They may still. Where was I?
No. You're talking about.
So
you're the biggest client.
So they're like, "Hey, we really love you. Thanks for doing." Because they used I had one joint. It's kind of high profile. It was a jazz club, and people, celebrities went there. So
more
we're-
of an upscale kind of a deal.
kind of, but we were always in the paper. It seems because when someone of note came into town, I greased every concierge in the fucking city. And we were in
Yeah.
such a great location. It was a hip joint.
Yeah.
They would always send so Sly Stallone would be in there one day. Denzel Washington's in there one night.
Wow,
Eric
that's
fucking
awesome.
Clapton is in there one night.
No
I mean,
shit.
Oh,
dude.
if you got Clapton, then you know
You're the
your
man.
jazz club
I mean,
is going well.
Yeah.
Huge. So because we were high profile, it helped the station to grow their sales. We're like, hey, look, we're with Cedar Street. Look, we're the only,
Yeah.
So anyway, they would give me like tickets, like, hey, thanks for all your hard work. Here's some tickets to Puerto Vallarta, whatever
Yeah.
the fuck. They took me.
That's radio station's form of money, by the way.
Yeah.
They're having money.
pay you.
It's just like, here's some Ticketmaster tickets to Disturb.
Yeah.
It's currency now.
Here's 2 tickets to Disturbed and a 3-day Carnival cruise. Like, oh, fuck you! Fuck you! Give me money.
They sent me to New York City to see the premiere of Private Parts. I was on that station.
That's
It was
cool,
Howard
though.
Stern station.
That's
That
cool.
was cool.
That's
Yeah,
cool.
that is cool.
So, and then that year was over. The first annual. And right before the holidays, they start greasing me again for another annual, wanting to bump it up a little bit.
Yeah.
Now it's $120,000. They say, hey, is there anything we can do for you?
Yeah.
And I said, kind of jokingly, I just said, yeah, give me a radio show. And they said, all right, you got it. I'm going to give you a radio show.
No shit. Yeah.
What, like
how
that
it's
quickly? See, that's how it happens, kids.
But it
If
was
you're
a
spending $100,000, you can literally do it. They'll be like, "I'll suck your dick." They probably would like.
You should have said that. That's a better story. You should have been like, "Suck my dick."
Let
All right. Here we go.
A desperate radio sales guy will suck a dick.
Do you want me to suck it on your radio show? No. My radio
Will you be
show's
periscoping this?
Please don't periscope me sucking your dick. Let me put my tie back.
Yeah.
So they did. It was like Saturday nights, and I would go to my at that point, my main interest is the jazz club because it's making all the dough.
Yeah.
And I had managers. So I would go there and get it cranking on a Saturday night and leave to do a 9 to midnight show on a Saturday night.
What did you just talk? It was all talk?
Yeah, the whole station was talk.
Now, did you
Originally, it was to be about entertainment and nightlife and cigars and drinks, you know.
Yeah.
But I really sucked at that. I sucked. I have somewhere some of that.
But you
first
like cigars
week's
and
audio.
drinks.
Yeah, but it was just shitty radio. I didn't know what I was doing,
Okay.
and you know,
Is that something-
I sucked really bad. It was horrible.
Is it something you always thought about doing? Like, you got into the bar business, and you're obviously a businessman, but did you ever think in the back of your mind, like, hey, I was always into radio? Like,
Well, I originally wanted to be an actor. I told my parents that, you know,
Okay.
they freaked out. I went to the Arts Magnet Performing Arts School.
Okay, I didn't know
Performing
that.
Arts High School in Dallas, Texas. and
Never fucking
in the
knew that.
theater department. I, did some acting, some,
Cool.
you know.
I could totally see you doing that.
Yeah.
so you
Not anymore.
So you wanted to, like, you always grew up in that frame of mind where, like, entertainment always, you know, kind of you're drawn towards it. Yeah. Okay.
And alcohol.
Okay.
And I found them both in the bar business.
It's funny. Yeah. Funny how that works out.
And
Hi,
that was
Eric Clapton.
And so, hey, Eric, we had a wine bottle display in the front of the place that, I mean, literally, it was a who's who of celebrities.
Do you
So
still
people-
have it, or is it
yeah,
still there?
we still have. I mean, there's God, I get Sylvester Stallone, Denzel Washington. What's the guy with the black dude, funky eye, big Forrest Whitaker?
He's
After the
huge.
bar closed, I spent an evening with Forrest Whitaker in my cigar room, drinking a bottle of Absolute, straight up neat, smoking cigars, and just talking about just bullshitting.
No shit. That's
Friday
awesome.
night, because right down the street was the Four Seasons, and that's where they all stayed. So
Wow.
What a great location.
anyway, and then I apparently I started doing. They gave me about a year of doing Saturdays. They gave me an afternoon drive slot.
Okay.
That's a big deal, though.
Yeah, it was a big deal.
Second most coveted position, you would say on
Yeah.
the talk station.
Yeah, I think
you know.
so.
So you must have been doing well. Or
Yeah, at some point, I stopped
people
sucking
started people started listening, and they're like, "Oh shit, this bar guy that pays us 100 G's a year, 120 now,
Hey, listen-
he's actually good."
And at that point, they started paying me.
Oh, okay.
When
Yeah,
I
yeah.
did drive time.
Did you stop advertising because they'd be like, "Fuck this, I'll just talk about my bar."
Well, that was part of the deal. They said the reason they were paying me so much is so that they would give me the freedom to talk about my bars.
right.
At that point in my life, I was like, I only sold one of them.
Okay.
And I was kind of thinking I need to get, maybe, I'm drinking my ass off. I'm drunk at every night.
So you sold
I
the
get home at
neighborhood
5
one,
a.m.
but you have the
Yeah.
jazz club? Is that
I
correct?
sold, I sold the pool hall bar and
Okay.
grill lunch joint. And I still had the other two.
And no matter, even if you're making money, the bar industry is tough, right? It's just like, imagine
Oh, my
that
God,
it's a
dude.
pain in the ass.
It's a fucking full-time 24/7 job.
Yeah.
Because also your employees that work at bars, like they're all like
they're
pain in
really
the ass.
great.
They're all drunk and on coke.
Every fucking one of them are stealing it. Let me tell you a
Yeah,
funny
yeah.
story.
Okay.
So one night I'm in it was called the District Bar and Grill, right on the corner of Lavaca and 6th Street,
Yeah.
but not down the busy part of 6th Street. Now it's hip as fuck, but it wasn't on the strip. So this lady's pissed off because one of my waitresses had didn't make. They haven't seen her. Where the fuck is she?
Yeah.
We want our change. And I said, let me help you. I'll get your change. I go to get her change. I'm a quarter short of making a change, and I go to one of my waiters who's standing there waiting at the service well for a drink. I go, hey, Steve, I need a quarter. He goes, oh yeah, come here. And I back up to where the coffee station is, and he reaches in his apron. He pulls out a little baggie of Coke. I said, no, I need a quarter. And then I'm like, by the way, you're fired.
It's like, oh shit.
He goes, oh, dude, I'm
Or
sorry."
you're my favorite waiter. Or
You're our new head waiter.
yeah, it depends on what mood I'm in. But you
Depends on
may
how
be the new GM.
Depends how good this quarter
I
is.
needed a radio producer. Can you run a board?
It's rough. It is a rough business. I couldn't wait to. Now I miss it, but and I wish I'd stayed in it a little.
You ever thought about doing it in town? Because you know how to do it, and Austin obviously
It's a lot of work.
is hipper than Orlando. That's no diss on Orlando.
That
but
place is still doing quite well.
Yeah.
yeah, but I think we're coming into our own. Like, I'm very proud of what our city is now, and I could see you doing that. Like, I could see you running like a
We
little,
are a hip city. People don't realize that
Yeah.
Orlando's a hip It really
totally.
hit
Especially
fucking
with
city.
like the soccer team coming in here, kind of
Yeah.
proved like, oh shit,
They really kicked it up.
Yeah. They're
Really
like
kicked it up.
Orlando's not just Disney World anymore. But so going back
You
to
should write that down. That's fucking good.
That's a good one.
Not just Disney World. I don't know how you're going to get
Not
past
just
that
Disney World,
using that
anyone.
part.
The Disney people are not going to like it, but everyone else is
I
going
mean,
to
you can
dig it.
black bar that. We'll know what it is. Just put the D and then black bar the
Yeah.
rest. We'll get it.
So you sold one bar. You're now doing.
He's got two more other
I'm a
bars.
radio guy.
Yeah.
I'm in radio.
So
you
now,
know?
that's what you're focused
When
on.
people ask me what I would do at that point, I was like, I'm a radio drive time afternoon talk show.
But that's a big deal.
and Austin's a
thought it
big
was.
market too,
I make
right?
shitty. I made shit at the time. It was market 48, so I was in the top 50.
Okay, yeah.
Wow. So
Gotcha.
you
Yeah.
went from owning bars, selling one, to being an afternoon drive guy on a talk show in a top 50 station.
Yes.
That's huge.
And then I went from that, and then they moved me to.
And when I said that, did you hear the thunder?
Was that thunder?
It's almost as if, like, God hates all of us. Yeah.
Cocksucker. What happens then? Oh. The morning guy. No, I came on right after. They moved me up to come on right after Howard.
Okay.
So I did mornings.
So middays
He
now.
did mornings, and I came on right after him. It was a great. I didn't know.
But you're
exactly,
still doing mornings, because we did that for a while with the Monsters,
Yeah.
because he used to go off at like 10 or
or
12.
10:30,
whenever
or
he
11.
wanted, yeah.
And then I came on then and went to 3. So I did really well there, and I thought things were going great. It was like my third year on the air.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not making great money. I think I'm trying to think. The most I ever made was $35,000 a year.
Yeah.
1995, 96.
Wow, you and Tom have a lot in common.
And
I'm sorry, buddy. Don't punch me in the face.
But I had some other income coming in, but I didn't give a fuck about my bars at that point. I wanted to be a radio.
Yeah.
So, and then I got a call one morning about 9 o'clock at the house. It was the GM, and he's like, "Hey, it's Mark." I said, "Hey, Mark, what's going on?" He goes, "I said I'm on my way." He goes, "Don't come in." I said, "What do you mean, don't come in? I'm coming in. Come on, man. Big show plan today, man." All right.
Oh, no.
That was the very last day of Howard's contract with Shamrock Communications.
Oh, no.
And all of the shit had been going on behind the scenes. And I said, "Well, what the fuck's going on?" He goes, "Listen to the Howard, then you'll understand. Call me around 4 o'clock. I'll meet you for a drink. I'm up to my asshole on alligators." And right when Howard went off the air, it flipped to a Tejano station, and it played Mexican music.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Right? It was just ranchero all day.
Yeah, all fucking day long.
Is that big in Austin?
Yeah, apparently. Yeah.
There's a lot of Mexicans in Texas. I didn't know.
Yeah.
I got a few. So that was the end of it. And then I put my tape, my resume and tape out there, and I got some interest from Benson, Tom Benson, at
Bless
FLA.
Tom Benson. I haven't heard that name
That
in a
is
long
one.
time.
That is one clean. I mean, if you want a clean urine sample, you go to Tom Benson. Yes, trust me.
Yeah,
that
that-
motherfucker has had a half a glass of wine in his life.
Yeah,
Literally.
I love him
Over
a lot,
time.
but he used to look at me like I'm an alien, because he is the nerdiest nerd.
Yes.
He's the nerd. He's the whitest nerd.
Listen, still to this day, he knows what channel to find Hogan's Heroes on, and what time, and he watches it every fucking
Yeah.
day. And he's obviously seen them all 1,000
Now
times.
you know who this guy is.
I recognize a name, but I don't know.
Bald glasses.
Hey, buddy.
And he was what?
The program director at 540 WFL.
Okay, program director 540.
He's kicked you out of the booth you would be editing
Is
on.
he still there?
No. He was cut. He was one of the bloodlettings in the last 5 years.
okay,
He got
gotcha,
let go.
But just remember, anytime you ask, is he still there? The answer is no. Everyone is gone. They're all dead.
But he is the genius that brought you Bud Hedinger.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Is Bud still there?
Old Butthead. He's still there.
Oh, okay.
So anyway, I get called out for this gig here, and they said, "Come out. We want to fly you out and meet everybody." I knew I knew TKS was there because I probably sent my tape from. I was on 98.9 KJFK in Austin.
Okay.
It was 98.9 KJFK.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Those are good call letters.
Yeah, pretty good.
Yeah.
Because there was a KLBJ across the street. That
Oh,
we
wow. It's all
competed with.
presidential.
Yeah.
So, why did I have to tell you that?
I don't know. I like
I
it.
don't even know either. So I send my tape.
You're
to
sobering
Tom.
up, man. You're losing your mind.
You do have beer here, right?
yeah,
So
we do,
Tom
plenty.
says, "Come on out." We'll So I talk to Tom. I meet people. They show me around.
Yeah.
I knew that every demo I ever sent TKS went right in the fucking trash, and I was right. because I met Kampmeyer.
Yeah.
And then Kampmeyer and Benson and I all went to the TGI Fridays on 436 for a lunch. You know,
Southwest
I get to know
roll!
Yeah.
I love him!
Yeah. He, so it went like this. Tom's there. He goes, I'll have a iced tea, unsweetened, please. It's Friday, and it's like 2 o'clock in the afternoon. And Cam goes, I'll have a Bud Light, large. I followed his lead. I said, I'll have what he's having.
Yeah.
And so they...
I like the cut of your jib!
They flew me out one more time and made me an offer to do FLA, and I said, "All right, I'll do it."
I remember that.
Yeah.
I was there as an intern. I remember, well, not at FLA, but
Kampmeyer got along really, really well. That second trip I made, he goes, "Come on, bud, we'll go." We went out and had a lunch somewhere and some beers, and he drove me around to show me some neighborhoods.
Yeah.
You know, I was supposed to get an offer that day. He's like, "All right, here's Winter Park. You won't be able to afford to live here on what we're paying you." And dude, literally 14 days later, I had to sell my house in Austin, so I left my wife and my new daughter at the time there, and drove out here with I had a truck, and I hauled my little Porsche out here, and in the truck was my brother, my dog, and I had a macaw, a big parrot, and half my shit, you know. And that's it.
You had a parrot in a moving truck?
Did you have to sell
there was a door between the cab and the back.
Did you have to sell your bar out there? Did you say?
No, at the time I still owned it.
Okay, gotcha.
Which was a bad mistake.
Okay. You're like, I'll just run it from Florida.
It'll be easy.
Let me tell you, the guy you trust more than anyone else in your life is the guy that's going to lose your liquor license and throw you into some serious financial trouble.
Yeah. I was like,
dude,
my employees won't snort coke off the fucking bar and drink me out of all my inventory.
I'm honest enough to say that I did not. I did not set the best example for him.
Okay,
because in the '90s I snorted more fucking cocaine. I mean, I snorted cocaine every. It was wow. What's that? Okay, it's a good beer.
Oh yeah,
brown sugar. Oh, Lagunitas. Lagunitas sucks.
And it's a high octane too.
Oh yeah,
the big
perfect.
More than.
Take my shirt off. Where was it?
So, kept your bar. You said it was a bad idea.
One of them. It was a bad idea because it fucked me up.
You come out here with a Porsche, a parrot, and a truck.
That sounds like a joke.
You always heard me talk about Fiddler's Green. It's still like a home away from home. I'm dear friends with the owner. We're very good friends.
Yeah.
And when I drove in that day with my brother, it was like 9 o'clock at night. I rented a house at Lakemont and Aloma.
Okay.
We drove in. I got my bulldog, I got my parrot, and I saw the place. I said, hey, that looks like a good place. Let's go unload, put the dog and the bird inside, get the car off the trailer, and come down here and grab a bite to eat.
Yeah.
We did. We ended up closing the place like the very first night and meeting Donald.
And that's how it goes. Yeah.
They're on it.
Yeah.
So that's it. And I had 2 weeks before I started at FLA. And I spent a lot of that time playing golf with Kampmeyer and smoking weed in the woods.
Okay.
That's what happens. That's what you do.
So now you're doing FLA.
You ever
you're doing,
thought about pine needles? What the fuck is a pine needle?
So you're doing AM here, FLA, and so at this time you're like, okay, like I'm back on the air and I'm doing my show. What was your plan? Was your plan to then move maybe to a different station, or to look at opportunities, or just
I didn't really have a plan at the time. I was just
You just
doing
had
it.
the bug. You liked radio, right?
Yeah, it's my second job. I mean, it's my second job in radio, and I moved my family across the country and really disrupted my life. So
Yeah.
I was going to give it my all and try real hard and blah, blah, blah.
What year was this?
2000, late 2000.
Late 2000.
I was here for 9/11 and all that shit.
Never
Okay,
forget.
Never. Ever.
Yeah.
Never. Ever.
So,
Look at my tattoo right here. See? Never forget, motherfucker.
and so
That's a joke.
How long do you do that show for?
3 years.
3 years.
Sometimes in the afternoon. First part was in the afternoon, then I get moved to mornings.
Yeah, and
Here's a great story. Then they fire Stern.
Yes, yeah.
And they moved the Monsters to the morning. Were
Yeah.
you on at the time?
I was an intern.
Okay.
I was an intern with the Monsters of the Midday, because this is where I can kind of remember.
You were on the Monsters of the Midday?
Yeah. And
Wow, who are you?
but I was on the.
Were you drunk
That's
in the
my
bear?
favorite show, Monsters.
You were drunk in the bear, weren't you?
You motherfucker.
Oh, jump something, Jumpy.
this motherfucker. So, like, I got in there in like 2003 in December, and then right when the fucking Super Bowl happened, Janet Jackson's shows
Pulled out that gross ass titty.
gross titty.
Fucking gross titty with a sunshine.
That's right.
And her gross titty changed the fucking radio industry, which is insane to say.
She's
but
coming
it's
in
fucking
concert
true.
with Amway.
You really can dial it right down to that one event.
Yeah.
It really
Justin
changed her.
Timberlake. I blame Justin.
Yeah.
I don't
He's
blame
the one
her.
who exposed
He's the
the-
one that exposed the
But
gross
she probably
titty.
talked him into it.
Yeah.
You think
You know?
so?
Yeah, he's innocent.
She's very soft-spoken, and he's a bit of a ham.
and a baller, though.
On down around the
Think about how that one incident changed even all of our lives at one time. You know what I'm saying? So
In an
okay.
instant.
Yeah, you're right. And so
It got me paid less, I'll tell you that.
so that actually ended up getting you paid more.
No.
No?
No, 'cause
because then you got syndicated to a bunch of different. Well, I mean, this is not chatting with the masters with you. You,
Yeah.
Well,
Hey, wait, let's focus on the other man.
It freaks out. I freak out when people don't talk to me very.
So Janet Jackson shows her titty, and
Yeah.
then that, of course, starts a chain reaction where the FCC starts coming down. Their first number one person is fucking Howard Stern.
Yeah.
And then all Clear Channel stations start putting tons of pressure on Howard Stern,
Yep.
and then he says, "Fuck it, I'm out." Right, which wasn't in
Well,
that.
I think Clear Channel fired him because
Clear Channel fired him.
I thought he bounced.
At the time, he only had two Clear Channel stations, I think.
It wasn't that
maybe
many, yeah.
Very few. And Clear Channel made the decision.
Okay.
Near the end of his deal, I think, but they made the decision to do it.
Yeah.
And so TKS immediately bumps the Monsters up to the mornings.
Yeah.
And then plays a kind of a montage of Monsters, Phillips, and I think Drew
Garabo at the time.
best ofs during the afternoon.
Yes.
The word's on the street, they're looking for somebody to fill the
Yep.
deal.
Mm-hmm.
So,
I was in that meeting.
well, first of all, I've heard about this meeting, but I wasn't in the meeting. I walked into Kampmeyer's office one day after I heard the news, and Colin Brady had texted me some shit. They had a meeting. They were looking
Oh,
for this,
man,
blah, blah.
God bless Colin.
Yeah, I missed the fuck out of him.
I'll just throw some fucking good energy into the air.
He's one great motherfucker.
I
man.
miss that guy, and we'll talk about that, though.
Yeah,
Maybe
man.
we can chat about that.
I miss him a lot. So he's like, dude, you throw your name in the hat, blah, blah, blah. One afternoon, I finished my morning show. I fucking get my shit together. I marched in. And boom, I already called Kampmeyer, emailed him. Going to meet with you at the show, buddy. Got some time?
You got it, bud.
So, and I go
I'm
down.
still in the woods.
And I walk in his office. He goes, "Oh, what do you want to talk?" I love Kampmeyer because I talk.
Shano!
I can talk radio. That motherfucker talks radio. I mean, real. I mean, he talks trends and people, and he knows his fucking shit. Whatever you think about him personally, that motherfucker.
He eats the butt of radio like ratings. He'll get up in it.
There's nobody I know, and I've been in radio like 20 years. There's nobody I know that is that adept at knowing the industry.
He loves it, but he loves it.
He does.
He loves the art of the
I'm
deal.
jerking off on an arbitrage right now.
The contract, all of that. He loves all of it.
On Roomba.
We have to cut all this out.
That's fine.
So I go into his office. We
You
talk some
finishing
radio.
his Roomba, by the way, might be the funniest thing I've ever heard. I almost choked and died right now.
Roomba! Caliente! Arroz con pollo! Taca frita! I'm just naming dishes at this point.
And then I walk into his office. We talk radio, and he sit down. And he goes, "Well, what's going on?" I said, "Look," I said, "You're looking for somebody at TKS." I said, "I'm your man."
Yeah.
He goes, "What?" I said, "I'm your man." He goes,
Oh, you're out of your fucking mind,
Yeah,
bud.
that's what he would say.
You're out of your You poisoned yourself, that fucking conservative shit. They'll never buy it.
He laughed
good.
Me.
No,
He
that's
laughed
good.
at me in my face and said that I've poisoned myself because I talked conservative politics on his own station.
Yeah.
We've all been laughed in the face
Because-
by that gentleman, by the way.
Because real radio always
Very liberal.
left leaning. You know what I'm saying? Obviously,
Yeah.
Jim Phillips.
Right.
With the Monsters, there's a crew of fucking rednecks. You know what I'm saying? Just party.
the Monsters were different in the fact that there was a level.
There was no politics, but
a level of tolerance. But at the same time, I don't even know how it works, to tell you the truth, because there was levels of racist jokes and a style that still was appealing. I think personally, I take it all back to Orlando. And you said just a couple of minutes ago we have a hip town. Those type of talk stations.
It wasn't hip back in the.
They don't work everywhere though. For whatever reason, it works in this city. For whatever reason, it works.
People are trained. The listeners are trained here.
Yeah,
and then also Drew Garabo,
very liberal.
Liberal. So then, of course, Kampmeyer's like, well, you are conservative, and it'll never fucking work.
I was so dejected that when I left his office,
I bet.
I'm like, I immediately got hammered, shit-faced drunk.
So you thought there's no chance at this point?
Fuck you, Caroline. Yeah. There's no choice at that point. Yeah. And so then there was a meeting of everybody on the station. I don't know. I wasn't in the meeting, but I'm told that Jim Phillips gave me some props. And that's why they put me on.
He did, and everybody else kind of seemed to think it was a good idea. And correct me if I'm wrong. I think maybe I don't want to speak for him, but I think Drew felt like he should do it, but he never spoke up. And then later he kind of says, I never really said anything. It's kind of back on me. Now, I don't want to put words in his mouth or anything like that, but, Let
me tell you, to walk into that Kampmeyer's office and lay that on the table and say, this is what I would like to do, I would have been happy if he said, well, Bob, we can't put you there. We're going to put Drew there, but I'll put you in Drew's position. I would have walked out of there happy, guys.
You would have taken it.
My foot's in the door at TKS, the best FM talk station in the fucking country.
Sure.
It sets the bar.
No, I got you.
Sabo original.
And we can talk about it now, obviously, because Drew's in such a great place now at the Bone in Tampa. So it's.
I heard he made $700,000 a year.
No shit.
Yeah, and that's just his base.
Fucking Tampa's a huge market.
Yeah,
you're in it right now.
Bigger in Orlando. I'll tell you that.
You got a lot of fucking Twitter followers.
What happens to the Orlando
Funny
guys?
enough, though, you'd think if you move from here to there, you get a pay bump. It's not so. They're really not.
Well, but
they don't care.
The Orlando guys that choose not to go radio, you know what happens to them? They end up broadcasting in a spare bedroom. Inviting real radio guys in to talk to them.
I thought that you guys may have something going here. I think you may be onto something.
Hopefully it catches on.
I'm thinking I think this thing you may be ready to ride this thing.
I cream pie my wife about 9 months ago. There's a baby now, and things got fucking real.
Dude, here's what you guys have done that's so fucking awesome is that you really are, for all practical purposes, completely free of corporate radio. And you don't need corporate radio. You don't need terrestrial radio, which you've proved. It's nice that you do it. I mean, I think it's a cool thing.
Yeah.
But you don't need it, and you've proven that you don't.
We do it for the gays.
It's necessary for someone to be
a corporate
prolific
time
and be entertaining. You just got to do great content.
The corporate time show is strictly for the gays. That's the only reason we do it.
That's a great move. I thought the same thing myself.
That's the only reason we do it.
It's true. So I'm curious now so Kampmeyer tells you absolutely not.
It was a good meeting, though.
You're too fucking conservative.
Just so you know, I was in there. Everybody seemed to think, I like this guy. And then, they did bring up the conservatism and said, I don't know if it's going to work. And
the quote I heard was from Jim, as long as he drops that political bullshit, or something like that.
I think he did say that.
And that's what I thought I was telling Kampmeyer. Listen, I did FM talk. I came on. I followed Stern for 3.5 years in Austin. That's what I came from, and now I'm doing pretty damn good doing political radio. But that's where I cut my teeth. Was there, and
my take on it. I never spoke up because I could give 3 fucks. No offense, but I'm being called in for some dumb meeting that I didn't want to be there for.
Right.
But I'm sitting in the meeting, and my thought was, well, why not? Who cares? The guy, okay, so he's let's say he's conservative. Well, I'm not, but that doesn't mean that he can't do a good show, and it also doesn't mean that people won't want to listen to it. Not every song sounds the fucking same.
Right.
You know what I mean? Let's make it all crazy. Let's that's why I like those weird type of radio stations that are programmed that are all nuts. Like Jack FM and stuff like that, where it's like Beastie Boys into like Leonard Skinner into like Chibamato.
Right.
It's like weird.
Also, not to mention about half the country exactly
conservative.
You're paying like 50% of the entire market.
Why not have both? Why not have
I don't think I ever push it hard. But people expected it of me, and I did whatever the fuck,
No, I get it, but
I thought you're Rush Limbaugh.
I never thought it was an issue, though. And
I was sick and tired of talking politics. I like more lifestyle shit.
I just thought it was weird that it was even brought up because I'm like, well, who cares? Do you guys think he can do a good job or not? That's what we should be arguing about. Not his politics. And who the fuck cares? But I think, like Rush Limbaugh, nobody in this room is going to say he doesn't do a good job.
Yeah.
We may not agree with what he says,
Yeah.
but he does a good job.
It's great.
Yeah,
Who the
yeah.
fuck cares?
Oh, he knows exactly what he's fucking doing.
Yeah.
And his pain pill.
One of the
crazy.
Oh, I wish I could get a hand. If I could get a handle on these pain pills.
He knew.
Because Tom and I have a massive love affair
Cool. With Oxy?
with the Oxys.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
God, if we only knew.
But yeah, he knew.
I bet you that guy, some of the
Fat-
airplane flights he's taken have been so fun. Can you imagine flying to Hawaii?
I'm on my private jet.
Yeah, on like his
Snorting
jet
Oxys.
with like 7 Oxys in
Yeah,
it.
yeah,
Banging a hooker.
He's like, I can't feel my feet, and I hate Obama.
You know what? If I've had 7 Oxys, I might hate him too. You know,
Listen, he was obviously on Oxys when he hired the entertainment for his wedding was fucking Elton John. You know?
Well, that should tell you, like,
He's like, who the fuck is that queer on the stage? No, but you hired him last week, Mr. Releva.
when I heard that, I said there talking to my wife because, like, you know, we're talking about like I was like, it's an act, man. Well, not an act, but it's entertainment. I can say that.
Yeah.
I was like, it's entertainment, man. It's entertainment. So when I heard that, I'm like, oh, come on, this motherfucker, he's killing it. He's just doing it right.
Yeah.
He's a man. Listen, and I'm not nearly as conservative as he is. I'm more of a
You
libertarian.
ever met him?
Yeah.
You ever met him?
Yeah, I've met him once, but you know, it's like, hey, how you doing? Hey, whatever. You don't matter to me. I have more money than God. But he would take the simplest things. There was who was the general that was running for Republican? He was a NATO general. Forget his name. Running for in 2008, I think.
I know what you're talking
You know,
about.
the guy talking about he
yeah.
ran NATO, Colonel something or other.
Let's call him Sanders.
Yes, Colonel Sanders. And he's running, I think it was running as a Democrat. Anyway, he had done one of those. You know, you have on the news, Colonel so-and-so is at, you know, he's campaigning, and he goes back to a diner, he talks to the people, blah, 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 for some footage, and then he goes back and meets the workers, and the workers are, our job is so fucking hard, we have our hair nets, it sucks, and he's like, oh, well, tell me more about your plight, and as he's doing it, the guy pours a pancake on a flat top, and the film is, they've got it all, and he goes a little early for the flapjack, he goes, it just fucks the whole thing up, it's everywhere, and he's and so Rush Limbaugh, the next day goes, I wanted to find out how hard it really is to turn a flapjack. So people are Democrats like, we have a war. Fuck you, Rush. You don't have to be to flip a flapjack to run the country. And he says, first I had to figure out where my kitchen was. And he goes, then I called my chef, and I said, can you teach me how to do a flapjack? And he goes, and I finally found my way to my kitchen. Just the absurdity. You know that didn't happen, but he played. That's what people think he does every day. It's called his Negro chef. So teach him how to scramble a fucking egg while he drives around his mansion on a golf cart. That's the picture he's painted. It's fucking brilliant.
And then eat it up, and then 500 million
You
contracts.
turn him on.
I admire the shit out of him.
You click it on, and you hear like, "We have a war against flapjack." You know, like, and he spins it.
And
get it,
here's how
man.
you know you're brilliant is that half your listeners hate you. And they listen every day just to hate. They're like, I hate. And then if you can get the people that hate you to listen, you fucking got something.
You win.
I think I could do that. You know? I'm not that guy.
I don't want to be that guy.
I don't think he believes half that shit, but he knows how to twist the buttons and.
It's an entertainment show, and he knows how to do it. But
He's a master.
But you got to be okay with being hated all the time, severely hated.
You find a niche of people. Look, there's a lot of rich fucking Republicans out there you can hang and play fucking golf with,
and they love you.
Fly around your jets, and these guys think you are God.
Oh, my father-in-law. Oh my God, he loves them.
Everybody in my family, really, except for me and my mom. You know, like that's it. You know, like she's a librarian, she doesn't count. You know, like like as soon as she became a librarian, they wrote her off. You know, what? Don't burn any books? Okay, you're dead to us.
Also, not only
you and the Dewey Decimal System.
Wait a minute, you work with gays? Yeah, you're dead to us.
Not only can you get the people that hate you to listen, but you can get the redneck that lives in a trailer that's poor as shit to listen to you talk about your rich freaking golf cart life, and he loves you too. And it's like because of everything you're saying.
I'd be lying if I said there wasn't some thrill in it for me to be able to do that kind of radio and just gin shit up. Then I could take a break and go, all right, we're going to be right back. I can't believe I said that.
Well, Ed used to do that when I worked for Ed Till. That was his style.
Oh, really?
You know, like, but he was the liberal version of that, not the liberal. That's different. But he would do that. He'd just wind people up, and then when we go to break, he would just sit there and be like, "Look at him! Look at the cause! Look what I'm doing!"
Yeah.
You know, there's a power kind of a thing.
What's
there,
he doing these days? Fucking internet deal from
He's doing. He's doing like spots for people for money on like Fiverr or something. I write him all the time. I never get anything back.
$5 for $5?
I think, or more. But it hurts my feelings that I don't get anything back from him. Like he doesn't remember me or anything. But,
Oh, what a dick.
well, I mean, like I would love.
Well,
to
he and I were on that 8:10 a.m. for a while. Here.
Yeah. That's right.
Joke that was.
Yeah. Well, we'll get to that because now we're at.
Can we have an intermission? Because I have to pee.
Oh
Yeah. You want to stop?
Yeah, can we
pee?
just pee?
yeah.
You wanna just
Okay,
pee? I'll come right back.
and stop.
So
Shannon just took a pee, and it sounded like a fucking horse.
it sounded like you were pouring out.
I know you guys were listening.
How big is your dick?
It's massive.
Good Lord.
I tried to, pee on the side, but
It sounded,
I got a dad dog now because I have a kid, and you have a dad dog.
Yeah,
you have a daughter.
probably, yeah.
Tom, you have a son, another son on the way.
Yeah.
I feel my dad dog growing.
Yeah.
Like I can feel it growing and getting thicker and more lazy.
but I don't have a
Yeah.
big biker dad dog.
You don't- you don't.
It sounded like you were pouring out a fish tank in there, and the castle fell out.
Yeah, I heard the castle. I heard like what appeared to be a castle or one of those aqualung, men, like or a treasure chest.
So I think
I meant to say treasure chest.
I think we're at the point of time now where
where are we?
We had the meeting.
I'm on 104. I just start 104.
Yeah.
Well, we had the meeting.
So
and
what did they say? I'm curious to see if they said, if Campmeyer came up to you and said no conservative talk, like if
No,
they,
not really. But he said, just mine. I want to talk. But I think what year was that? I mean, it was
04.
No, yeah. It was a fucking election year.
Yeah.
So we couldn't deny,
Yeah.
But the first
You
thing
can
was,
jabble in it, but let's go Maxim Magazine.
If that motherfucker said Maxim
got it
Magazine
down,
one time,
yeah.
he said Maxim Magazine 100 times.
really,
Audio Maxim.
Yeah.
really.
Oh yeah. He loved the analogy of.
I don't. How do you guys stand with him? You a fan of his? No. You what?
I am now. He and I, we butted heads a little bit contract time.
Yeah.
And when I resigned.
Fuck yeah, me too.
But we had and I've said this before on the show, the best conversation I had with him was when he asked me to come back to the Monsters when, things were bad. And I told him.
You guys making good money there.
Oh, yeah, I did well.
I mean, have you talked about it on your podcast before? About the range you made?
I only, my highest salary there, like the base salary was $35,000.
Right.
And now, but I made
Wow.
That's why I made my joke.
I made another.
Oh, shit.
I made another 35 to close to 40,000.
Okay.
No, you made more than your salary in endorsements.
but another
Oh,
35 and 40,000
shit.
endorsements.
But you really had to bust your ass to
I
do
bust,
that, too.
I bust my ass. But that helped me. Here's the thing. I always said, like, Clear Channel did the best thing they could have ever done for me now. And they taught me.
so positive.
No, but they taught me to fucking find other ways to make money in the actual advertising business. And I use that shit here. Like,
Yeah.
like now.
Thanks for the training.
Tom and Dan.
See you guys.
Ninja.
We've got over 20 advertisers. And
So I think I've got 2 sponsors because of you guys.
Oh, awesome.
Recently.
Who you got? Who you got?
Orlando Hair Club for Men or something like that.
Oh, wait.
Some hair
Central
club
Florida
guy?
hair,
Central Florida?
hair restoration.
That sounds familiar. They don't start yet, but we're just drawing it up. They're on board, and some financial services group that does credit card processing.
Here's a quick tip. Know the name of your sponsors.
Well, they haven't really started officially. But I've never had a sponsor for my podcast,
Really?
Yeah, never. Not one
You
advertiser.
gotta get them. Yeah, they're fun.
I'll
trying
sell
to do it
some
now.
for you. I'll get a cut.
They're fun. They
You
pay
got
for
it, dude. I'll play it.
The best part about them,
20%.
they pay for your weed.
Yeah.
That's the best
Oh,
part.
it's fucking
Oh,
great.
Tom Van cost
So-
35%.
I'm totally cool with him now. The best conversation we had was the last one. Like we just kind of bullshitted and everything was good. I don't really have an axe to grind. Not with him. I know the way the fucking wheel turns. He doesn't have as much to do with that as I think he does.
I got what I thought was a real pretty good raise from moving from AM to FM. What was like a 50% raise?
Yeah.
And then I had the most, but it still didn't sound like it was big time radio money.
Yeah.
It was like 75 was the base. But
that's great.
That's what they offered me to stay, by the way. I would have made six
shit.
figures to stay.
Yeah.
I didn't turn that
so
down. Daniel saying the
they
same
offered
thing.
him more though than they offered me because
it was
they
like
were taking
$2,000
my
more.
money
My-
and rolling it in. Yeah, it was only that much.
my money was made my big money was made in bonuses. I had a ridiculous bonus program that was in fucking before PPM.
Yeah.
That was insane.
Yeah.
The
Yeah.
first place, I'll just tell you, my first place, well, maybe I shouldn't.
No, tell us. Oh, I love it.
My first place bonus was $25,000.
Holy shit! That's high.
You should've
per quarter.
told me
It was
that.
available 3 times a year, not in the summer book.
Yeah. That's how they used to do it before the PPM. It was like,
And then second place was 20, and then third was 15. And
That's
then fourth
fantastic.
was all
That's
the way down
awesome.
to seventh place where I got like $750.
wow.
Oh God, I think for $750, I think I got a young Puerto Rican boy would stick his finger in my ass. I think that's what I got.
And when Kevin came aboard in our first fucking book, we were number one. Our very first.
Yeah.
I never thought we'd do it.
It's a good show.
Our first full.
Well, it's a good
book.
show now.
Yeah.
I mean,
But people to Tampa don't like it. Our ratings suck down there.
really?
No,
Shit,
really?
Yeah. Well, we're not number one like we were up here.
Huh.
But it takes some time, though.
Well, yeah.
Yeah, well, it also takes a station that will, promote you.
Yeah, okay, yeah.
Or give you a 60-second promo.
Yeah.
We don't even get that.
Oh, really?
The morning show has promos for its show during its own show.
Okay.
So if you're listening, here's a reminder of how good the show you're already listening to really is.
I mean,
and they refuse because they're so afraid of Bubba right now.
Okay,
That's a
yeah.
whole other story.
Yeah, we'll get to that.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
we're very lucky in that, we do a corporate time, which is our terrestrial, I guess our terrestrial arm.
Sister station.
Yeah. Our
And-
sister
and-
show.
and congratulations, that's fucking awesome.
Thanks. I mean, we get it like Jack, Boss Man Jack gives us a lot of promos, though. Like, he really, I think he
Yeah.
believes in it. He
So
listens
I'm sure your
to
ratings
it.
are great.
We
I
are
have no idea.
We are the.
It doesn't- here's
we
the
are
thing,
the
it doesn't-
number
You don't care.
one.
Yeah,
No,
what do
we
you
are.
care?
We're number one, but we're the number one in 1 hour or 45 minute. We're the number one 45-minute pre-recorded from 7 to 8 show
Well,
Monday through Friday.
Well, no. We were on Wednesdays. I don't even know what we haven't been doing it long enough. But for us, it's just a big advertisement for this.
Yeah.
For
Oh, hell yeah.
And they give me a bunch of stuff to sell. And because
We
I'm
sell
good,
our own.
because I'm good at that, I sell a bunch of commercials on there too.
For them.
No, for me.
you.
For me.
Yeah.
No, we get
Plus,
100% of it.
Your guys already got to love that. The people that were with you just for your podcast are like, now we got to,
Extra content, yeah.
You know what I found our listeners do, and we'll get back to you because I don't want it to be about us. But our listeners,
No, I'm going to interview you guys. I have some questions for you. about it.
I know you flipped
brought
it.
them.
Our listeners put it on when they're like picking up their kids. They're like, yeah, it's the safe version of what I really love, and I'm like, oh, okay, I never really thought about that.
That
you
makes
know?
sense.
And but then those of the people that don't know we do this, mediocre time, they hear us and then we promote that all the time, and they're like, oh shit, so we're bringing listeners into there.
Okay, back to TKS.
Yeah. So
Okay.
So right now, and we'll fast forward a little bit. Once you get the show, your original lineup: Stedman, Jimmy D.
Yeah, and I was looking for a co-host.
Yeah, a co-host. Yeah.
And they ran everybody by. Miss B, they ran her by.
No
I thought,
shit.
Miss B.
Miss Bea Loris is great.
Are you kidding
No,
me?
Miss B and I had a nice long meeting in the
Didn't work.
room. What the fuck they call the big room with a. And then then we had another meeting.
Well, a female co-host doesn't vibe as much with your
she
style,
was-
I think.
And she had some, history here in this city.
Yeah.
Long before me. I don't know. We just didn't hit it off.
Well, a lot of times when you're bringing somebody in that already has like a quote persona,
For the record,
It might be a little more difficult.
At the very first, when they made the offer, they said, we got to build a team, blah, blah, blah. And I said, well, just get SBK. Because SBK and I had worked together when he was an intern at the Monsters.
Yeah.
Or maybe he was paid. I don't know.
Yeah.
But he did a lot of voices with me when I was at 540.
Yeah,
I would
yeah.
do ridiculous shit.
Oh, I didn't know you guys knew each other before that.
Yeah, he
Oh,
would.
no,
He would
okay.
do. He was like. He did a character on the air for me. It was like a black guy that helped black people act more white.
Okay, yeah.
Little
Yeah.
shit like that. My listeners really believed every fucking thing he said.
yeah, he's got a little.
Well,
Phil
this guy's
Hendricks
real good. I think more people like him would be great. I mean,
yeah. Like-
so I knew that we had some chemistry together.
Yeah.
Camera was like,
There's no way about it. He's got like a fucking 30 share. And
where was he? Fort Myers, whatever.
Fort Myers, yeah.
And dude, he did.
He was butt fucking Fort Myers. He
Dude,
was.
he fucking owned it with a bullet.
Yeah, and I went down there one time. I listened to the show, hung out on the show, went out afterwards
shit,
to the
did you
strip.
really?
Yeah, I went and visited him.
Yeah, he was the king of Fort Myers.
I went out to the strip clubs with him afterwards. It was a night I will never forget.
Yeah.
Like it was amazing.
Yeah.
Like the way that they treated him, the way he was treated. He was like treated like you think like Jay-Z or like a hip hop star or like a like it doesn't even have to be a hip hop star. I mean, even by saying that it sounds
Right.
sort of fucking racist, but you know what I mean? Like just by like just
does.
doing good shit. Like
flag
he was
shit.
killing it, like he was doing such a great job in Fort Myers, but I think he always wanted to come back to Real Radio.
Well, of course, there's a huge leap market size.
Yeah.
And so he was working for a Clear Channel station down there. So Catmeyer was able to work something out with the guy down there.
Yeah.
I don't know how they did it.
It's always easier to negotiate within the company rather than with another company outside.
Yeah.
So and then who knows what the fuck behind the scenes, like, oh, we'll do this, that, whatever. We owe you one.
I'll see you at the company meeting and blow you. I'll fuck your fat wife again.
I mean, just like Mr. Show says, the world is run by a series of blowjobs.
Yeah.
Which is the way it works.
So Kevin comes up.
And we fucking kill it. I mean, the whole station was on fire at that time. Remember that?
Yeah.
You guys were killing it. Mornings were one. We were one. You know, you could not fucking pry a number one ratings position out of fucking Jim Phillips' hands, and that motherfucker just has to go. I mean,
that's true.
He's the master.
Yeah.
And that station was on fucking fire.
Yeah. So at this time, this is like 2000, late 2004, early 5, around that time, and then you're killing it. Now this is a rumor I heard about you, and you tell me because this is ridiculous. But back in the day, I remember like I didn't know much about your past, and I knew you came from AM, and like everybody around the radio station was like, yeah, Shannon came from an AM station. He was hardcore conservative talk, like Rush Limbaugh, and he was like wore a suit and.
I never wore a suit. I don't even own a suit.
And then when he got to real radio, he got full sleeve tattoos. He got a chopper, and then he became biker man on real radio. So his whole personality changed. And then I was like, really? I'm like, that's weird.
Like he did a makeover.
Yeah.
I never heard that.
Like,
that's funny.
Like it was designed almost like a corporate design that like.
Hey, bud, we gotta get you a Harley. You got some tattoos.
Yeah.
I gotta fuck your hair up and grow a chin beard.
Yeah. So that's
be my radio RoboCop.
But and then that I'm a fucking intern, part-time guy at this time. I'm like, oh shit, that's how much.
The amount of shit talking in that.
Who knows what?
Joint, it's ridiculous.
Well, I mean, in reality, I've had a Harley since I was 17 years old. I've never been without a bike. I moved here. I may have looked like I didn't have any tattoos, but I have several tattoos that you can't see that you couldn't see then. You know, obviously
his dick
now
is
I said
all black,
completely black. I mean, obviously now I've got I've gone on the deep end, but once you figure out what you're going to do for the rest of your life, and it doesn't really matter if you have tattoos, you don't really give a fuck.
That's what I said too.
I get giant neck tattoos and shit now are my thing. I'm trying to get.
Yeah, my wife won't let me do the neck tattoos. I want them so bad, and she just won't let me do it.
Let me tell you get a lot more respect with a neck tattoo.
I want the full. I want it all the way around. I want it all the way into the beard.
Oh, really?
She won't let me do it.
You know what I remember? Like what it was huge at the time was Shannon Burke fucking bike ride up to Daytona.
Oh, the fucking real ride.
And the real ride, it got bigger and bigger, and the
day I was arrested, with the next fucking day was supposed to be the ride. Remember that?
Oh, shit.
I was like in fucking jail, like a motherfucker.
God damn,
I was jailed up hard.
I think that makes the real ride more bikery.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah.
Our host is in prison right now. He won't be able to make it. Instead, here's Russ Rollins.
So
Harley Davidson is yellow.
So here's the thing. Obviously, our listeners right now are waiting for us to talk about the incident.
I'll talk about it every step of the way.
Okay, I don't
even
want to make you uncomfortable
because that's not even why. Because
we didn't invite you here for that reason. I don't want you to think that. Ever think that? I would never want you to think that. The same reason, like if SBK stops by, I don't want him to think that we're like, oh, we're only here to talk about like, oh, how's your kidney? You know what? We're not. We're just we don't do that. We'll never be that.
I'll never shy away from the discussion.
When I was thinking about it, I was like, we just say there's an incident happened, then we're going to go on after that.
No.
So I don't know. You could say what you want to about it because it's totally.
I mean, I don't know what.
An incident happened.
Something happened, and it was bad, and everything's good.
Yeah. So
anyway,
but what
I'm doing now is today.
But let's just say,
like,
or do the whole thing. You should do the Mike Tyson when the guy asked the uncomfortable question. Do you think, you know what? You're a fucking piece of shit. You're a fucking piece of shit.
Here's the deal. It is literally my fucking contract expired on May 9th. And I've been working on a new deal, trying to get some more money. PPM had just gone in place. People are backing off. My fucking raise was bullshit. I was arguing. And then they wanted to fuck. My raise, I didn't really care about. I wanted to maintain the same fucking bonus structure I had. But that, they announced to everybody, is going to be all drawn back to TTM or total TTL or Anyway, they changed
Listeners per quarter hour, whatever.
There's no way I was going to ever make 25 grand, 2 or 3 times a year ever again.
Yeah.
So that was on the table. And at the time I was married.
Yeah.
Well, I thought, she was a little loony, but that's cool. Hot chicks are usually crazy. And I'm still, I love her to death. But so I had a dog named Waco. We were in kind of a weird fight.
Yeah.
I had this dog, this English bulldog named Waco.
Yeah.
So I get on the air. The
irony of that.
I think we banged that morning, and then it was like cool but during the day we're kind of weird. And she's like, "Well, your dog's out." I said, "Well," she had 2 dogs herself, and her dog shit all over the house. They're those little fucking King Charles Spaniels, whatever.
Yeah.
Well, they were fine dogs. I didn't hate these dogs, but they were her dogs. It was very clear that Waco was my dog, and her dogs were her dogs.
There's a line drawn. Yes, dog line.
Which was weird, but. So I'm on the air. She knows that. She's texting me, "Well, your Waco's gotten out of the yard." I'm like, "Well, go get him." She goes, "No, I'm not going to do it." I'm on the air. I can't leave. We're on a great show. I'm like, "What do you mean? Go get the fucking..." Yeah. Oddly enough, he went to every time he did get out of the fence, which was not that frequent, he went to the same house up the street. We went to the dead-end street. To an old man that was retired who kept his garage door open all day and sat out in his garage tinkering with shit and watching bad, black and white TV.
Waco, are you here again?
And Waco was, "Well, Waco, sit on." And he would feed him treats, and Waco would just sleep there in front of a fan.
Yeah.
So I said, "Go up to the guy's house and get the dog." She said, "No, I'm not going to do it." So afterwards, I had some type of bike week deal or bike night deal I had to go to.
Sure,
I was on the bike that day. I go home, and I walk back to the bedroom. I'm fairly tanked. I shouldn't have ridden home on the bike. She's on the bed with this massive fucking King California bed, and her dog are there. I'm like, "Hey, where's Waco?" She goes, "I don't know. I don't care." I said, "What do you mean? I mean, fuck, you couldn't go down the goddamn street and just check on the dog?" She goes, "It's not my, it's not my place to worry, Shannon, or whatever." She was being a smartass. The newspaper spread all. She's reading the paper. And so I go, and her dogs are there. I said, "Oh, so you're fine. Your dogs are here. They're cool, and they've been fed, and they're not missing, and they're just laying on the bed having a good time in the air conditioning. Meanwhile, Waco, a fucking massive English bulldog, overweight, is out in the street, and it's 85 degrees, and he's been out all fucking day, and God knows where he is or who's picked him up or whatever. So you don't give a shit." She goes, "No, I don't care." And so at that point, I was like, "Okay, fuck." And I'm not defending my decision. So I went right there to my closet. Up in my closet, I reach up and I got a blue box with a 40 caliber Smith & Wesson in it.
Yeah.
And I pull it out, and I always keep it loaded, or I always keep a full clip in it. And I ejected the clip. I opened the box in the closet. Ejected the clip. I put an empty one. I had 2 empties in there. I had 2 fulls and 2 empties and 1 in it. I emptied the one that was in it. Put an empty one in there to make a point, make some noise or whatever. And I said, "Okay, well then," I scooped up her dog with my left hand, and it's laying like on its back, in my left hand, like its head's up here in my armpit. And I would never hurt this fucking dog. I mean, look, I'm a fucking pussy for dogs. Dude.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm a fucking dog lover. I have it all my life. I've never caused harm to an animal on purpose in my fucking life, and I didn't intend to. I just was trying to make a fucking point about. Here's what it feels like if you don't care about my fucking animal.
What do you feel like at that point? Your feelings are hurt, right? Because your dog's up the street doing nothing.
We're a team, and she knows how much I love that dog. I love the fuck out of that. That was my goddamn dog,
Yeah.
And she was here. "I don't give a fuck about your dog." I'm like, "Well, fuck. I pick up your dog shit up all the time. I'm running your dog to the vet. Blah blah blah. I care about your dog. If your dog got out, I would fucking go find it." She goes, "Well, I don't know where your dog is." Mm-hmm. I grab the gun, boom, put the what I think it is blank. It's not. It's an empty cartridge or clip, and I pick up the dog and I'm cradling it like this. It's small.
Yeah,
and it's on its back. It's like trying to trip out, and I have my gun right here. Mm-hmm. I'm like, well, then I don't give a fuck about your dog. Why don't we just fucking, if my dog's going to be gone, why don't we just make it even? And I mean, it's stupid. I was just trying to, this is the way, because at the time I did not possess the skills to manage an argument with my spouse. Or I did not. I mean, I have them now, but I clearly did not have the skills to de-escalate an argument and really get, and really talk to your wife. Like, fuck, okay, here's the deal. I'm really upset about, the fact that you won't look for my dog. So anyway, I'm holding the dog. And I've got the gun. And the dog starts to writhe around. It's on its back. And it lunges forward into the gun. And lo and behold, I never checked the chamber. It's it's gun 101. I didn't do it because I was upset and intoxicated.
Yeah.
The gun goes off. It goes through like the fleshy part between their leg and their body.
Yeah.
Bounces off the wall. Bounces off the headboard and grazes her fucking.
Her head.
And then ends up coming right by me. It almost fucking hit me.
Yeah.
And like fucking paper, smoke. The whole room is all. I'm like, holy shit! The dog jumps down and runs out, and she sets her head up, and it's just like a bloody mess.
Yeah.
I mean, by the grace of God, it did not penetrate her, but it was a nasty flesh wound that really was bleeding heavily.
Did you freak the fuck out of that?
Oh my God, dude! Immediately, I call 911 on my phone.
Yeah.
I mean, she does the same thing on her phone, but she's bleeding profusely, and I'm like, hey, what the fuck? Don't call anyone. I'm on the phone.
Yeah.
I think I remember hearing that.
Yeah.
I think,
sure.
of course, they played it, of
Bubba
course.
Loswinch plays it still today.
Really?
So
Because
it's a hit machine.
Because it's such entertaining audio.
I tell what's going on. I go to the front door. I open the door. Altamont and Seminole sheriffs are there. They grab my shirt. They throw me on the ground. Flashlights, guns drawn, boots on my head.
No way.
Boot on my head. Boots all over my body. All flashlights on me. Guns all pointed. You stay right the fuck there. And they run into the house.
Yeah.
And then finally, it shakes out after a little while. I'm like, fuck, I called you because I didn't know the gun was loaded, blah, blah. And they finally, let me up, set me in a chair, took the handcuffs off. I didn't know what was going on inside. There was an ambulance tending to my wife, and then somebody brought the dog out in a dog carrier. I'm like, what the fuck? And they're like, yeah, I didn't know I'd hit the dog at that point. I thought the dog was screaming because of the gunshot noise.
Yeah.
And then some guy shows up, some investigator. He goes, all right, tell me what happened. I tell him what happened. He takes me back to Seminole Sheriff's headquarters up on 1792.
Yeah.
Into an interview room, records it, the whole thing. I tell him the story. He goes, all right, well, I can't. It's really fucking stupid what you did, dude. But I can't see any crime you did here. It was an accident, blah blah blah. So I'm not going to arrest you. I'll drive you back to your house.
Okay.
I go back to the house. Oh, I can't believe what I'm about to say. I'm going to say some shit. I go back to the house. The same guy goes, all right, go inside, Shannon. Pack a bag for a night or two. You can't stay here. We have our crime scene people here that are going to check a look, do their whatever they do.
Yeah.
So I go and I get
forensics?
a bag. Yeah, whatever they are. I get my bag and I put some shit in it, and I'm walking by the French doors out to my closed-in patio. And who's out there in the patio? My dog, Waco.
Oh, really?
My dog, Waco, had come home that day. She knew when I went down
She heard the gunshot.
No.
I'm kidding. I'm so sorry.
When I first got home and walked down there, and I said, "Where's Waco?" All she could have said was, "He's in the sunroom."
Okay, he was there the whole time.
And it was there the whole.
No.
Yes, the whole.
No, he never visited the old man.
Yeah. He did visit the old man. She had gone to get him, and she had brought him home, and she had hidden him out there, knowing that I would not fucking see him.
Oh no!
And there's the dog.
Gotcha.
And so, at that point, I'm walking out. Now I see my dog's there, and I tell that one investigator, "Fuck, the dog's been here the whole time. She knew it was here." He's like, "Holy shit!" I'm loaded into my Suburban. I got my bag. I got my dog. I got some food for the dog. I got everything in there, and some other guy drives up. And then my inspector guy goes down and talks to me. Shannon, hold on 1 second. I'm like, uh-oh. And so I went from going home after making a dumb fucking mistake, and my wife is, from going to get a hotel room to going to jail for assault with a domestic assault with a deadly weapon.
Yeah.
15 years in prison.
Is that what you were facing?
Yeah.
So after
it's groundbreaking.
Yeah. It is,
in my opinion, and the facts as I recall.
Well, here's the thing. So I want to know, like, after they arrest you, and now you're facing could be, like you said, 15 years.
All right. So I'm in jail in Seminole County.
Yeah.
Do you want to take a little break right here?
Yeah. Let's take a break.
We're both very interested about jail.
Dude,
were you telling us?
We want to get into jail.
It was a fucking amazing experience. Oddly enough, at that time in my life, my number one fear was being incarcerated.
Yeah.
And
What's a lot of people's number one fear?
And I'm claustrophobic as a motherfucker.
It's
Yeah,
my
I'll just
number
tell you
one
that.
fear because I will be butt fucked like a motherfucker. Like they will
Yeah.
butt fuck me
Oh,
like crazy.
yeah.
So okay, we're gonna have to do part 2 right now, and we're gonna take a break.
This
We'll
is a
come right
two-part
back.
deal?
Yeah, we're just gonna pause. We're gonna grab beers and
I'll
come
pee.
back.
Can I pee again?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Go
All
pee
right.
again. We'll pause right now. We'll be back because I want to find out all this because we got a lot more of your radio
Yeah.
career after
Yeah.
this as well too.
Yeah, sorry. We'll have to see you next week.
Yeah, we'll see you next week.
Cocksucker.
Dan MegaMix.
Either 3 or 5 years probation, 100 years community service, blah blah blah, or 100 hours.
Yeah.
100 years.
Yeah.
I was
100
like,
years.
I was like, well, that's like a disservice to the community
Yeah.
because
Okay.
they're never going to get what they need.
At the time, I knew that was coming. I had taken a motorcycle trip. My brother flew into town. I had a couple of bikes. We rode down to South Beach.
Yeah.
And then kind of rode down, down South Florida, hung out. And I got the call from my lawyer. Hey, good news. No jail time, blah, blah, blah. I said, fuck. I said, take it.
Yeah.
So they had to take that back to the the state's attorney general. I forget the guy, old fuck's name. And all of a sudden, it gets turned around. It's not approved. It's got to be changed because we have to make an example out of this person. And now it's 180 days in jail and 6 months in jail and the same parameters for probation.
Gotcha. So it came from 0 jail time to
it went
now
up.
6 months in jail.
The prosecutors wanted that, and then it went to the state attorney. He said, no, we need to really, punish this guy. Make an example or whatever the fuck.
Do you think it was because of the publicity behind everything?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And there were people pushing it along.
It was
Okay.
on the news all the time. I
Yeah.
mean,
Yeah.
it really was.
Yeah.
I mean, like
the news ate it up for sure. Like,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
and that's what the news does. Is like, hey, the people know who this guy is.
Do you know how many phone calls I got of people asking me from news organizations? You probably we've never talked about this, but of just people saying, well, you know him. You spent some time with him.
What
give
happened?
us a quote.
Yeah.
like what the fuck do I know?
I've probably hung up on 50 different
Yeah.
people that tried to get quotes.
It was
from
a pretty dominant
blogs and
story.
emails, and
It had everything,
Yeah.
Yeah. Now, when did you find out? By the way, because this is a while after the incident. When did you find out that you were let go from
In
Real
jail.
Radio?
There was a time I went to jail, and I went there, and this event had violated probation that I forgot I was even on
Okay.
for a DUI in Orange County, which I had like 2 years prior.
Yeah.
I had like over 6 months ago on it. It's one of those probations where you just don't have to do anything but not get arrested.
Yeah.
So I got arrested.
Yeah, okay.
Stay in your house.
So I thought I was going to get out that weekend, not in time for the real ride, but I got a great lawyer who got me where I didn't have to go to Orange County and be transferred there.
Yeah.
So I spent a week, 6 days the first time around, and then I left with all these pretrial conditions that were you can't go within a certain distance of your wife, you can't have contact with her, written. Telephonic, email, third party. So I didn't know she was home. I just got out. My buddy Matt Hill came and got me and said, look, I need to get some clothes and a file that I had for my DUI from my house in Altamont Springs.
Yeah.
So we drove close to where I was on a GPS monitor deal.
Okay.
I knew exactly the circle that I was on my ankle. I knew the circle I could not violate. I knew all the barriers. And
How's that like getting it put on and everything? Is
It's
that
weird. It's on there
weird.
forever. Yeah. And I had that one, and I had another one over here that monitored my alcohol intake, so
Oh,
I
no
couldn't
shit.
drink.
Okay.
So two fucking. It's terrible. All right, so
That's my worst nightmare.
We park at a 7-Eleven.
The alcohol one, not the G.
Yeah.
I don't care about the G.
He runs up the street, and he opens the back door. I give him the key, and my wife is there. We didn't know she was there. She's like, "Oh my God, Matt!" She gives him a big hug. She loved Matt, and he's like, "I just need to get a."
That's Hamburger Hill, right?
Yeah, Hamburger Hill.
I know that guy.
He's like, "Listen, sweetheart, I'm glad you're okay, but I got Shannon parked about a mile away. I need to get a sport coat. He's got to go to court tomorrow, and I need to get a file." She tells him where everything is. He gathers it all, and he leaves. She gives him a big hug. Later that night, I'm back at his place where I'm supposed to be staying, according to my pretrial conditions, and I'm sitting out on the patio at his place going, "Oh, fuck, what a day." And I see 3 Seminole County Sheriff's Office coming up his street. He lived in out in the boonies.
Okay.
Yeah. That's fine.
And I'm like, oh shit, this does not look good. I walk in, I go, listen, he's in there with his wife and his kids. I'm like, listen, dude, it doesn't look, I think there's something's going on. There's a bunch of cops pulling.
Yeah.
He goes, fuck that. They can't come on my property. Well, they did come on his property, 3 of them with shotguns to the front door, demanding I come out. Apparently, my wife's attorney at the time had called her and said, hey, how are you? You feeling good? Everything all right? She's checking in. She goes, oh, yeah, it's good. Matt stopped by and got some things for Shannon. He goes, what? What do you mean? Oh, Shannon's best friend Matt stopped by, and he needed a sport coat to go to court, and he needed his DUI file. So I showed him where they were. He stopped by. He goes, what? He calls the sheriff's department and says Shannon has had third-party contact by one of his friends who's a big, tattooed former Marine.
Yeah.
My client is feared for her life, and they had to come out and get me for violation of my my contact.
So third-party contact was still a violation.
Yeah.
And so he knew the law, and then
and he wanted to make me look as bad as he could, even though it was completely innocent. So I go back, and I spent 3 weeks in jail then.
Okay.
What is fourth-party content? Or contact.
That's when you carrier pigeon.
Yeah.
I'm just wondering, like,
or
how
a
else
cockroach.
I'm not defending, or like, we're hearing you tell your story, and I'm just like wondering, how do you get your sport coat and your DUI file out of the house without?
Like, you just don't get it, I guess.
Do you just have your attorney do it? Do you
you
just say, like, I want my attorney to drive there?
I mean, my attorney at the time had to apologize to the, because I had a sport coat, but I had, jeans and the clothes I've been wearing since the event.
Yeah, so you kind of look like you're not like.
He's like, yeah, look, my client could get a sport coat, but nothing else. I apologize for the blue jeans.
Yeah.
Whatever. So I go back to jail, and I'm there for 3 fucking weeks.
Okay, so when do you actually have to finally serve your time, like the full time?
About 6 to 8 months go by. I get out of jail. I got an attorney. I got Marco Mara to represent me.
Yeah.
I'm living in the. I'll tell you exactly where it was. In the Lake Mary extended stay hotel on Lake Emma Drive. I lived there for 6 months.
My mistress lives there right now.
Yeah.
So you're basically living in an extended stay hotel.
Yeah, for 6 months.
And you obviously can't get another. Maybe you could, but it'd have to be like some part-time job. And then who's going to hire? Like higher profile with
no job whatsoever.
Yeah, everybody knows. So you're living off of savings, right?
Every penny that I had saved, which is I thought I was doing pretty good for a 40-year-old guy, 44 at the time. Was quickly depleted. I mean, Marco Mara would not go to work for me unless I gave him $25,000.
Yeah, right off the bat
to start.
Hey, that's
and that
your
was
bonus.
Not the end of it.
Oh, bud. You made that in 1 rating period. No problem, brother. That's a winner book, motherfucker.
So you're staying in an extended stay hotel, and you're just waiting for.
I'm going through hearings and discovery.
Shit.
Talking back and forth. At the time, I'm looking at the way it scored out, like 15 years in prison. Then they at the beginning, that's what it was.
Yeah.
About 3 weeks afterwards, they finally get all the evidence processed and a statement from my wife at the time, and all the forensics. They go, his story adds up that he wasn't intentionally trying to shoot his wife. Because then they put, had I missed the first time, I could have put another one in and then aimed it right at her and bang, bang, bang. You know what I mean? If I was going to fucking kill my fucking wife. So the charges are dropped dramatically.
Okay.
To cruelty to animals, which is so fucking ironic because I'm the exact opposite. I mean, all my pets are fucking rescues. And it's just, and discharging a firearm in an occupied dwelling.
Yeah, that's I mean, arguably way different.
Oh, yeah. Oh,
way
fuck yeah.
different.
There's no real minimum sentence to that at all. It can be worked out at the judge's discretion, little probation, here's a fine. The odd thing is I got charged with a felony, and I still have to take a gun safety program after that to fulfill my sentence.
Really?
After I'm told that I can't have a firearm.
No shit.
I do it with a fake firearm, yeah.
Hey, well, ain't no felony gonna stop me from carrying a goddamn
Second Amendment, brother.
Obama! I'll tell you that right now.
Damn, they won't take your guns, buddy.
So when do you actually find out that you actually, you have to do the 6 months?
I am at the time, I am allowed to see my wife only at our marriage counseling, who's also my therapist.
Yeah.
At her office in Winter Park. And so my therapist is really cool, and I really wanted to fuck my wife really bad. So she was like, okay, we'll do our session, and then you guys can have a room up to communicate for a while. Because that was the only time we were labeled. If I had driven to her house or been caught near her, I could have been thrown right back in fucking jail.
Yeah.
So we're up there, and she gets a call from the victim's advocate people of Seminole County. He goes, here's the deal. Here's on your husband. It's 6 months, 180 days. And she's like, oh, okay. And she tells me, I'm like, what the fuck? I call Mark, blah, blah, blah. He's like, yeah, buddy, someone has a hard on for you.
Yeah.
And they're going to make sure you do some time. So then you figure it out. 6 months, you get best behavior, blah, blah, blah. I'm out of there. I did 4.5 months there. And then I had to go back to fucking Orange County and serve 60 days there, which turned out to be 38 or something like that.
Okay.
All in the most solitary of solitary confinements ever
Really?
in the history of solitary confinement. Somebody who knew somebody at Orange County Jail had something to do with me and made sure that I was not in, for the first 3 nights, I was in psych,
Okay.
which full of people screaming all day and all night.
Yeah, the psych ward, yeah.
I thought you talked about
it's cool
the
because the
show.
cells have a glass front and you can see into a big room and the guards will talk to you, but you also have to put up with guys that have been strapped to beds that are just thrown out in this room that chant and scream all night long.
So crazy people.
Screaming about Jesus and just...
Yeah.
But the cell is nice and it's big and it has glass front. I get moved from there up to the 5th floor at Orange County where I'm in a cell inside of a cell inside of a cell. So,
my God.
And I'm eating, and the window's like this big, and I'm a solitary. I get out one time a
That's
week
like a
for
4
an
inch,
hour.
4 inch by 4
And
inch.
they
You
call-
get out one time a week for an hour?
One time a week for an hour, and they call it protective custody because I'm a quote unquote celebrity.
No shit. Okay, so because
Listen,
since-
I had to reach out to friends that I have a buddy of mine that was a minister in the prison system in Florida, and he had changed his fucking credentials to Orange County just so he could get in to see me and go, well, let's get, why is he in here in this dark cell 24/7?
It's dark in
because
there?
because
Like,
he's not being
Describe what it looks like in
it's a goddamn brick room and
And just a cot, and that's it.
a fluorescent light and a steel door. It's probably 9 by.
So you didn't
10.
get much. You didn't get to frolic with like ne'er do wells.
I did it. Seminole at
Yeah.
Seminole County at Johnny Polk. I did. I was in a big what do they call it? Pod.
Yeah.
This one big room, and the pod has like 10 cells upstairs, 10 cells downstairs, without any bars on them. But you go, that's your bunk. That's where you go sleep with your bunk.
Okay,
guy.
yeah.
And then a bunch of tables outside. I had no problem there.
Well, how long were you in the solitary, extreme
The
solitary?
whole time, 38 days.
38
Damn!
fucking days.
Yeah.
Did you start to lose your fucking mind?
Yeah, I really did. I went. It was fucking. It
Because
was
no contact whatsoever, and
Zero.
one time you could leave a week.
for an hour. And I got
What about to eat? They just bring you your food?
Open a slot, boom, slide it in, bang, slot it, shut it down.
Was
What's
there
a
TV,
typical
anything,
meal?
any entertainment whatsoever?
No, nothing. When I first got there, the first 6 days, I didn't have a fucking book to read, dude. I was alone with my thoughts, 24/7, not really knowing. I didn't know if it was day or night because I wasn't exposed to any windows. I'm in a cell inside of a cell inside of his fucking cell. So, and I got a window that's probably 4 inches,
Yeah,
by
4 by
4
4.
inches, and that's it. And finally people come by and go, are you all right, inmate? I go, please, you got to fucking talk to me. I don't know what day it is, how long I've been in here, blah, blah, blah.
Tell me about your kids.
Could you talk to any like visitation with any friend? Like there was
just my friend who was who had his minister stuff. He finally sent some guys from the prison ministry, to come see me. I was like, fuck. And they got me out of there for like an hour and a half, 2 hours into another room. I was like, fuck. I could see outside for the first time. They're like, dude, are you all right? I'm like, man, I don't know if this is supposed to be protective custody, but it's pretty punitive if you ask me.
Yeah,
What's
yeah.
the food like?
Like,
You're
I-
in there, like
At that
just
point,
to paint the picture
at that
for
point
our
in-
listeners.
At that point in time, you'd rather fucking fight every day than stay.
Look, I had to, I had it pretty easy in Seminole because I had, people knew who I was.
Yeah.
But I had to fight. You don't do 6 months in a joint without fighting a few times. Somebody's going to fucking try you.
Yeah.
And it happens. A couple times a week, you have to fucking duke down with some big fucking black dude.
No shit. So when you got into Seminole, and that's when
how
you got
I
into
feel right now on this podcast. Every 2 weeks, I got to fucking duke down with some fucking big black dude.
So
Just to get my podcast out on the fucking streets.
So when you got into Seminole, you're out with like normal population in the prison, and was it more like a cell and a bunk, or was it a bunch? Like
It's a bunch of cells in a row with 2 or 3 bunks in each one double on one side, one single, and no bars in the front of them, but a small little cell, and then a larger room with stainless steel tables, like maybe 8 of them, and windows that looked across the hallway to another pod exactly the same way, but the opposite.
Did you have the stainless steel toilet?
Yeah, with a water fountain on the top.
I want one of those in my house.
They're nice.
Yeah, they're really nice. They're easy to clean.
Very cold, though. But they keep it like 66 degrees in county jail to keep the infections and shit down.
Well, I was wondering, did the word spread? Because, like, obviously now people...
Hey, this motherfucker owned a jazz club.
No, I'm kidding.
So, like...
Dude, I was sitting in jail at morning breakfast with, by the way, in county jails at 4 a.m. If you want breakfast,
You've
holy
got
shit.
4 a.m.
Still dark outside.
What do you think? I'm on a morning show?
Yeah.
Fuck that.
So I get up and I'm having breakfast and I got like a paper. We got a newspaper like 2 days late.
Yeah.
And I look at it and I go, hey, you want the paper? I was like, yeah, give me the paper. And I open it and I look at the front page and I'm fucking top fold front page.
What?
And it's 2 days old. And the guy's like, motherfucker, is that you? God damn, man. You're like, what's going on?
Yeah.
It's
I'm going to eat your chip beef. Give me that hot dog.
So there's a lot of Scottish people in here?
Yeah.
It's all Scottish.
So, okay.
Your news is 2 days late.
So
Did
now...
you have your haggis?
But not only do the inmates know who you...
Look, what do we have here?
Who you are, but I'm sure the guards
All of them.
listen
Every one of them,
listen
yeah.
to real radio at that
All
time.
of them- all of them
So
knew
were
I
they
was.
cooler to you, or did
Were
they
they
fuck with
dicks?
you?
Guards were super cool to me.
Okay, guards are cool.
Guards were good.
Now-
Who was a dick?
There were a couple of guards that were dicks. And there were a couple of guys that would come and go. Listen, I was there, in Seminole for a while. I would see a guy come and go, get arrested and
Get
released
transferred
5 times.
I would then come back like,
Yeah.
they arrested Johnny
I'm like,
again.
God damn, dude, you were just here last week. Yeah, well,
Yeah.
Guys who walk down the hall, you got to walk in a file. The other guy's coming back or whatever, and they're like high five. Man, what are you doing? Oh man, I caught a charge. I'll be here for 90 days. It's cool. All right, man. I'll see you later.
Yeah, they know
It's
know
weird.
how it works. Yeah, yeah. It's a to them it's life.
Now-
Yeah.
Like
It's expected.
All of our listeners probably watch these, reality shows about jail and prison and stuff like that. Did you have to do anything where like, hey, I have to go hang out with all the other white dudes over here in this corner, and like, was it like that or no? Okay, it wasn't like that. Okay.
No, not really. I didn't.
Yeah,
have to
let's
hang
break
out.
some stereotypes
I hung out with
here of
I hung
prison.
out with black guys and white guys as well.
I was just wondering because I know like sometimes it's like, oh shit, you got to stay
I don't
with
think
your
it's
own...
like that as much
And
as the TV and movies want to portray.
Out of all the little fights I had to get into, there are more with white guys than were with black guys.
I wouldn't believe that.
Yeah.
I hate fucking white
Yeah,
guys.
they're fucking assholes.
So, did anybody did someone come to you and give you like a rundown about what to expect or what to do or etiquette in
Kind
prison?
of.
Like,
Everybody gives you, because I've done, I've been an overnighters, in jail, but I've never done any time.
Sober uppers. Yeah,
It's not really that. It's not really that intense in county jail as it must be in prison. I would imagine.
because a prison over a year and you're in county less than a year.
Yeah.
So because it's 6-month sentence, you're in county jail.
Yeah.
I think that's when you start having to.
But a lot of guys that have been through the system will tell you they'd rather do state time than county time. Because state time, you can get out, you go in the yard every day, you go in, you go out, you
It's
hang
more
out.
routine. It's more
And you
set
have
up for life.
And there's more freedom.
Yeah.
There's more systems.
Well, it's
and
more set up for like
Long
Well,
term.
these guys are going to be here a long time,
Right.
so let's give them a routine,
so they don't go
versus-
crazy, get pissed off.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what, like in the couple altercations that you did have, was it some guy? Was it ever a point where like they knew, like, hey, this guy was on the radio. This
Yeah.
is Shannon Burke. Let
You
me,
know, they
let me
tell
go
me-
fuck with him.
Hey, give me a shout out.
You play a lot of board games in jail,
Yeah, yeah.
and Scrabble is one of the most popular ones ever. And for a long time in this pod in Seminole, we had a Scrabble dictionary, and everyone was like, God damn it, give me the goddamn dictionary. They play for food, which is money. They play for
Okay.
commissary,
Commissary,
candy
yeah.
bars, chicken noodle soup, whatever.
What
the
is
fuck.
the number one at
Noodles.
Noodles?
or
like a
Butterfinger.
ramen? Like
I got a good haircut for a Butterfinger,
Oh, really?
but couple
so that's
noodles.
like $25 a Butterfinger. 20
Yeah,
bucks?
more about- yeah, more or less.
20, $25.
Yeah.
At this time, is there
I
no
love
smoking
butter.
jail, or
You
could
couldn't smoke.
Okay.
No, hell no. Some
Oh, I
guys
got to
did.
get a beer. I got to get a beer.
Okay,
This is-
yeah.
I watched a guy spend 45 minutes on a toilet trying to recover a bag of cigarette tobacco, and papers he'd shoved up his ass before he turned himself into jail.
Oh, no shit.
It took him 45 minutes, and he's on the toilet forever, and I'm playing cards with some guys. We had one little public toilet area, but everyone could see in there. I'm
Yeah.
like, what the fuck has that guy been in there like 30 minutes? And he's reaching down, and he's reaching down, and they're like, oh man, he's got some suitcase. He's going to pull out something. I said, what do you mean? What's a suitcase? And everybody laughed at me, and then sure enough, the guy finally left. And he went upstairs to his thing, and like 2 minutes later, you could smell a cigarette smoke in there.
No,
That guy could not fucking stop smoking cigarettes. He had to shove some fucking tobacco up his ass.
And then roll a shit joint.
And 10 minutes later, 8 CEOs come in, run upstairs, and take him to the to the hole.
Oh, so he fucked his time up too, right?
Yeah,
like he's going to have to go in front of
All
people.
that, he's addicted to nicotine. Big
God
time.
damn. I had to have a cigarette.
That should be a commercial. Be like, do you want to eventually have to stick
You won't suck dick for a cigarette, buddy? That's the problem.
Both of you guys say
do you want to shit out your own cigarettes and smoke them and then get beaten by guards?
Both of you say
Stop smoking.
addicted to nicotine. You know what I say? Addicted to adventure. That's what I say.
Hey, I haven't had a cigarette in 15 months.
No shit.
Hey, congratulations.
Yeah, smoke free.
So at this time, was it the lowest? Like, was there? Do you at any? How long did it take for you to just be like, okay, I'm used to it day by day. I know I have an end time. Like I was like,
after I turned myself in to serve my sentence, that's when I kind of went through it like that.
Okay,
that was the longest stretch. But the second time I went to jail for violating my pretrial conditions, that was the weirdest part because I didn't know if I'd get out ever. And my thought process was, wait, what if they don't approve a bond for me now? And what if they up the charges? Because the charges at that point hadn't been settled. What if they up
and
it?
you're already in there.
What if they up it to like attempted murder or whatever the fuck? And you'll never get out of here again.
No shit.
I never thought about that. But
That was the roughest time. Was
like
the first
they already
about
have
3
you
weeks.
in. Yeah.
And then you don't know what's going on. You
Look
can't
at what's the guy that played for the Patriots? Hernandez.
Tom Brady.
Yeah.
Aaron Hernandez. The day they arrested him, he has never seen the sunlight since that day, 3 years ago.
Because he's a celebrity, they put him in a fucking hole, and that's it.
Dude, it was bad. Finally, I got my buddy, who was a minister, to get in touch with my family and send me books. And in the 38 days I spent there, I probably read 20 books.
First book you read.
Patton. Biography of Patton.
Yeah.
Fucking fantastic book.
Did listeners send you mail?
Yeah.
Okay. I was wondering because I figured they would. Like, hey, Shannon Burke's in jail. I'm going to fucking send
You
him
won't
letters.
believe what Obama's doing.
I'll get emails. I mean, mails from, and the jail reads everything, and they'll let you know if something's been taken out of your mail because it's all open when you get it.
Yeah.
They're like, some photographs have been removed because they violate jail policy.
Oh,
And then you read it
titties,
like,
It's on your porno.
yeah, like, I love you. I love your show. I'm a big fan of yours. I live in Claremont, and I hope you enjoy these pictures, sweetheart.
No shit.
They're probably saggy titties or whatever. I never
Here's
saw
a
them.
picture of my dick from the woods.
So okay, and
I'm in the woods right now taking pictures of my dick.
so how many days? Because this is what I'm fascinated with. What was
I'll
that?
cut that out.
What was that time where were the days? Because I can imagine like when you got a week left, that last 7 days is slow as fuck.
One of my books that I read, one of the last ones I finished was a second volume of a Teddy Roosevelt biography.
No
Fucking
shit.
fascinating shit. God damn it, dude!
Rough Riders.
I read so much great all I did was read history and biographies, of presidents and shit like that. And the back of that book, I figured I'd finish that one. I kept the fucking, I was in Orange County in the fucking hole inside the hole inside the hole. So I would, I had a little calendar. I still had the book. I had a calendar in the back, and I would scratch off every fucking day.
Oh,
dude.
shit.
Every fucking day.
God damn. Now, going back to, and I asked you this question before, but when did you find out that that Real Radio was letting you go?
Okay.
Did you think like, hey, maybe I can
Yeah, that's
continue to
where we
work
were
here?
pausing, right?
Yeah. Like,
Yeah.
did you find? You said you found out in jail, but
Yeah.
what means?
You guys remember Paul Moses, the divorce attorney?
Yeah.
The Moses law firm?
Yeah.
Although he wasn't representing me, he had a bar card. He's a lawyer, so he could come see me whenever he wanted,
Okay.
day or night. And I'd be shuttled to a separate room where I had the ability to talk to my representation.
Sure. Yeah.
And he would come. The first couple of days he was there, they'd say, "Burke, come out," and they'd roll the door, and I'd step out, and they go, "You got a visitor." And I would look down the hall, and there's, I'm in fucking Prison Blues, and there's Paul Moses in a goddamn seersucker shorts,
Yeah.
a fucking pink polo, and loafers. I'm like, oh, please don't let any of these guys see you. And then I would go and hang out with him, and he would just sit there, Like, he'd sneak in his iPhone, let me look at his phone, call people or text people or whatever, which he wasn't supposed to do. And he would spend a couple hours there on the weekend, which fucking was fantastic, get out of the fucking pod for a while.
Sure.
But I forget, at the second time I went back to jail after the violation, at the second day, he came down the hall and goes, "You've been fired."
Oh, that's it. That's how you
And
found
that
out.
was the day that I guess Jim Phillips announced it. Shannon Burke has been fired.
Did you think, and like maybe I can continue to work?
Yeah.
Like, yeah. I would think so. I'd be like, shit.
I thought so
this
too.
is radio. Like,
I thought, well, why would you wait to see what
happened?
I mean, and as it panned out, it was a mistake, but it wasn't. I didn't deliberately try to kill a dog and my wife. That was not it.
Yeah.
You know,
And this
something
was
stupid.
And you got fired before you even got sentenced to the final sentence. This was before this
Long-
radio.
Well, and let's be honest. You look at the shows now. There are plenty of people that have been fired that are making their triumphant return on the station right now. You know, like,
right.
I've heard different reports of this. When you get out, do they hand you a bag of all the clothes you went in with and all your shit? Okay.
Yeah, but because of my celebrity status at Orange County, when I got out of there, they have a guy that deals with high-profile people. That and so he goes out
because they know that the news is going to be there too.
Yeah,
right?
So he goes out and he cordons them off with a rope and says, "Here you go." And then I come down when I'm called down. I get down, they give him my shit, and they go, "All right." And he comes.
do you make
to me.
friends?
In jail? Yeah. I met a couple of friends. That
Anybody
I
you still like? Keep
about two guys that I still
That's
talk
cool.
to. Yeah,
I think
from
that's cool.
from Seminole because I didn't see anyone at Orange.
Yeah.
Except for a transvestite, a dude who had big titties.
Okay.
That's cool. Oh, fuck! I'll suck his titties. I'll suck anybody's titties. That's how I am. Because I'm a sexual deviant.
Did you? Was it surprising? Do you know that the news is going to be waiting for you when you get out there?
Of course you did.
Were you following were you able to follow the stories at all? Was there any internet in there?
No, but you could have there's no TV and no radios allowed at Seminole, where I did most of my time, and you relied on phone calls to people or the newspaper, which you got 2 days late.
Okay.
And it's already been figured through by every fucking felon in Florida, so it's got cum and God knows what the fuck is on it. So you really don't want to. But when I got to Orange in my little hole about 2 weeks after I got there, I could order a radio from commissary. So I bought a radio. I literally kept my headphones on the whole fucking time. I still have the radio. It's a little bitty tiny radio. Got my fucking inmate number scratched.
You
etched
should
into
fucking
it.
frame that.
Did you ever listen to real radio?
Yeah, of course, yeah. And I listen to
Don't
a
listen
lot
to that shit. It's
NPR. I
terrible.
listen to a lot of Prairie Home Companion and NPR bullshit and radio theater and
Yeah, I mean,
that's a saving grace to me.
Yeah, because it's like I could imagine. I'm a big fan of talk radio. Like I listen to that shit when I'm raking leaves or when I'm fucking you know all the like when you're trying to pass time. There's nothing better than
I
that.
wish you had gone to jail.
Listen, listen, it gets so bad. You're so starved for fucking human connection in solitary that I would leave one. I had a ton of batteries, had a lot of money in my account.
Yeah.
So I ordered a ton of batteries. So I would leave one earbud in my ear 24/7, even while I slept, just to hear. And I would tune to a news station or something just
That's
to hear.
kinda clever.
Just to hear constant voices, of people live, that I knew they were live.
I almost feel like a doctor or a scientist would say, like, you should do that in order to maintain sanity. You know what I mean? Like, there's something kind of cool about that. I can see that.
Did you listen to real radio when you were in there?
Yeah, I did.
Now here's where I want to ask you because before
Did you listen to Tom berate you every morning
did.
at
Yes,
8
I
o'clock?
did.
Well, okay.
Yeah.
Of course, yeah.
Now,
Every morning.
yeah, and this is
And I didn't write any of them. I didn't write one of them. Not one.
We never had a chance to talk about this, and
Let's talk about it now.
yeah, because
Right the fuck now.
well, at the time, this is when my thought process because you're fucking. I'm a small shit in radio. I'm part time or maybe full time at the time. I'm doing fucking jokes. I'm trying to make
You were
people
barely
laugh.
full time.
And I knew your whole situation was a super taboo subject to talk about on
What did they
radio.
tell you guys? I know they put pictures of me at every doorstep. You see this man? Call 911.
They did do
I
that,
know.
but they never wanted us to bring it up. And you know what? The one thing that I hate is when anybody tells me I can't say something. Yeah. So it was less about you and more about like the people listening, like management, and the fact that we could like say things that would like maybe pucker their butt a little bit, a little bit.
Yeah.
And then I remember just a time like, hey, this is super taboo.
It was super
taboo.
And any taboo subject is going to get a huge laugh.
Oh, they didn't want to talk about it.
So I'm
Why? Because
I'm gonna make a joke about it. And then it was literally nothing. And people used to think, oh, you must fucking really have something against Shannon Burke. I'm like, why would I have nothing against him? It's now a news topic and it's super taboo. And I like comedy, so I know by saying something, it's going to be like, oh shit, he said it's like, and then it got out of fucking control because then that's just because I'm a hack comedian. And then I went to it every time because I knew it was going to get a laugh. Now,
listen, I had a love-hate with it because I was like, God, what a dick. Anything. B, I was like, fuck, but my name's still out there.
And that's the only, and people don't realize.
Don't
this.
lie to me. You didn't do it. I know you did.
No, but if you would have, because after you got out,
You know it, I know it.
Yeah, well, okay, no, but this is true. This is true because
he told me.
I hate
you and I.
I hate confrontation,
and I told him this. You remember? You and I had an exchange on Facebook where you're like, "Come on, man." It's done.
That was later though.
Yeah, that was later.
At the beginning, when you got out, and then and I was still doing the jokes because I fucking, like I said, hack comedian. Just I stick on one thing.
There was a time.
It's a guaranteed laugh.
This is a different podcast.
When how long could you not talk about me? Because I was out the first time and I heard. I was in a parking lot eating McDonald's like I've never eaten in my life.
Yeah.
And I was listening to Jim Phillips say, "Oh, that's no good. He'll never work at radio ever again, and he's the sorriest."
Yeah.
I was like,
"Oh, Jim. Oh, is Jim being bad?"
Yeah, he hated me for a long time.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
So, damn it.
But
I don't listen enough.
Listen, I was an
man.
irresponsible douchebag. I don't blame him.
Here's the thing: it could have gone two ways. After you got out, and I was still making the fucking jokes, and everything like, "Oh, Shannon Burke's out now. He's gonna get you."
Yeah.
So, but I remember
I would email him that.
I was still making the fucking.
Like, here he goes.
I was still making the fucking jokes, and I remember you Facebooked me one time, and you said, "Hey, I'm not pissed about it. You're getting my name out. Fuck it, keep going." You're like, I want to keep my name because I want.
I still want to kill you at the same time. But I did say
But
that.
if you would have said, and this is
I had
this
dreams
is true.
about killing you.
Have you ever
strangling you with my own hands?
And you knew the guys in prison that would do it easily. Like, fucking 2 cigarettes.
I had a dream. I was at Porky's once at a bike night, and you were there, and I shoved a pork bone down your throat until you died.
You ever been? You ever been?
I'm
Killed?
soft too. I'm Lily Soft. You're fucking hardened by prison.
You ever been killed by a man with one earphone? He's fucking still got himself in his own ear. He's stabbing you. That's like the fucking Batman's Joker.
But I would have stopped doing it if you would have Facebooked me and said, "Come on, dude, what the fuck? Like it's been long
Really?
enough." I would have.
He would have.
Because
Really?
and not because I'm a good person. But
He's not a good person.
But because I hate confrontation, and I was like, and I would have been like, "Hey, I have nothing against Shannon Burke, so if he's bothered by this." But once you said that, but here's the problem: once you said that, "Hey, keep my name out there,"
Right.
then I double it up.
Well,
I'm like, now I'm doing something good.
My deal is, the deal is, I look at it like if I was in your shoes, and Bubba the Love Sponge. That's one of the reasons I got a gig with him. Once I was out of jail,
let's
for some
talk
reason,
about that.
Spice
So-
calls me.
Yeah.
They got a couple of funny bits they're playing that they made about my 911 call and
Yeah.
shit, and that
They're making parody songs.
Yeah,
and
come
shit.
on.
And I
You know-
listened.
you
And
know
they
what,
were, they
not-
were funny.
Wow.
They were funny, but.
Are they? I mean, come on. I mean, I don't want to diss those guys or start a radio
Go ahead,
war.
diss them.
Blah, blah, blah. Radio war. But I don't find very much that they do. Super funny. But
No, I don't.
get
I
it.
think they're
It's
an old haggard morning show that has got a lot of heritage that is worth a lot of money.
And
there's a lot of those.
He's a heritage guy.
Yeah, there's a lot of those guys.
so
There's one in Orlando.
So
Yep.
once you get out, how do you go about? Because this, we got real far off into like chatting with the masters, talking about your radio career. Then do you think to yourself, "I'll never work in radio again," or do you
No.
think to yourself, "Hey, fuck,
I never
can get
thought
back
of
in
that.
it." Okay.
I did that interview with Jim Phillips that one time from my
That was good.
from my hotel room at the extended stay. By the way,
Yeah, that was a good
By the
interview.
way, if you're ever in the need, it's like I talked him down to $180 a week.
Oh, really?
To stay in a 1-bedroom with a little kitchenette. Wasn't bad.
Oh shit.
And I smoked cigarettes in the bathroom and just blew it to the vent the whole time.
I have a new baby. That sounds pretty good.
It's not bad.
I get no sleep now. I want to move out and just let my
What was the
wife
question?
have the baby.
Oh, I said, he goes, former radio host Shannon Burke. I was like, well, I mean, the one thing I resent is being called a former radio host. Because if I was a plumber and I got fired for whatever, I'm not a former plumber. I'm
You're
just
still a plumber,
I'm
yeah.
an unemployed fucking plumber.
Yeah.
So, it was really, while I was still in jail, those guys from 810, so family, the Tutera family, they got a fucking radio station or two. They're from Chicago.
Mm-hmm. What's 810 now? It's
810 Sports, CBS Sports.
Oh.
They called me, they contacted Colin Brady, and I talked to him. And I had that deal set up when I was still in jail to come work for them, but I didn't make any money. It was like,
God,
it
you're
was all
doing shit
revenue.
like Lil Wayne does.
I didn't have to.
where you're like
100
lining up when you do your new album while you're in jail.
Yeah.
Right. I was a little Wayne in it. Yeah.
You were Wayne in it.
So I don't know. I didn't know how it was going to go. But there really wasn't anything else that I was really suited to pursue.
Yeah.
After you get out of jail, new controversy is always.
How was the first
sellable.
day? So you come out.
I ate a cheeseburger and smoked like a half a pack of Marlboro Lights.
Oh, no shit.
Yeah. And I fucked my wife like that.
Okay. So and then you get the job at 810, and then
Oh, you're with my buddy Ed Till,
When-
who
Yeah.
will not call me back.
when do you go over to Bubba Love Sponge for the first time?
Spice calls me about the Radio IO thing that he
Yes,
started,
yeah.
and he said, "Yeah, come do a show once every Thursday, a night show, 8 to whatever, 6 to." I said, "All right, I'll come do it." It got me. I knew we'd get my foot in the door, and it turns out we were and Colin came with me. We're like the most listened to show on the.
Yeah.
And dude, they paid me money.
No shit.
They paid me. Let me tell you this:
Okay.
to be on the internet radio.
Yeah.
Internet radio for 4 hours a day. When they started paying me, they paid me a base of $65,000
No shit.
to be on internet uncensored
You're going to
radio.
piss off a lot of regular radio people.
Dude, and look, I was unemployable. I thought maybe kind of
Yeah.
at the time, and it turns out that I was really employable because I shot their numbers to the fucking roof.
Yeah.
At Radio IO.
Well, that's the thing with entertainment, and controversy builds
Yeah.
popularity. So and you know what you're doing, so it's not like they have controversy
Yeah,
with
you're
no
not fucking
skill.
around,
Like
you
so,
know,
so
like-
you know what you're doing. Like you get the
And
listeners,
Colin knew
and
what he
you
was
keep 'em.
doing.
Yeah.
God,
Yeah.
that makes me so
I
fucking
miss
sad.
Colin.
So
So
you,
then one day, Bubba calls me on my way home. I'm driving back and I drove back and forth to Tampa for every fucking show I ever did.
God, that must have been
three
fucking hard.
fucking years. I drove
Yeah.
back and
I
forth. to
saw
Tampa.
you when you were here
Oh,
doing it. You know,
fuck,
like
it
I'd be
was-
like, "Hey, what's up, buddy?" You're like, "Oh, Tampa's going great."
I
I'm like,
drive
"All right."
for a living. He said,
Hey, if you're making that money, though, it's all right.
could you
know?
move there or not?
No, I
because
don't
you're-
want to move there.
Okay, yeah.
My wife is here. She's got
Yeah,
a
yeah.
business here. My kids are,
Yeah,
doing,
yeah.
I
they're at school
get it.
here. We own a house here. We have a rental property. We're not, it's not and the money wasn't so fucking great. That oh, fuck. If it had been huge money, I'd say, fuck all this shit. Let's
Yeah.
just go. But it
Yeah.
wasn't like that.
We've had offers in other markets, and
Yeah.
it's just easier to.
Yeah, you'd have to get a lot to give him.
Yeah.
So you guys to move to somewhere.
yeah.
Why can't you do it from here? I do my show from
Of course.
here,
Well, now
and I
the-
send it to Tampa.
The time has changed,
Yeah.
So now it's
And we
a little
fuck
different.
a lot. Like this guy's having 2 babies. I have a baby. I'm like,
Yeah, it's
when
like
we're
half the
not-
time you fuck.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, that's
It's
what
like
we
podcast,
do.
fuck, podcast,
Yeah, that's
fuck,
what we do.
podcast. Yeah.
Well,
Can we take a potty break?
Yeah,
I wanna podcast
Ooh,
our
I gotta take a
fucking-
piss too.
How much more?
No. We're gonna pause. We have 15 minutes left.
Oh, thank God.
Nope,
All
pause.
right.
So you're doing Radio IO that's a Bubba Love Sponge. It's
Yeah.
his whole big deal, right?
When he left Sirius, he thought he was going to beat Sirius with this thing.
Yeah, the radio-
Turned out to be a big fucking scam, but
yeah. Okay. So
they had a lot of listeners. He gained a lot. That move to Sirius that he did was the best thing in his career because it exposed him to
Huge. Yeah.
20 million people at the
Yeah.
time. So.
Yeah, but going out on your
you got to
own
give it to
is
the
a
guy
lot
for
of- yeah.
being rich as shit.
Oh yeah,
You know?
yeah. I've seen
He
the
knows-
diamond. He's the only guy I've ever met. Now, I'll say this: he was very nice to me when I met him. He's the only guy that I've ever met that has that kind of money, that has diamond earrings that were diamonds.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, how long did you do that for?
Is that
A year.
Is that nice to say? Like,
I did it for a year before he asked me to be on the terrestrial show.
Okay. And then he is like, hey, come be a co-host with me on
Yeah.
my terrestrial show.
Yeah, yeah.
Now, did you have any reservations with doing that, or you're like, fuck it, with the exposure and
Yeah.
the...
I didn't think I'd
he's
be
in a
there
bunch of markets, too.
Yeah, I didn't think it would be my forever job, but
Yeah.
I figured, fuck, it's a lot better than just being on. Although his internet exposure on Radio IO is huge.
Yeah.
Massive fucking database of people. But I didn't think, I think that terrestrial's a different world, and being on his show terrestrially was a good move for me. At the time.
Yeah.
So
And how long did you do that for?
1 year.
1 year. Okay.
Almost to the day.
were you doing a podcast at that time?
No,
or-
I was doing his show, and then I would go. Everybody else would go home, and I go down the hall in his building to the IO studio and do my IO show from there. I
And
did
you
2
were
shows a day.
uncensored there, right? Like
Yeah,
you could
completely
say whatever.
uncensored.
Yeah.
What do you think about like a lot of broadcasters have like differing opinions? What do you think about like uncensored versus like just having to kind of
FCC radio.
A lot of people tell me they're like like hey, we hear you on ACT, and I like it when you got to be more clever, and I'm like. More clever, fuck. I mean, is it really?
Yeah,
I mean,
I think if you're a broadcaster and you want to be on satellite or internet just so you can say cocksucker, fuck, whatever, then you're probably barking up the wrong tree. It's nice to be able to do, but I think more than anything else, an uncensored format gives you the freedom to do different content that you would not do. Sure. Of course, the cursing comes along with it, and it helps when you're making a point. You know, we've all been sitting at the bar and and realize the potential. But I think more than the language, you can the topics you can tackle or
they're different.
Yeah, for sure.
So, what was the breaking point with Bubba Low Sponge on?
See, we don't listen to radio anymore because we're too busy. But I knew that you were there, and I was like, oh, great. He's landed in a. I mean,
we're doing great. Yeah, things are good.
I mean, that guy's. Bubba. So, you can say what you will about Bubba. He's going to do it.
Bubba's super, super, super weird about people you associate with. If he doesn't like them, you can't associate with them. You can't. Don't Facebook them. Don't be their friend on fucking Twitter. Don't do anything.
So there's a control thing there.
Oh, fucking huge. And he's so paranoid. So one day I had. I've been told numerous times that when I would comment on a Mike Calta post. One day Mike Calta posts. The morning show, when he was still on Cox, he was like, the morning show sounds better than ever. And I said, and I liked it, and I said, thanks. Or I retweeted, I said, thanks, man. Bubba, after the show, was like, buddy, I need to talk to you. Everybody leaves her and he goes, listen, you decide, who your bread is buttered. I said, what are you talking about? He goes, I see your post on my counter today. Dude, I mean, he was complimentary. You have no idea what they're doing to me, buddy. You don't know. You have no idea what they're doing. Don't be their. I mean, you make your own decisions, but oh my God, they're trying to kill me. They're trying to destroy me.
I don't mean to laugh at your impression. It's very funny.
And finally, you remember the story.
This is why I don't like radio, by the way. I mean, like,
well, obviously there was something going on. For those of you who don't know the Tampa market, Mike Calta was on the afternoons, Bubba was in the morning, and they made the switch. Now Mike Calta's in the morning, and Bubba's on a different station.
Killing and beating Mike Calta right now with a 50,000 watt station.
He's got less of a station, but beating Mike.
Yeah,
like,
something's going on
there. This is
there.
why I don't want to be in radio.
Yeah.
It's wars and fighting.
It stresses.
Radio war.
Look, I'm too small of a man. And my liver's too small. Like, I just want to drink myself to death and have fun and make some jokes.
I just want to tell titty. I want to tell titty jokes and then go home.
Yeah, I want to
radio war.
I have a new baby. I want to kiss her. Like, she smells so good. I want to kiss her face and fuck her mom so hard, and then just like leave me alone.
Here's the thing: when you
make some jokes.
When you have a dream job, you shouldn't be starting wars with it. Like, you should be starting wars if you're a coal miner. You should have coal miner wars because you're so miserable. You're like, fuck those other coal miners. I'm going to go pickaxe them.
You radio guys are so dumb. You should just make fun of everybody under you and start wars with them. Yeah. Don't start wars with your own kind. You should want to lift them up.
So I quit. I was on a Channix. I quit smoking about 15 months ago.
Yeah.
And I'll admit I was a little edgy. So one afternoon I have...
You look good, man. Your skin looks better.
Yeah.
Thank you.
You're red instead of gray. You should be gray. I'm serious. Yeah. You should be gray.
There was a guy who used to work for Cox who got dropped when they flipped to All Talk. His name was Anyway, did early mornings. I like the guy. Good guy. And so I had him in on my IO show to fill in a couple of days where I had to be in town here.
Yeah.
And Bubba sent me a fucking text. Who the fuck? Who let you in? Let so-and-so here. Why? How dare you not? And prior to that, I knew how touchy he was. And I sent an email to Tom Bean, his manager, and the other two executives at Radio IO. While I'm out, I'm going to be out, by the way. I'm going to be, I'm taking a couple of 6 days. Here's the guy filling me in. I didn't send it to Bubba because at the time he had no control of management at all over IO. He'd already given it up.
Yeah, Tom Bean's the man. I know who that guy is.
And the guy's in New York. So the next day, in the morning, I get up at 3 o'clock, because I had to drive to fucking Tampa to do mornings. And I get a text from him. God, you don't know. And he's like, dude, I was like, Bubba, the guy loves you. He was on the bone. He did the pre-morning show. He did like the morning show, like from 4 to 6 until Bubba came on.
Yeah.
And I would listen to him every day on my way down to Tampa. And I'm like, he loves you. He goes, well, for your information, his girlfriend is good friends with Spice Boy's wife.
Is that bad?
Apparently, it was really bad.
Okay.
I don't like. Well, and at that time, I was all edgy on fucking Channix, and I
feel like I'm playing Pokemon right now. I don't even know what.
I'm standing in. That's how absurd it is. I'm standing in my bedroom, 3 a.m, buck naked, fucking with a bathroom light on, getting ready to take a shower, and answering this text like, "God damn motherfucker!"
You're trying to explain yourself.
My wife goes, "What are you doing?" I said, fucking Bubba, that cocksucker's the fuck. She says, don't send it. I said, no, fuck him. He fucking, he thinks he's, goddamn, she says, don't send it. I said, no, fuck him. Boop, send. And I said, little motherfucker. First I said, look who's all of a sudden interested in Radio I.O. because he had completely disowned himself.
Okay.
I go, for your information, motherfucker, I let your boss know, your partner know, your agent know. So if you got a fucking problem with him being in the building, you need to talk to somebody. He goes, oh, God damn it, don't you ever talk to me. I would never talk to Howard Stern like that. And then I throw in his face, you're no Howard Stern, buddy.
Did you know that was it at that point?
I did. I was on my way down.
You knew it.
I was in Lakeland in the car on the way down. He goes, don't come in today. God damn it.
You're like, well, that's
I don't even know what to say right now. I need some time to.
I need some time.
So it turns out Cox has done some research on the whole station. They pay a ton of money to do research with listener groups.
Yeah.
I'm the fucking star of the station.
Okay.
I'm the most relatable. I am the people. I'm the.
You're
news,
easy breezy dude.
I'm more popular than he is, or Mike Calto or anybody else. So they're like, fuck,
Well, there's a lot of people that've been to prison in Tampa.
Right. That's right. So
I wish you could come kick me in my face.
Later that day, this is on a Tuesday, he sends me a text that you're fired and you're not allowed on the property. He
He does that personally?
Yeah, sends it to me in a text.
That's harsh.
So I go, okay.
I would never do that personally, by the way. I would let Tom do that.
His agent, Tom, calls. He goes, all right, let's just relax. I said, no, you don't. I looked at it as a great thing because I think one of the greatest things that fucks radio personalities is the non-compete. And the ability to get out of a contract is fucking golden. And I knew that he didn't. Bubba would his thing. The one cool thing about him is he and his agent both believe that they'll never keep a dude from making a living in radio, even if they don't. They're not going to pull the non-compete bullshit.
You guys might be fighting, but they
don't want to stop you from making a living. You know,
I
which is
appreciate
admirable.
that. Yeah.
So I looked at it as a good. His agent goes, just wait till Friday. We'll come in Friday after the show. Take the rest of this week to sort through whatever, and we'll figure it out. Come after the show on Friday.
Yeah.
So after the show on Friday, I'm talking to my wife. I'm like, I'm quitting. I'm not going back. Blah blah blah. And I walk in there, and they're all in there, all the guys from the show, and Tom Bean, and they go, "Well, you need to know." God damn it. Blah, blah, blah. I said, I think it's best that I don't come back. They're like, oh, what? You're not. What? He had a long list of ass kissing shit I was going to have to do, whatever, to be a part of the show.
Like
and I looked at it as a good time for me
They're
to
going to shoot your balls with frozen paintballs.
Or what? Yeah, that's the way he does.
They're going to tase you. They're going to make you roll in mousetraps.
2 days after that,
and they're going to shit in a barrel and make you stand in a shack and sniff it.
You got to wear my underwear in your head for 5 days. Okay.
I'm going to tase your wife's labia for 3 days.
I want you to eat my fecal matter while I jerk off.
So
I'm going to put a sparkler in your butthole.
and they let me. They didn't have I didn't have a non-compete. And 3 days later, Cox calls after they called them. They called them and said, "We understand Shannon's not with you." And he's like, "Yeah, goddamn, fuck that fucking asshole." And they go, "Do you mind if we talk to him?" And he said, "Sure." And they called me, and I said, "Fuck yeah, I'll take a gig over there."
Yeah,
goddamn right.
Yeah.
So that's where
I've been there. I was on Drew's show.
It's a nice building.
Oh my god, he's a nice building.
So that's when you start your show on the Bone.
Yeah, a night, 7 to 10.
7 to 10.
But you're doing it like on your own. You're doing your own.
Here's the
studio.
deal. They said, "Oh, we want you really bad. We know how great you were. Blah, your record. Blah blah blah. We want you on this station. We're going to make it happen. We may have to jump through some hoops because of your record."
Yeah.
Keith Lawless is like, "Yeah, don't worry about it. It's good. We're going to start on so and so date." They go to some big meeting on the West Coast. They talk about me.
I think you and I had texted at this point. And you're like, "I'm waiting to hear something."
Their legal department was like, "There's no fucking way we're going to have that guy in our building, even though he may be a fucking old." Puppy loving, rehabilitated, whatever the fuck he's doing now. If he does snap and go crazy later and shoot the place up, then we're so liable because we knew that of his history.
Yeah.
So,
it's all about them knowing something that gets them all super nervous. Yeah.
So Keith, I have a meeting with Keith. I think it's going to be an offer. He comes to me. He goes, he's in Orlando for some business here. He goes, well, the bad news is we can't hire you. I can't hire Shannonberg.
Okay.
I'm like, fuck. We've been dealing with this for 3 fucking months.
Yeah.
He goes, but the good news is that I can license the Shannonberg show from an independent provider. And he said, and then I'm having lunch, and he goes, if you were to have an LLC and your own studio in your home or wherever else, I would take your show.
License of content.
You
Yeah.
mean almost like a corporate time with Tom and Dan?
That's right.
Yeah. Exactly.
So I had to build, I mean, you guys sound great. It's amazing you do it with your computer.
Yeah.
But I had to buy, a fucking tele system, a phone system, a delay.
Well, you're doing a different
board.
setup, man.
Yeah.
It's a totally. I mean, I invest $30,000
Yeah,
being
yeah.
able to do this fucking show.
We're doing the
for them.
shit hippie style. You know what I mean?
I love
Well, that's
it.
because Daniel knows what he's doing. Believe me, I
Well,
would have been like, I fucking bullhorn.
We do a lot with a little.
know.
We shove it in a sock and
It
have a
sounds great.
pigeon pick up the flash drives and fly them to Boss Man Jack.
So no, okay. I know we got a little
Well,
bit
let's
of
talk
time
about
left.
Kevin. Like Kevin
Yeah.
came back. Which
Here's the
is,
deal. I'm listening, and I'm started doing nights. I know I'm getting ready to be moved to afternoons.
Yeah.
I may have started afternoons, and the same way. They know it's ensemble radio, FM talk. That's the way it works.
Yeah.
The morning show's got fucking 8 people on it, whatever, blah blah blah.
Yeah.
And they're like, you need to get another guy, and who do you want?
This parallels back to fucking radio.
Right.
Which, how many years? How many years have passed since that time? 2004.
Five?
Now it's when 2014. It's almost 10
Right.
years.
Yeah.
Yeah, so 10 years almost to the year, you're fucking another midday spot
Yeah.
on a big talk radio station.
The market
And-
8 is a much bigger market than Orlando.
I also
And
said
you're
5, which is bad.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
10.
yeah, and you're looking for a co-host.
And I knew that at the time that Kevin had it, was not a big fan of mine. I mean, and in all honesty, I did fuck his career path up pretty bad with my actions, and I agree that.
Yeah.
I have apologized to him. Maybe it was not sincere enough at the time, but I was thinking about him, and then I hear he quit the Monsters. I'm like, holy shit! So I find
I don't know why he would quit the monster.
Yeah,
It's
why
fucking
would he?
awesome.
So I get Tuttle to give me his phone number, and I called him up and said, dude, just meet me for breakfast, and let's go. I want to talk to you about something.
Yeah.
haven't
I
seen the
saw
guy.
that picture.
I haven't seen that. I haven't seen him in 6 years.
I saw that picture. I'm
Since
sitting
the
here
last
in the
day we
studio,
worked together?
like editing some commercials for us, and I see the picture of you guys going to breakfast, and I go, "Oh shit!"
And I knew that I needed to see him face to face and apologize to him.
Yeah.
But and make sure that there were no hard feelings. So there weren't for me. And I knew over the last 5 or 6 years that he had something in for me because I did fuck his career path up,
Yeah, yeah.
admittedly. So I'm like, look, dude, you know it, and I know it. We have great chemistry together.
You do.
We're never the best friends ever, but we're good friends. I thought we were. Well, I think we can do that again. But I'm willing to. He said a lot of shit about me. I know I've said plenty of shit about
Yeah,
him.
yeah.
I said, listen, we've got chemistry, and I know it, and we work, and I think it's the best radio I've ever done in my life was when I was with him. I said, I've got an opportunity, just come do it, and he was. I was blown away that he said, yeah.
And also, as adults with like-minded goals, and the goal is to make money and be successful, like a lot of people think, they harken back to them as kids, like, well, I don't like this guy, so I'm like, what I'm saying?
Right.
Like, guess what? As an adult, you could fucking be like, hey, I want to make money. Let's work this shit out.
You're better at that.
Yeah.
Like Kevin is better at that. Shannon is better at that than
Yeah.
I am. You're like, I'm
Listen, there are a lot of things that
I'm
I
a
wouldn't
child.
do.
I'm a fucking child. Like, I'm not. The way I kind of look at it is like kind of fucked up. But like, I look at that, I'm like, oh, would you do that? And I'm like, oh, Daniel. No, Daniel wouldn't do it because he's crazy. But we're all gonna fucking die.
Also,
do you want to die not?
Yep.
The
Just
different
doing cool shit.
The difference in you fucked up his career path by fucking your own life up.
Yeah.
you didn't attack him and fuck his career path on purpose.
He did get his own show out of the deal, his live show. So, he had that going for him.
There's a difference between
I fucked that up.
There's a difference between attacking someone.
When I resigned, then he had to go to the mosque.
Oh, yeah.
So let's like.
Hey, Bud, I got a great opportunity. So, who's the bad guy here? Daniel! I'm still in the woods.
So
What's a pine needle mean?
so right now, 102.1 The Bone.
102.5 The Bone.
102.5. Sorry,
that's
Thanks for listening. Thank you.
So 102.551.
102.5. Anyway, now everybody can find it. They know. I'm sorry. I'm doing it to you again.
The bone's a blowtorch, man.
Yeah.
Like, it's kind of
100,000
like it
watts,
reminds you of like old school real radio.
Now-
Yeah.
Live on The Bone, you're there from 11 to 2. Then
Yeah.
you do an uncensored hour from 2 to 3, in which people can find on
I do an uncensored hour live from 2:30 to 3:30 Monday through Wednesday at shannonburkshow.com.
Yeah.
And then I do some recorded shit after that. Like tonight I'm going up later to do, Taylor Chandler, the Michael Phelps lesbian, trans lover. She's a great friend of my wives from back in the day. She grew up here.
Really?
And so later tonight, where I'm going back up there, she's going to show me her vagina.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Everyone wants to see it.
Amazing.
Yeah.
And my wife's like, I think I'm ready for you to see Taylor's vagina. And I mean, I'm willing to let you see it. I don't want you to touch it, but I'm willing to let you see it. I was like, okay, that's good.
My wife just texted me, what are we ordering tonight for food? I get nothing fun. I don't know, like some kind of garbage. I don't know.
Yeah, I'm going home to massage my wife's feet, and that's.
You got to do that?
Hey, does your wife still hate me? I'm sure she hates my guts.
No,
Tell her not to hate me. I'm a nice guy.
She's just an animal lover, and I understand. I'll tell you.
So
I know. But a lot of people don't know. Hey, here's the
Spend
thing.
10 minutes on my Facebook.
Yeah,
tell me
I know.
how to fucking.
What do we got to do?
What
are we going to do to get a hug?
No, from my wife.
And I'll take the picture and put it on TomandDan.com and Shannon Burke.
She would love She would love our dogs.
Yeah.
She would love. I mean, we're animal fanatics. I'm getting ready to get plastic surgery on my American Bulldog's eyelids.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah. Because bulldogs get fucked up. Well,
I just wanted to look.
Which one? Which one? Dutch?
Dutch. Yeah.
No, I like Dutch.
He's got an eyelid deal.
And now Kevin's got a bulldog, Mr. Charlie
Giggles. That was we fostered Charlie Giggles, and didn't really work out as a third for our family because we have a pit bull and an American bull, and Charlie Giggles, who's fucking a funny mother, like a runt English bulldog who's fucking hysterical as shit.
He's
and
pretty funny.
He and Kevin, I mean, they get along so goddamn well.
The pictures of Bianca and Kevin and Charlie Giggles are priceless.
It's awesome. It's awesome.
So,
Kevin loves them.
So right now, like just going back into Shannon Burke, you're at a good point in your life. You think? Are you like?
I don't know.
You happy?
I'll tell you what, I still, even though I thought I'd like to want to get out of corporate radio and just go straight, and I might soon. I'm in a unique position right now where I can cancel my own contract here in the next 30, 40 days. If things don't happen. So, I mean, and then I call people in radio and ask their advice, and they're like, stay where you are, take what you have to take, just suck the
You know why? Because radio's dying, man.
I know. And then I think, well, when I quit Bubba, before I started on The Bone, the podcast I was doing, it's almost fuck you, I'm going to the strip club money. It was insane.
Yeah, well, people would tell us, they'd be like, oh man, Shannon's doing great, man. His new uncensored shit is like unbelievable.
It was fantastic, but the minute you're back on terrestrial, they're like, oh, well, I can hear him for free and not say dick for free, or I can hear him say dick and cocksucker and pay a little bit of money. And they're like, fuck, I'll get it for free.
We had a little bit of that.
Yeah. And then, it's a weird time where if you are a broadcaster and you're good at that, you have options. And it used to, 10 years ago, fucking 5 years ago, whatever, your option were work for a big company or you're fucked. Like now it's kind of like, it opens it up where with consumer grade technology and the internet, in which everybody, I always think everybody's like, when they tell me about terrestrial radio, I'm like, well, guess who? There's more people with smartphones than cars. So if you got a smartphone and you could hear whatever product that you're putting out there on your smartphone, well, you could reach every fucking person.
I don't think terrestrial radio will ever die.
No, I don't think it will
it's
either.
Built in. But I do think that as we become more of an on-demand Netflix binge watching type of society, that people are going to hunt down the content they want. They're going to buy it, and they're going to listen to it on their own terms, whenever they want to.
Yeah.
I don't know that live is that important. I started doing 3 days live because my listeners said, "Oh, we want to hear you live. We want to be able to call." I invest the money. I pay for the bandwidth. I got a fucking one call a fucking day. You cocksucker.
That's us. No, we make jokes on a corporate time. Like we say, I even text. I program all the texts. I'm like, hey, a corporate time with Tom and Dan is live, not live right now.
Yeah,
because we record it and they don't care.
Well, you start realizing unless
just
you
make it funny. Is it funny? Yeah. All right, I'm good.
Does it need to be live anymore? I don't think so.
Well,
sports events and news.
Okay, breaking news.
Sports and news. Yeah, but there's some
news,
pundits that say that you need to be live. But I'm
and the live thing. It's a matter of what your style is. Like
we have no host. It's Tom and Dan. We're doing our thing. What the fuck? Who cares?
My first couple of podcasts, I ran like a radio show until I realized that people was like, dude, don't do a radio show, do a podcast. and it took me a while to realize what a podcast was and what differences were. Now I kind of do an amalgam of both of them. Both of them. I do a little bit of live.
Just do whatever you want. If you want to go in there and like take the mic and pee, like whatever, like who cares? I just don't like fat old white people telling me, you can't do that.
Right.
Well, and if people are listening, everybody's like, well, how do you make money podcasting? Well, if you have a listener base, you can make money. That's all it is. It's media, and you could sell advertising. You could charge for fucking subscriptions, whatever you want to do. If you have people listening, you can make money. Guess what? If you don't have fucking listeners, then you're if you're some guy in your basement starting a podcast, you can't have success. But if you have listeners,
and you guys have, your success in this town has been fucking phenomenal, winning the awards after awards after awards, and that's just local.
They're all fake. It's all fake.
But that's the thing too.
It's a facade.
And
7 awards,
and you know it too. You can make a shit ton of money just doing local stuff.
Yeah,
because there's a lot of listeners. And so you may not be that Howard Stern $500 million contract, but if you're making,
I don't need to be that guy.
No, if you make a good living and do what you want to do, then that's what your show is.
Right.
And that.
Oh my God, we're so great. So, hey, tell everybody where they can find you, because I'm looking at the counter. We're at the end.
By the way, we're on the Bone, 11 to 2 Eastern.
I love the Bone. By the way,
I
went to Drew's
radio
show.
Station. Yeah.
I did Drew's show. Calta said that he's looking for somebody to fill in for him.
Here's what I told him. He said, talk Tom and Dan. I texted him, and I said, listen, if Tom and Dan want to do it, and they don't want to make the trip, they're more than welcome to come to Castleberry, where my studio is, where I'm already dialed in permanently.
Wow.
I'm already dialed in permanently to Tampa 3 different ways. They do your show from my studio.
Yeah, we definitely do.
We would do that.
I tweeted him the other day. Some guy was
from
like,
the
hey,
Shannon Burke studio.
Yeah.
Listen, it's a swanky place.
But it sounds cool
we have
to
a
say
fish
that.
tank, man.
Oh fuck it! We got an argument about a fish tank. I want a fish tank so bad.
I was talking to John Brennan about trying to get a corporate time over there with it, even on the weekends. And so, we'd want to get.
Yeah, we're down.
Now, when you own your own content,
you've turned my plugs into your plugs. So, weird.
I'm sorry. Go ahead. If you're listening to this, John.
Oh my God, I'm gonna throw this.
And you know what? A lot of people, I bet a lot of our listeners don't even know.
They don't.
You're continued.
Really?
They ask. They say this, and you'll laugh.
It's weird too, but people don't even know. Like when we got back onto Real Radio doing a corporate time, people are like, "Oh shit, yeah, what have you been doing?" I'm like, "Well, what the fuck? You can search us on the internet. You can search your name and go on your Twitter and find out."
You've already won the best radio show 5 times in a fucking row by then.
One of my greatest, one of our greatest fans of the show, emailed me this week. He's like, "Hey, what do you got going on this week?" I use a redneck voice just because I don't really know him.
Yeah, we are.
And I'm like, "Yeah, we got Shannon coming in." And he's like, "Shannon Burke, what's he doing now?"
God,
you know what I mean?
What's he doing? Working at pizza joint?
He's literally down the road.
Just look up your hey, you got social media. You're telling everybody exactly what you're doing.
I love social media. Before I took the job at when I was unemployed doing podcasts, before I took the job at the Bone, I went to the Bone to their offices, and I think I checked in there. People were like, "Oh my God, what are you doing?" I said, "No, I'm just delivering pizzas. I just happen to be at a law firm in the same building." And then they're like, "Oh man, good luck, bud."
Yeah. It's crazy.
I'm pulling for you, man.
So you can just go to the ShannonBurkeShow.com.
ShannonBurkeShow.com, or you can get theboneonline.com. There's an app you can listen to.
Yeah.
I do
hey, I listen to you guys in here. When I don't have to edit, I got you guys up in here. It's good. It's
awesome.
It's going to be working with Kevin again. It's the most talented motherfucker. I think one of the funniest guys on the fucking radio.
He's the man.
Yeah, he's fantastic. And without even trying, he's just a natural.
Yeah. SBK Aid. SBK.
Kidneyforkevin.com.
Kidneyforkevin.com.
Yeah, that's what I hear. Yeah.
Well, Shannon, thank you so much for coming in. Thank you for being so candid with us,
Yeah, that's what I'm about.
You didn't have to do that.
Candid. We didn't record this, did we? Is this recorded?
No, none of this is recorded. You should have just said, fuck you and stabbed Tom. Prison stabbed him 20 times fast.
I do have a shiv in my flip-flop right now.
Do you know from being in prison how to fast stab somebody?
I was more of a shiv than a shank guy.
Yeah, I got you.
So much easier to handle.
All right.
Thank you, guys. It's been great. Fucking awesome.
Yeah.
娘がアメリカに行くのです。
クリア来たら
鳥ではない。我が輩は猫である。
鳥前首相
Money cat no. Cut it on.
I want to call you Patrick only because I want to explore from the beginning. Because
This is a behind the radio curtain.
yes, because this
Chatting with the masters. This is legendary.
yeah. This is kind of a behind the music. What's that old guy that
Inside the actor studio.
There we go.
Okay, yes.
And because you've had such a crazy radio past and present.
It wasn't. Well,
And in between.
I would argue that it wasn't that crazy until, and you and I were talking a little bit before we cracked the mics. It wasn't that crazy until like 2009, 2010.
Yeah.
That's when it lost all stability and went off the rails. But before that, we got to go in the Wayback Machine and find out how you actually started in radio. Because I don't think a lot of people know.
I believe you may have started when you were 10 years old because I think you've been working in radio 25 years?
Yeah.
Something like that, close to that?
I started when I was 18, and this is going to be a real big connection. My parents never thought they thought it was a joke, me going into radio and stuff. But the reason my mom actually said, hey, this is something you can go for is because somebody's father used to come get donuts at my mom's bakery in Winn-Dixie.
And fried chicken.
Yes.
My dad, before he passed away, claimed that Tuttle's mother could make the best donuts and fried chicken of anybody on the planet.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Yeah.
So Daniel's father was the reason why you got into radio.
Well, no, because...
And he's dead now. he,
like my career is. I'm sorry.
no, I like that joke, actually.
So
that's
anyways-
approved.
Actually, I don't know if your career could be any more dead than Daniel's father, but I believe it.
Well, I'm the living dead, okay?
I'm sorry.
This is the worst 3-minute beginning we've ever done. But it's real.
Okay, yeah.
It's real.
Okay,
This is a very special medium show.
No, but Daniel's father brought my mom a real cheap hat from Real Radio 104.1 back in the day. To give
Oh,
to
by
me,
the way, that wasn't his fault. That was Real Radio's
Yeah.
fault. I just want to make sure that's known.
Yeah, the hat wasn't had nothing to do
Had
with
it been a
him.
great hat, he would have given that one as well. But I do remember
They
this.
only made cheap hats.
Those hats were so shitty.
Yeah, so one of my other favorite radio shows, the Ron and Ron show that I used to listen to back in the day.
Put your headphones on. You're a radio professional. What are
Sorry,
you doing?
we're not taking phone calls, are we?
No, but I just want you to be able
Check,
to
check,
hear
check.
yourself. Siri.
Okay.
Can you hear yourself?
Barely, because I've lost all my hearing.
There's a knob down there. Your knob is on the on your side. No, right there, right there.
From blowing off sawed-off shotguns in
Better?
the close confinement of convenience stores.
Yeah.
When you're robbing them.
Yeah.
It tends to hurt your hearing.
So, the first internship I got was with the Ron and Fez show on 93.1 WKRO, which was an alternative rock station.
One of my favorite, little known fact, one of my favorite alternative rock stations, because it was more alternative than, let's say, JRR ever has been. JRR has attempted to go alternative, but never fully alternative like The Crow is what you
we
call
would play
it.
like Soul Coffin and a whole bunch of like way out there stuff. But this was Ron and Fez.
Beastie
first,
Boys would occasionally pop up, you know.
Yeah, so this is Ron and Fez first getting back together after the Ron and Ron show separated. Okay, so I was their intern. I was driving in. I was coming in, and I learned a lot from them because they were probably one of the toughest guys to work for. Like there was a certain way that
Tase
they
your
wanted.
balls.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is that where the tasing the balls started?
Yeah.
For you, at least.
Yeah, it was the first time I ever got tased by something.
And
So-
this is the heart of the 90s, too. Like what
98.
98, yeah. This is like...
Well, I wouldn't say the heart of the 90s, but it was reaching a feverish pitch.
Yeah, I think this was the height of Taser Balls, though. I think
Late 90s, yeah.
I think
I'd
it
agree.
started mid-90s.
Late 90s, early 2000s was Taser Balls.
But it was pegging
Yeah.
right
Oh, yeah.
around
Red line.
98 to 2000.
Yeah,
okay.
so I was doing all that stuff, and I learned a lot about it because, Ron and them were really, really professional. They needed a certain way to do it.
Ron Bennington, Fez Watley.
Yeah, and Fez, he was the one guy, he was the gay character on the show, but he was the one that you did not want to get on his bad side because they would bring in a bucket of softballs. They would leave him there, and if you weren't paying attention or you were fucking up, they would actually throw them at you in the studio.
Well, at least they were softball and not regular
Have
baseball.
you ever felt a softball, though?
Yeah, it's
it
just
hurts.
as hard
It
as
hurts,
a regular baseball. I don't even know why they call them softballs, only bigger.
Yeah.
Okay.
They should be called big balls.
baseballs.
yeah,
They
big
should be
baseball.
called big baseballs.
Okay,
yeah.
so at this time, I was still a virgin at this point, 19, 20 years old, okay?
Okay.
The first time I ever ate a girl's pussy was in the studio.
Really?
Boy, you jump right into it, don't
Yes.
you? We're at the 6 minute mark.
No, I mean, I'm just.
So okay,
No. Look, I'm not here to censor. I'm just pointing it out.
Were you playing up the nerd character of Tuttle at that point? Was your name Tuttle on the air? Did they give that to you?
Okay, they gave me the name Tuttle because the sister station of us over there was 103.3 The Vibe, which was a top 40 radio station.
I remember The Vibe.
And there was a guy that hosts mornings over there called Tim Tuttle. Okay. They hated him. They always screwed with him and stuff.
Radio war.
Yeah. So what they did was, hey, let's name our intern Tuttle. So every time we're fucking with him, we're actually making fun of him as well too.
So is Tim Tuttle still around? Could we get him on the phone?
He is doing country radio in Nashville, Tennessee right now.
Step up.
Yeah.
Who wins? I think Tim Tuttle wins.
Yes.
I mean, if you were going to do country music radio, where do you want to be? Nashville. Tim Tuttle for the win.
So yeah, but we had this stripper in that day, and they were playing this game. You know how they used to play gay chicken. I don't know.
I'm not familiar.
Well, two guys would sit there, and it's like who's moving their hand closer to that.
Chicken or brave?
Yeah. But they did
I don't understand. What is this?
If me and Tom were sitting on the couch next to each other, it would be the first person to flinch. We're steadily moving our hands closer to our dicks. Okay,
your own dick or somebody else's
on his dick?
Yeah, back in the day.
Oh, I know I could win that game. I will just jack someone's dick. Does that make me a winner?
That's a brave, but different kind of brave. Not so much of a soldier, more of
like a lunatic.
Gay,
gay brave. Yeah.
Oh yeah, something you used to do in middle school to try to finger girls.
Okay,
or a radio host did to fuck with their interns.
Sure.
Yeah. So, but this was a good thing for me because it was, hey, how close will you let our intern Tuttle get his mouth to your pussy?
Okay.
Yeah.
Was the girl hot?
Oh yeah, she was extremely hot.
Okay. So now, just
porn
real quick,
star or stripper? Or?
Was she sitting on the chair in the studio?
No, she was standing up with her ass, arch.
You were going from behind.
Yeah, going from behind.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
She was wearing a skirt. Okay, so she had no underwear under that.
Nice.
And this is the first time I'm like, holy shit, this is like.
Did you have a boner?
Oh hell yeah, pre-cum, all that stuff.
Okay, cum in your pants.
Yes.
Yeah. All right.
So that was like the first time.
Did you eat her pussy?
Yeah, I did.
Like, how long did you eat her pussy?
I would say about 45 seconds until,
longer than I do.
Yeah.
Longer than I could do jumping jacks for right now.
Yeah. So that was one of the first times like I'd ever had gone further than, heavy petting.
She was, kissing. And that was it? Like, she was like, okay? Like, shook her hand, like, good day.
Yeah.
You didn't fuck her or anything later?
No. I didn't.
That's weird.
So that you're that's your first kind of taste of radio superstar.
Yeah, taste of pussy.
I see what you did there.
Because at that point, like when you're eating a stripper out in the studio, now I'm trying to get a grasp of when the bug really got a hold of
you. Got that radio fire
because you've stuck with it through thick and thin for a long time.
Both of us are out of the game. Yeah. I mean, some could argue that we're back in it because we sell corporate time with Tom and
we still like the process. I mean, just because this is technically the same shit we were doing, it's just uncensored and on our own terms.
Yeah.
But anyway,
so where I started getting the bug was because Ron and Fez, they knew we were in a smaller market and stuff, but they had a connection to Real Radio and the Monsters. Okay.
Yeah.
So there was another intern that we had that came on board a little after me that they named Defoe. And the reason that they named the intern Defoe was because of Real Radio had the Defoe that worked for them just ended up getting caught with an underage girl.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I was actually part of little known, little sideline here. I was actually part of the investigation process for that because I was a friend of his. And so when it's kind of disheartening when you're an associate producer making very little money to be pulled into a room and interrogated.
And Defoe was your intern at that time.
No, he's a producer.
Yeah, he's a producer.
He was a producer.
Okay.
I was producing another show at the time. I think I was producing Drew's show, but I was a friend of his. I was a buddy of his. I had no idea what was going on.
Did he get caught, catch a predator style? This is before that. This is before the computers.
I believe it was a parental complaint.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Which is really one of the more common ways of, it's usually guy meets girl, maybe girl lies about age. Next thing you know, parents complain. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm not condoning in any way, shape, or form.
Sounds like you are.
But I will say, here's the tragedy.
Sounds like you are.
No, but here's the tragedy: is that guy was a really good dude.
Yeah, he was.
He was a really good guy, and he's one of the ones that I actually believe got caught on the wrong end,
I see what you did there.
It fucked. No, but I'm serious. It fucked him up. Well, you would agree with me,
no,
right?
Yeah, he was a funny ass dude.
Yeah,
as
really
well.
funny, super nice guy.
Did he go to jail?
Yeah, he did.
So, and then the other thing was I came across, this was the first time that I had the honor of meeting Bo the Big Man Rhodes.
Okay, yeah,
After
okay.
he was fired from the Monsters.
Yeah.
Ron and them brought him on because Bo wanted to fight for his right to party at the Roxy.
I remember that.
Okay,
Yeah.
so he the old boxing.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
so
but
Bo,
it was a box for my right to party. I remember that.
After he got fired. So
after he got fired.
Yeah,
So did
because
someone-
they were like, you got to stop partying.
did someone deny him the right to
Well,
party?
they were like, look, you're out of control. You got to stop partying. And
Oh,
he
okay.
was like, they're like, you can do these steps in order to be okay. And he's like, fuck you. I'm out of here. And then he was like, I'm going to fight for my right to party.
Okay.
See what I'm doing there?
Did he believe, and I know Bo, and I'm sure he didn't, but did he believe at some point that if he
We
won,
can get him in here for Chad with the Masters.
that if he won the
Chad
boxing,
with the Masters, Bo Rhodes. I mean, we can work on it.
I hope that he believed that
This
if
was
he,
a long time
that
ago.
he
Let's
actually-
also
This is all
preface.
98, 99.
yeah, but he actually won the boxing match. The Clear Channel, like the higher ups, would be like, you know what, Bo,
He did it.
we we're back on,
Yeah.
back in the game.
He
We
def-
signed your contract.
You know what? We didn't think you could really, but you're ex-Marine. You fought for your right to party. You've earned your right to party.
That's, I mean, in my world, I would
They
love
give
for
him
that to
like a
happen.
certificate that
Yes,
says your right to party 24 hours a day, no
Yeah.
questions asked.
Yeah, no repercussions whatsoever, no lawsuits,
Yeah.
anything.
So you're
Okay.
hanging out with him.
Yeah, so at this point.
Did he win his fight, by the way?
No, they just ignored it.
It never got to a fight.
Oh, okay. It was just a proclamation.
Yeah, it was just something he talked about. It never happened.
All right.
So at this point, I have a lunch with Ron Bennington. Do you remember that all you could eat pizza place by Marshall's right
I
there
do.
across the
Cece's?
street? No, this was before Cece's.
Yeah, no, this was like an independent little joint.
So he sits me down and he's like, hey, and at the time, I'm just starting a radio, and if I would have had the means, I probably would have went with them, but they come to me and they say, hey, we've been offered by CBS Radio in New York to go work at the legendary radio station WNEW, which is
Right.
the talk radio station that had Opie and Anthony and all them on there, and they were going to go do that. And they were
It's a
like,
legendary
Yeah.
New York talk radio station.
yeah, and at that point, I was like, "Well, fuck! I've never even been hardly out of the state of Florida. There's no way I would have been able to make it in New York City because I would have no.
Were you a little scared?
Yeah,
I mean,
of course. Yeah, there's no way I would have.
I
Done
got
it.
an offer to go with Ed Till to L.A.
Yeah.
and I was the same way.
Yeah.
Too scared
And
to
you're
go.
a small town boy, living in a small town world.
You fucked it up.
That's not what I meant, though. You know what I'm saying? But I mean,
Living in your lonely world.
Yeah, there you go.
You took the midnight train going anywhere.
Yes,
But you actually didn't. You stayed. But you grew up in DeLand.
I grew up in smaller places than DeLand. I grew
Yeah.
up in fucking DeLeon Springs.
Oh yeah,
Florida.
DeLeon Springs.
I mean, to
Your dad's a
him-
construction worker,
To
real
him,
man.
I grew up in the
In the
most
big city.
metropolitan area. I grew up in DeLand. He
Oh,
grew
okay.
up in Pearson.
Okay, so it's smaller. Yeah,
Yeah, Pearson, Seville.
Graduating class. What was your graduating class?
Oh, 700?
yeah, mine graduating class 65 people.
Oh my God,
Yeah.
I had like 3,300
Yeah.
in mine. It was ridiculous.
So
Pearson area, Seville, Pearson, it's an odd place.
yeah, it is like Miami, where white people are the minority. But
It is.
Yes. Anyways,
very odd.
yeah. But he did say, if you don't go with us, we're going to leave you with somebody that you know. And I'm
Okay.
like, okay, who? They're giving the morning show to Bo Rhodes.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah.
Still my favorite morning show to date was Bo and the Misfits.
Yeah, Bo Rhodes and the Bo Rhodes and the Misfits.
All right, who
Which
was
I am
his-
changing the name of our podcast to. And we're bringing him in.
Yeah,
I've
okay.
talked to the consultants.
He's the host.
They
of
think
it.
you and I are monkeying up the show, and we're going to take a smaller role. We're bringing in Bo, and
And
you
we'll
and
be the
I-
Misfits.
We'll be more of the producers.
Okay,
of the
gotcha.
show.
But-
I think we'd be bringing Samuel, Tuttle, Patrick, and then we're good to go.
Tase the balls and money, just printing our own money.
But where they went wrong was they were like, we're going to keep Bo in line. We're going to put the program director on the morning show with Bo. But little did they know that the program director was a big alcoholic just as much as Bo. And
We'll
actually,
cut that out. But I'm going to make note
Sorry.
of people's names.
Sorry. Well, it's
you're
not his
good.
real name.
No, you're good. Keep going.
Oh, that's not his real
Yeah,
name?
yeah,
Okay.
yeah. But little did they know, 2 weeks later, he got kicked off the air for 2 weeks for getting caught smoking a penner on a booze cruise down the Halifax River. So
It sounds,
It sounds right par for the course
it's
of
so
radio.
par for the course. Yeah, these are great stories.
So was he?
We might have to do a 4-parter with you. We're only going to get 1 hour, and we're going to get to the end of
we're going to get to 2010 when when it was first fired.
We're going to get there right to the first fire. We're going to be like, you know what? You got to listen. Next week, we're going to do another 1 hour with old Tuds.
So at this point, it's the program director, Bo, and you.
myself, yes.
Okay,
And that's it.
So Bo and the Misfits are the program director and you.
Yes.
Okay, gotcha.
So one of the funniest stories at first was Bo was like, "This is a great idea. I got this idea. We need to get our name out there." The Monsters are doing Miss Monster on the beach
At the plaza.
At the plaza.
Yeah.
But at the time, our station vehicle was those old school style Hummers. You know, the ones like that.
The Hummer One.
Yeah, the Hummer One. The ones that were really,
But the
really
Crow
white.
had a really, I mean, it was a nice looking station vehicle.
Yeah.
Like way better than anything we had. I mean, it was a Hummer One, but all blacked out.
Yeah, they're
like
fucking expensive.
Yeah, but it looked killer.
Yeah,
I mean, it was
well,
great.
Bo bought us all camo outfits.
Okay.
Okay.
Mhm.
And he
I
was
like
like,
this.
"We are going to storm the beach in a diamond formation."
Okay.
At Miss Monster.
All right.
It worked with,
on boats?
No, I have no idea. The only thing I heard was diamond formation carrying flags.
He's an idea guy.
Fight for your right, diamond formation. I get,
Yeah.
There's the minions that put the shit together.
Little did we know, it usually takes 4 people to create a diamond, and we only had 3 people,
Yeah, I
so
gotcha, yeah.
it would have been a triangle.
Yeah, that's all right. Just one guy keeps rotating front to back.
Yeah, so that was one of my first things, and then
Did you do that, by the way?
no, we did not.
Okay,
that
gotcha.
was squashing.
What'd you do with your camo outfit? I feel like
He made him wear us into work on Fridays.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
it's Camo Friday. Remember, Storm the Beach Fridays.
So one of my favorite memories of, and this was the first time I ever heard somebody blame I ran into a deer, was coming into the morning show, and I'm like, it's 3:30. Bo is already here because he would only show up like 10 minutes before.
Yeah.
I'm like, fuck, it's 3:30. Bo's here, and I'm walking. His face is all scratched up. Okay, like Freddy Krueger had like just went down the front of his face. His truck is all windshield is all smashed in. And I'm like, Bo, what happened? He was like, a deer ran out in front of me. I ran over like 5 bob barricades.
All right.
And I'm like,
and then it smashed the windshield and it hooved me in the face. That's the only explanation for your scratched face. That's what I would have said.
okay, this did pick me up a lot of hours because now on the weekends I couldn't go home because my job was I had to stay with him on the weekends. Because Bo was already sleeping on the couch of the program director at his house.
Yeah.
Right.
And this is where it leads into the first time I lost my virginity.
Okay.
All right.
So, but they put basically you in charge of Bo
I had to follow Bo around on the weekends
to make
at his
sure
promotions. Drive him.
You didn't go to jail or
Yeah,
anything.
yeah, that's what I had to do on the weekends.
This sounds pretty radio to me. I mean, it all sounds normal to me.
The intern. He gets put in charge of the host.
Yeah.
Because he's out of control.
I mean, why shouldn't the guy that's in charge of the entire show be the most inept?
Making all the money.
It seems to happen all the time. I mean, it just randomly happens for every show.
And the always the basically what the bosses come up with the solution
isn't
not
to chastise the guy or have the guy change his life. It's more just get one of the people that's already overworked to do
underpaid
to do more work.
So this leads into, and I will not name this stripper establishment because this person was really, really good friends with Bo at the same time.
I think we still go there too.
Yeah, you do. The first time I lost my virginity was with a stripper that had been given $600 cash money.
Okay.
A lot.
On the couch while Bo was passed out on there.
Wait, he was on the same couch?
Yeah, same couch.
That doesn't leave very much grunting
it was
room.
it was one of those curved couches that fits in the
Sectional.
corner.
Sectional
couch.
okay,
Yeah, so I had the right side. Bo was already passed out on the left.
Was this in the actual club?
No, this was in the program director's house.
Oh, okay,
Yeah.
gotcha.
He's the same guy that got caught for smoking.
Smoke it, yeah.
Okay.
This was also the time where Bo wanted to get into the house and just yelled "What's up?" and kicked open the front door. With his right side.
I remember that. Yeah, this was a better time. I feel like our podcast needs to
go through a
lot of this
insanity.
Like I feel like I should be banging a stripper with you passed out on the couch. I feel like you should knock the door in. I feel like we should diamond formation something. Camo outfits are a must. I'm buying those next week.
We need some divorces. That's for damn sure.
Yeah, well, that's coming. Come on.
Yeah.
Yeah, so as soon as he kicked in the door, he's like, well, buddy, it's all yours. And then he walks in, he just falls face first into the couch. And I'm like, Bo, are you okay? Or you're going to go in the other room?
Already asleep.
Already asleep.
Yeah.
He can't
Well,
even-
he was asleep as he was falling. Right before his head hit I do that sometimes where you're falling and you close your eyes and you're out before you even lay on the pillow.
So, yeah, and I'm like...
What was the stripper's name? Do you remember her name?
Yeah, I do. It was Diamond was her name.
Okay. Rounded it up.
This is a classic.
Finally ran the diamond formation.
Good one.
Did you storm the beach?
But yeah, I still talk to this girl. She's actually a Harley Davidson mechanic now.
Really? That's
yeah.
weird.
Yeah, she's gained a lot of weight. So,
Very too much, too specific because there's not that many ex-stripper Harley Davidson mechanics. So I feel like we're already in trouble.
She's very sad somewhere.
Yeah.
Changing an oil filter.
So you plowed her while.
Yeah.
How was it?
It lasted for a little bit because it was very nerve wracking, and I got to say it took a little bit for because Bo's on the same couch, snoring as loud as you could think Bo would snore, and trying to get it done there. So
Condom or no condom?
Condom, yes.
Okay, good boy.
Yeah, so it was maybe about 8-9 minutes.
That's pretty good.
Yes.
So that was the first time.
Marathon now.
And then and then
You guys are real dynamo.
yeah, and then comes home to find his door kicked open that Bo had done, and Bo and him getting into a fight because Bo's just in his underwear, and they're like fighting each other at the same time.
Like fist fighting?
It was more of just like Bo falling into him, and then just it was very awkward. And
like a rolling wrestling. I can't take this anymore.
Yeah, and you and the stripper are screaming, I can't do this anymore.
I can't do this anymore. Stop it, Bo. Stop it, guys.
So, and then I would say within a couple of months after that, we got a call in to the program director's office and said, hey, we're switching formats to country. Yeah. And then Bo was like, I like country music.
Oh, yeah.
And Bo was like, we can still do mornings here. And they were like, no, we're going to go in a different direction.
So who did they put on?
They put Kingbird on, who was the country guy there.
Legendary guy.
Yeah. So
this whole period of time was only 2 months?
No, we only did like 3 or 4 months with Bo.
Okay, 3 or 4
I was
months.
on with about a year with Ron and Fez, and then around 99... Which reminds me, I remember that day before because everybody was freaking about because our first station was all in computerized, okay, and they were freaking out. So we had to back everything up on reel-to-reel tape because they thought on Y2K was going to knock all of our computer systems off, and we needed to have it backed up.
Needed a Y2K bat.
Yeah. I remember that. But nothing ended up happening, and I did like 3 weeks worth of work backing up every song on reel-to-reel tape. So it was a waste of time.
So you're out of a job now. Kingbird's in.
To make you feel better, you've probably done the equivalent of 9.5 years worth of wasted time work.
Yeah,
Because in the 10 years I worked in radio, I probably did 10,000 hours of wasted fucking...
all the mini discs I chopped up and to be used for what?
Complete waste of time.
Remember mini discs? I mean, that was supposed to be the big thing, you know?
So now Bo's show gets canceled, and now you're
Kingbird's on. You're out of a job.
Yeah, is that so? This is technically the first time you've been fired, or this is not even really fired. This has just been
let go because they were switching.
So it's not really fired.
Yeah.
This is just
that doesn't count.
They go a different direction. This happens in radio all the time, by the way.
Yeah,
it's weird that. I mean, because you went through
even
a couple
more weird that I stayed with every buyout we ever had.
Yeah. But also, like, you were on multiple radio like, you went to 2 different radio shows, then the Monsters.
Yeah, until Drew Garabo, then the Monsters.
I did a 10-year span of on one radio show, never been on any other one, and then it was done.
Yeah, that's very odd.
That's more of an odd thing. Like
good job rubbing it in.
I was like, Tunnel Story is more par for the course, though.
It's more real.
Like, here's the thing. Your fucking best broadcasters of all time, your Howard Sterns, your fucking all of them, they've all
over the place.
Don Imus, Opie and Anthony.
They're all over. They don't stick with one
They've
place.
all been fired.
In fact, you could probably make the argument, they could probably make the argument that sticking to one place is bad business because you can make more money moving around constantly.
Yeah, of course. But this next gig that I got after that was the one that I was at for the longest when I started to work with the Monsters.
Okay, so the Monsters were next.
Yes.
So how'd you get that gig?
I was already there. I know that. And I remember what I got told. Host calls me, says, hey, we got this guy. He used to work with Ron and Fez. He worked with Bo. we're bringing him in, going to give him a try.
I think I remember back when I used to cut up old school best of, hearing your first day on the radio with the Monsters in an old mini disc, and I believe they tried to change your name at first.
Jizzface.
Okay.
Yeah.
Jizzface?
Yeah.
And you were able to say that at the time, right?
Yeah. At that time, Daniel wanted to call me Jizzface.
Okay.
I don't remember that.
Yes, you
but
did.
No, I'm not denying it.
I stand for that. The best
Can we
name
call
ever.
you that now? I feel like that's a classic.
Yes.
Jizzface.
Yeah, but it's funny that we could say that back in the day, though.
Yeah.
It is funny.
Dude, you used to be able to say. I used to listen to the Monsters back in like 2001 through 2 or whatever.
Well, you got away with a lot.
And I mean, you guys,
The worst.
ridiculous.
The one thing that I think if the tape ever surfaced that would have gotten us in trouble, and this was actually before you were on the show, was when we were doing the boob giveaway contest on the show. Okay, this is the very, very first one, and the stripper came in and put the anal beads in her ass.
Yeah.
And when she pulled it out, there
She
was
shit everywhere.
She shit everywhere.
Into
all
a
over.
trash can. That's classic.
Yeah, and then
Are you listening, Mom? $2.95 for your BDM membership. This is what actually paid for the house that my wife and I live in.
Yeah. With SBK with a towel chasing Jeff Howe and Daniel and Carlos or Black Bean at the time saying there's Dookie on them.
Yeah, there was Dookie everywhere.
I remember that story, but it was just literally shit. And then you guys could almost describe it.
Yeah.
And I mean, the fact that, and some people maybe not realize, but the fact that went on terrestrial radio is insanity based upon the rules they have nowadays.
It's very weird. Yeah.
Okay, so I'm interning for quite a while on the Monster.
And this is back before you even needed college like credits or anything. Like you didn't need.
I didn't have
jack
to do
shit.
anything. No.
Yeah.
No. Yeah, so this was like way before. So I think I was there for like 2 years.
So they were just like, you're an intern, but you're not actually receiving anything. College credit, nothing.
But he did everything.
Yeah.
Like seriously, as far as like editing,
best of, all that
show prep, best stuff, stuff like that.
You were working full-time employee
for little or no hours.
for zero money. This is why there's so many fucking lawsuits.
Yeah.
This is why Clear Channel's not allowed to have interns
now.
anymore. And it really had nothing to do with Clear Channel. It was more of the TV stuff.
TV industry.
The TV industry had a class action lawsuit against them because they were having armies of fucking free labor. And then someone's like, wait a minute. A lawyer got a hold of a bunch of old interns and were like, you fucking worked 45 hours a week for zero pay. And you weren't even fucking getting anything out of it.
Yeah, the only thing I was getting paid for was coming in to run the board for the Best of show on Saturday mornings.
Which used to be my job, and it was so fucking early. It's the worst gig. It was like, oh, we're going to do Best of. We're going to do it from like 5 until like, let's make it extra long, 5 till like 2 p.m. You know, you would be there for forever. You needed like, a 9 hours of Best of per morning.
That was my first gig too, but it didn't start until like 9 or some shit.
Yeah, they moved it back. But when I first started, it started at 5.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so
fucking stupid.
So the first paying like full-time gig I got at Real Radio was when I had the chance of working and producing the Drew Show at night.
Yeah. And this was this is all the way up until the time
I had already left. Yeah. Okay.
Wait, yeah, you no.
You were on the Monsters.
You were on the Monsters the whole time I was there. Doc had left. Remember?
Okay, it was Doc that had left.
Yeah, Doc
and then
had left.
You slid in and took Doc's position.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
So okay, well, this is where I kind of remember now because I remember going to the Miss Monster that was in 2003.
The one where I jumped off the ladder and embarrassed myself.
Yes, with you.
I don't know. I still think it's one of the better. I think it's one of the funnier ones for sure.
And I remember
better than smoking your own pubes.
Let's go.
Who the fuck would do that?
I don't,
and
don't say that.
And would that guy grow up to be the vice president of Cigar City Brewery?
Oh, thank God this is BDM. He have us all killed. He's a very powerful man, by the way.
Is that not ridiculous?
Yeah, it is ridiculous.
Like, I mean, you see what I'm saying?
But it makes me depressed because I'm fucking nothing.
Oh, trust us, it makes us all depressed. Like it's a beer god.
So I, before even that happened, I remember going to see you because I was listening to the Monsters back then before I wanted to become an intern, and I remember that me and some of my friends, the Grizz and my buddy Danny, my wife, who wasn't my wife at the time, went to go down to iDrive to see you buried in concrete.
Oh, yeah.
I remember that
because there were some. This is what I want to talk about. Some of the like ridiculous, like you could say legendary
the buried
radio
in concrete thing. There's some more
stunts.
Well, a lot of people
I wouldn't do that.
Well,
shit.
a lot of people don't know there's more to that story.
It's so ghetto. People think, and even I
It was
thought...
two carnies that ran it. You know that, right?
Yeah, oh yeah.
Everybody thought it was professionally done, like there was a trick to it. No, there was no trick to it, okay?
Yeah.
Okay, for one thing, they usually do this with regular concrete.
Hold on,
okay?
let me tell you the
Okay.
trick. The trick was you almost died.
Yeah.
Let's make that known here. I don't know if anybody knows that, but this did not go the way it was planned, and I'll let you tell the story.
And before we even start, people don't realize how fucking shim-sham...
There's a shimmy dog ham connection here. Everything was terrible.
Radio is actually is. People
It's
think...
held together by duct tape, maybe.
Like, they don't have no budget for anything. They'll do...
No, they have a budget. They just don't want to spend
Okay,
it.
they don't want to spend any fucking
money.
They don't want to spend any fucking money on anything. The people making the decisions, a lot of times, aren't necessarily the smartest people in the world. And when it comes down to shit, it's just like, go get it done. Obviously, the higher ups have no idea what's going on.
What's the danger percentage? 90%. There's 10% leeway.
There's none of that. It's just like you go and do it. You're pouring fucking concrete on a dude that if it collapsed, it'd kill you.
We'll tell the whole story.
Yeah, well, they usually use regular concrete, okay, but they were using this quick-acting, dry...
But why?
Well, because it was a sponsorship.
It was a sponsor. That's why.
Because they had to make money. Also, you have to make money on
free.
everything.
It was free concrete.
Yeah.
It would have cost, I don't know, $250, $300 to get an actual concrete truck to come and dump actual concrete.
on there.
Instead, we used heat-activated, quick-drying concrete.
How did they form it? Because you were like...
Okay, they had a box, okay, and then they surrounded the box with like another form, like if you're laying down a sidewalk, okay, but it would.
And that had already dried, right? So when you got on, like the concrete you were laying on is already dry.
No. Everything to the side, front, top was all wet, okay? But this quick drying stuff had a heat activating thing, like Daniel said, made the box get over 100 degrees.
As soon as you open the bag, the chemicals that were in the concrete would activate with the actual atmosphere and with the air.
Yeah, and
with the oxygen in our air.
That's what would quick dry.
And that's what would quick dry. But the problem is that in quick drying, the amount of heat that it produced was like in upwards of 135 to 175 degrees.
And of course, no one thought about this.
No. I'm like complaining it's getting hot in here. So then they actually had to stick an air conditioning tube because the only thing that was leading inside was one PVC pipe that people could look down into.
Yes, yeah. And I remember telling my wife, by the way, I got so drunk I didn't go in. I didn't end up going out there to see you, but everybody else did. And I remember telling my wife before she left, I bet there's a camera like down there and you're looking into a camera, then there's no one actually in there. Yeah. I was even skeptical back then, but nope, 100%.
Since this is you can grab me a beer. Since we're bearing our souls here, I'm going to tell you something I've never told you before, and I'm going to tell it on the show. You don't know this, but you were down there. We had finally gotten the air conditioner hooked up, and a gentleman by the name of Bill Dan Beaver, who owned and ran the Charlie's Steakhouse on I Drive.
Oh, yeah, that you guys all went and ate at.
Yep. He came and he offered us a steak dinner for all the hard work we had done, which was none. And while you sat in there almost dying, I went and had the largest steak I've ever consumed for free.
And you know what the whole key was? I had one large big mouth Gatorade bottle to piss in, okay?
Okay, yeah.
But I had taken 10 Imodium before I went into the box just to, plug everything up.
So you didn't have to shit.
Yeah.
Okay.
Tuds, this is so bad. This is so
But
bad.
this is all in hopes. Now, at the time, was this because you wanted the fame or because you wanted a job?
I wanted a job, the fame, but it was also the amount of money that they were offering at that time.
What were you making? Can you be candid about
it? What, for the one stunt?
For the one stunt.
It was $2,600.
Okay.
But I was in there for like 3 days. So, it was...
I might do that now.
It was a living hell.
Me and
at the
Daniels
time.
made more than that on our Tom and Dan cruise.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, we had to go on the cruise. Okay, go ahead.
But
Keep going.
we're talking about dangerous stunts. So, Tom, one of the most dangerous things that we've ever done, in my opinion, which they made us do over and over again at 2 or 3 different places, was the stupid scooter jousting.
No, okay, yeah.
Well, hold on. Let's not get the cart before the horse.
Yeah. Okay.
I still want to remind everybody that you're still in concrete and it's not dried yet.
Oh no, it hasn't dried yet. And then one of the most dangerous parts of it, when they bring the stuff in, it's formed, but it's almost like a gelatin type. Okay, it didn't completely harden all the way, and they bring down maybe the biggest wrestler at the time.
It was Bubba Ray Dudley.
Bubba Ray Dudley, and swinging a sledgehammer in concrete that had not even formed yet. Okay,
Yeah, just the outside was dry, and then the inside was mush.
Mush. Okay, he swings it the first time. The whole wood comes in, it like right by my head.
So hundreds of pounds of concrete are about to crush you to death.
And are you thinking at this time, because I'm a little bit claustrophobic, not to the point where I'd panic, but at that time I would think to myself, if this would collapse and all this fucking wet concrete comes in, they're not going to be able to get me out fast enough before I suffocate on wet concrete, correct?
No, well, do you want to know the craziest thing? They had one of the carnies would wait there overnight, okay? So I'm in there overnight.
I smoked weed with that guy.
Yeah.
I did.
The power that they had everything hooked up correctly kept tripping the circuit breaker, okay?
Because he had it plugged into that RV that was next to it. Yeah,
So
I do remember that.
I woke up in the middle of the night, and I'm beating on the roof of this concrete.
Oh, my God. He had no air,
for
dude.
2 hours. No air. Completely
But the
dark.
more you beat
no
on the roof,
light.
the hotter it is.
I would have panicked because at that point you have no idea what's
Buried
going
alive.
on.
This is buried alive.
Yeah, and at this
The
point,
whole world could have ended, and I'm stuck in this box by
there-
myself.
Yeah, there's nothing to.
We've evacuated Orlando.
Oh yeah, and believe me, all those
Martial law.
all the radio pieces of shit, including Daniel, would have left you there tonight. You would have been like, fuck,
Well,
I
what
saved
are you
myself.
gonna do?
Oh, I saved myself.
Yeah, I'm gonna eat this.
I'd be like, he volunteered for this.
I'm going to drive away eating my Charlie Steakhouse scalloped potatoes and mushrooms.
So that's fucking frightening.
Yeah, so for 2 hours I'm beating on this. I had a Nextel phone that they gave me, like this ones that still, because everybody on the show had the Nextel two-way direct connect.
Yeah.
I'm trying everybody, and nobody's answering. I'm trying Daniel.
The reception
Russ,
in Charlie's Steakhouse is really bad.
So for 2 hours, and then finally the carney's like, "Hey, you okay down there?" And I'm like, "There's no power down here." I said, "You can't hear." And by the way, the air conditioner unit that they had hooked up to was a window unit that had been beaten up. Like
It was gifted to us by a sponsor. Everything had to be sponsor approved. You know this, Patrick.
But this thing, you know how they have the metal like grates in the lines? All of them had been beaten, like they were bent over, so there was nothing coming through it.
What you used to do as a kid in school, you'd run a stick down them and write your name on it.
So that finally happened, and then the scariest part was Bubba Ray Dudley almost swinging the sledgehammer through the concrete into the tomb itself.
Yep,
And they finally got you out.
Yeah.
And then what? I mean, kind of like parade did they have after?
They Amanda Molly, our promo person at the time,
she's still there.
Made a cardboard check out of like just some cardboard that they found around the studio, and whitened it out and put Tuttle a concrete bit, and then wrote 2,500 on it, and then it was like a month later before I got my actual money.
A month.
Yeah.
But at that time, big payday for you, and you obviously.
What'd you spend your money on?
It was just gas money to finally get back and forth because I'm driving from Volusia County all the way from Volusia County every day.
Yeah. So okay, now let's move forward.
Back to the Drew Show.
I mean, So
you're on Drew's show.
I remember when I started as an intern. You at the time, obviously, they started changing the rules where you couldn't intern forever. Because some guy sued I forgot who it was, but some intern sued Clear Channel or threatened to sue
Bill Cosby.
It was Fatty Gukas.
Fatty Gukas.
Intern names are so good.
And then at the time, you could only do 2 or 3 semesters. So at that time, everybody they couldn't hire you on the morning show. No one has any money anywhere. So you get on with
That's
Drew
such
show.
You know what? Everybody says that, and it's a lie.
They could have hired.
They couldn't hire you on the morning show. Nobody had any money. The last part of that is fucking a lie.
Yeah.
They couldn't hire you on the morning show because they didn't want to spend the money. That's what we should say.
Yeah, they didn't want to spend
They
money.
didn't have it. They just didn't want to spend it.
Yeah, they figured someone else is going to come on behind
was you.
which is me, and work for free for a year. And then I've said that story. Then,
Put me in concrete. I'll need $2,600.
I'll jump a goddamn. They're like, wait, and you
This
can't
guy
play.
will jump grave digger. Listen, sorry, nerd. Get the fuck out of here.
As a fucking small business owner, I can't fucking. How can he beat him up? Because it's just business at that point. If you have a never-ending amount of fucking idiots that are willing to put their lives in danger to promote your fucking business.
Wait a minute, that's radio.
Yeah.
A never-ending supply of videos. That's what it is.
Then, like, I can't blame him for not wanting to hire you, because why would you spend money if some fucking Drunky the Bear comes on? He's fucking
and he's got a
bright-eyed.
costume.
Yeah, he's bright-eyed. He knows how to ride dirt bikes, too.
Let's get real, since this is a BDM show.
Okay. All right.
When you knew that there was a possibility of a gentleman that had a costume that could come in and maybe take a little the shine off of what you were doing, how did you feel?
I fucking hated him.
Yeah,
Really?
No, I did.
Did you
Serious.
really?
No, I did, of course. Because I hated him and Whopper.
Because I had the, like, all of a sudden I come in with fancy videos.
Yeah, he's got fucking
Porno.
in his videos. He's got all these, like, cool,
He bribed me with porno to get on the air, and he knows I'm a pervert, and things have not changed.
That's all it took.
Yeah, that's all it took. I'm like, free porno?
I mean, there was
how many
no-
of these do you have? You're like, I got 17 volumes. I'm like, you're my intern.
Yeah.
You're my guy.
And there was no competing. You could walk out and everybody would be like, "Rocky."
Yeah.
It was just like everybody. So, I mean, there was no competing. So,
But I feel like you did compete when you guys were challenging each other, because as much as you were the crowd favorite as Drunky the Bear, he had an element of hardcoreness that no one could touch.
Oh, yeah,
like
insanity.
no one was crazier than him.
No,
like
no,
nobody, like he'd do the hardest jumps, the craziest stunts.
Yeah, it only took
He'd
me...
be bleeding. He wouldn't even care.
Okay.
It took me 6 months, and then I started to realize the business, and I was like, "Fuck this! I gotta fake most of this." And I'm never gonna get paid. These are cheap pieces of shit.
So let's keep going. Where are we at now?
Back to the stunt stuff with him doing all the jumping and stuff. One of the scariest things I ever did in my life. We built that ramp the first time we ever jumped anything at the Citrus Bowl.
Oh, yeah,
was one of the hairiest things I've ever done in my life, because I
don't know how to ride. Yeah, you don't know how to ride anything with two wheels.
Yeah.
And then I remember it's like, just go as fast as you can on a fucking sit down like Vespa scooter.
Yeah.
What was it? Was a Yamaha, I believe, a Vino Classic, which actually, believe it or not, is a really good scooter, and the thing will go fast.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I mean, it's no bullshit.
I remember watching
I almost didn't hit the ramp.
You were squirrely as fuck. And I remember even at that point when I didn't give a shit and I was way more crazy, I had nothing to lose. I remember looking at it and be like, this motherfucker's going to die. because you were so squirrely. And I'm like, if you hit this, like, no, a lot of people don't realize, like, even if you were a professional stunt rider, you wouldn't go full speed towards a half-assed, like, 5-foot launch ramp hitting with a scooter, because it's almost guaranteed you're going to fuck yourself up. You know what I'm saying? So it doesn't matter how good this is.
Where are you
had
landing?
Nothing to do
what
with
are you
skill.
landing on? There's a lot of questions to ask.
And just if you eat shit before and then plow your head into I mean, there was so much that can go wrong. But anyway, besides, I remember like around that time. So you got a job producing Drew.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So
but at the same time, though,
I was still coming back and doing stunts.
Yeah, exactly. Because
you mentioned it earlier, like you did do the joust, which you fucked your hand up, didn't you?
Yeah, I cut my hand up because the first time we did it, we were supposed to joust each other, but me and Tom, we did not even attempt to joust each other. We just hit wheel to wheel.
Yeah, rammed
each other at probably 25, 30 miles an hour, and
that's not smart.
Yeah, it wasn't smart at the time, and the plastic splintered, which PVC pipe does, and just like sliced my hand completely open.
How many times, and we'll go back to the thing, how many times could you have sued a big corporation?
Oh, I could have. A lot of times. A lot of times, dude. I mean, look, I mean...
How do you feel when I say the phrase, I heart Patrick Media? How does that make you feel?
Well, first off, you guys would have been my vice president and president of the corporation.
What's the statute? Yeah, you can be the president. I don't want to... I can be Biden. That's totally fine.
The easier job.
Yeah, I'm floating through life, just not a care in the world, just speaking my mind and being an asshole. Yeah.
So I'll get real about Drew, okay? I will say this. It's a weird thing about Drew.
We're having him in.
Yeah, I know you're having him in.
For chatting with the master.
So you guys can play this for him, and
we'll do that. We'll do that thing where you play it and you go, how does that make you feel?
One of the worst radio jobs I've ever had, and one of the best, I will say this is the best radio job I've ever had, was working with Drew.
Wow. All right.
That's very candid.
Now with Bo, I feel like that was a party time.
At the time,
eating the stripper's pussy from behind, that's not...
No. So at that time when I was working with Drew, and I'll be honest about all this stuff, okay? Drew was maybe not the happiest person when it came to the situation that he was in. He'd been at Real Radio for the longest amount of time, okay? And then this is when the Monsters moved to mornings, and then there was an open vacancy on middays.
Yeah.
And he really, at that time, felt like he was disrespected because he didn't even get the opportunity or chance.
I thought he was going to go there. I thought he was going to go
to go from nights to go to middays. Okay, and
I feel like this happens a lot.
Yeah. He deserved a chance, in my opinion. I really did think he at least deserved a shot, which maybe at the time made him not the best person to work for because
because then there's a point
level
in time,
of resentment, and then you're
and I've gone through this in my in my professional corporate career. There's a point in time where you feel like you've worked and earned your way up to something, and then when they shut the door in your face or they don't give you any opportunity, then you turn like it's literally like a switch gets turned off, and then you just don't give a fuck about anything anymore.
No.
And then you're as curmudgeoned as you could possibly be.
You've seen it with me.
Oh yeah, I was there. Shit, I did a year of it. I was just literally, I put my feet up, and I feel bad for the people like interns or anybody who work with me because I just literally stopped giving a fuck.
See, we got into a really big fight one night, and I don't even know what it. Oh, I do remember. Remember Jake that used to call into the show all the time and stuff, and he used to bust my balls and
passed away.
Yeah, he had multiple. For those of you who don't know, there's a guy that he had MS.
Yeah,
he had MS.
Sweetheart of a guy. I still have his number in my phone.
Really?
Me too.
Oh shit. So he used to call in all the time. Really funny guy.
His mom was a real sweetheart.
He had MS, ended up passing away.
So he called into the radio show. He always loved the bus balls, and I made a joke about being in a wheelchair or something.
He was a real
like
dick,
that, okay?
in a good way.
Okay,
we all enjoyed
so
him. Like, he would literally slay you, though.
Yeah, he would. And then Drew took offense, just really, really just went off on me one night for like 2 hours after I made that comment, and everything really wasn't the same after that because it was kind of like. We got into a big fight about that and stuff.
There's probably more problems than just the one.
Yeah,
comment.
I understand, but that's one of the ones that I remember. Because
becomes a catalyst problem, and then he starts venting on you, start venting on him. A lot of pent up non-communication. Exactly. I get it.
Well,
Drew and I had that point too.
Yeah, exactly. Because if you're working close with somebody for so long, especially being on a night show where it's just you and a producer, those
except for me and Tom, we get along great. It's really a joy, and we're rich.
It's pure. Bliss.
Yeah, it really is. It's like an angel pissing down your throat.
We've literally never got an argument.
So we'll fast forward a little bit. He ended up getting let go at the time because he had said something about another radio guy that caused problems.
I remember that.
Yes. Should I go into that?
It was Doc, right?
It was Doc Holliday from the morning show at XL 106.7.
Yeah, no, I don't think it matters. I think it's water under the bridge now.
This is literally what 9 years,
2006,
10 years ago.
2005, 2006. Okay. So
less than that.
He ended up getting let go, and then I ended up coming back to the Monsters. Getting paid jack shit.
Okay,
that's weird. I would have thought that's your payday.
Hold on. Okay, so now
I was working full time with the Monster or Drew at that time.
Okay, so then you got you went back to the Monsters. Now I was on the show.
Yeah, at that time.
What I can't. I honestly don't remember this part. Where
I
you were
remember
getting paid.
Drew went away. He was trying to decide whether or not, and obviously he's very successful in Tampa right now. But he went away, was trying to decide whether he wanted to stay in radio or not. Yeah. I think he went and worked for the Magic. Mm-hmm. So you came back to the Monsters. I do remember.
And then it was just me as an intern there. Yes. Or I was getting paid part-time.
This guy way better, though. Way better. Got way more done.
And then both of us were just working, because none of us sat on the show.
No,
we just worked behind the scenes.
We used to talk about how shitty things were in the office.
Okay, yeah.
While you were writing your 1 minute of comedy.
Yeah, okay, the normal talk.
You were doing 1 minute of comedy?
Yeah. He was doing
this was after
Savannah left.
Savannah and everybody left, so they just who
Wait
can
till we bring
to
her in for chatting with the Masters.
Who can we get to do a bit? This is going back to not blaming because here's the thing: if I would have done a shitty job, maybe Clear Channel would have changed their ways, and then be like, we can't do this. But I literally started stepping into spots I'll fucking jump this way, and who can do a bit every single day? Oh, this guy can do it for free.
Yeah, who can do 2 of them a day?
Yeah. Who can help the other guy write his bit and do his bit? Oh, this guy. And
I'll do one on hour.
And they're like, this is fucking awesome. We don't have to pay anybody anything.
It's the army of idiots.
Yeah. We can get this fucking idiot. He'll do it all for free. All right, sorry.
And you came back. You're another idiot. It's like this idiot. He has nowhere to go.
Yeah, he'll come die.
He's part of the army too.
He'll keep the other idiot from being too disgruntled because they'll be fucking fighting back and forth with each other to who gets money.
And then that one idiot, he'll work for us for a while, but then he's really smart, so he'll leave and he'll become a vice president of a brewery.
They didn't see that one coming.
God, that guy really fucked our ass. He's out of the. He actually got an honorable discharge from the Army of Idiots. He's out, 100% out. Did his time.
Yeah.
He's out.
Yeah.
And then worked, and then it was just all a blur for that time after a while, and then I ended up getting let go in 2010.
Okay, 2010. Now I remember. And I don't know, it doesn't matter, but most of the people don't even work here anymore.
I remember, here's the story. I'll tell you the story that I heard,
Okay.
Yeah.
and you tell me if it's real.
All right.
Because if we're going to do
I've
BDMs,
heard this story, yeah.
BDMs need to get the real shit,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, yeah. Okay.
So we're going to give the BDMs
You have to
the
pay
real
for
shit.
this, so if anybody actually wanted to listen to it, they'd have
Yeah.
to get the $2.95.
But this is fun. Like
do
I
you
feel
get a
like
cut
we,
of this?
I feel like we needed to have this conversation. We'll
Okay.
give you a hoodie. We'll give you a
Okay.
free hoodie.
All right.
I feel like when you asked if you get a cut of this, based upon all of your experience, you should know better.
That's not very Army of Idiots of you.
So now, is that why you're getting other Army of idiots
Oh,
coming in
yeah. I saw the business model. Listen, you don't
It
become
only took him 20 years. He's on to
here?
it.
Is that why Drew's coming in the ball?
you don't become $1 billion corporation by being fucking stupid. I'm just mimicking what they do.
All right, so
now.
I want to hear what the reason was that I got fired.
Here's what I heard.
Okay.
I heard that you were at a restaurant.
Yes.
And our program director at the time was at the same restaurant.
Yep.
And that you were solidifying a deal to sell your own NASCAR-style program show to this particular person.
Yeah.
And you were making decisions that were maybe above your pay grade, and that she overheard them.
Yeah.
And then that was the reason.
Yes, that's 100% true.
Okay, all right,
shit.
that's all right.
Hold on a second. Nothing I've ever heard from that fucking place is ever 100% true. Really?
Well, no.
But here's the thing: you were doing that because you realized the
Nothing matters. You're trying to make some money.
nothing matters. And I've done the same thing you did a million times. You just didn't happen to have
Yeah,
the
you
person,
got
the
caught.
boss, listen to you.
I was drunk and high probably at the time whenever.
But you know, it's something that everybody does behind the scenes.
I was drunk and high.
That obviously is frowned upon and maybe against the
Just
rules.
to let you know, at that time, that was when I used to get the blue meanies.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah, so maybe maybe it was on number 4 of the day.
Of the pain pill.
Yeah, the pain pills.
Is it or-
Don't say it for us. We'll cut that out.
Is it or is it not true
No.
that for a while you were enjoying your blue meanie so much that you started breaking your own bones?
Yes,
In an attempt to get more pills.
Actually, that's why I had. You remember how I used to come in with the big bruise on my elbow?
You
That
showed
was-
us how you did that, by the way.
That was
Yeah,
me
you used to
taking
slam it in a car door.
Yeah, that's why I used to take the door, and I would pay usually some guy panhandling on the corner, and I would put my elbow in there, and I'd say, "If you slam this as hard as you can, I will give you $5."
Really? Okay,
Yeah.
this is crazier than I thought.
And you would do that in order to get a real injury that you could go and get pain pills.
Yes.
But this is back in the day where it was pill mill crazy,
Yeah.
and they were
Oh,
just
yeah.
giving them out. You
Yeah,
just go
then
to
Pam Bondi fucked our ass and
Yeah.
took it all away. Stoop.
She hates pain pills and the gays.
My pain, I would be generous with my stuff, as you guys cut that part out.
That's fine.
No, we'll leave it in.
We're not cutting any of this.
I've never said I'm anti pain pill at all. I keep it between the lines.
Yeah, I
It's
just
those
never
of you
got to the point where a bum is slamming my arm in the door.
Yeah.
But one day I hope to, because I want to see the look on my wife's face when I'm like, no, he's just here to slam the door. He's fine.
Yeah.
Old Schmookie's a great guy.
Yeah. So, all right. Yeah. So that, I was doing that, and then that's probably one of the reasons I got fired because of my drinking and addiction.
How did they do it? How did they do
Are
it?
you shitting me? Everybody's drunk and addicted.
Yeah.
to it.
Oh, that whole place is a fucking hellhole.
How'd they do
So
it?
they brought you in.
Yeah, no, they said, hey, come see us after the show. We need to talk to you. And then when I walked in, and this is always a bad sign, is when you walk into a manager's office and HR is sitting there as well, too.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's all fucking over with after that. So they were like, hey, and then the one thing that really pissed me off was because at that time I wasn't a contract employee, but they wanted me to sign something, which they wanted to kind of like, this is why you're being signed. But I was looking at they wanted me to try to sign a non-compete before I was walking out the door.
Oh. Okay. Listen. I commend
They tried
them.
to get me to do that. I think with my, even though I was still under one based on my contract. There was an exit interview
that they
thing.
wanted me to sign, and I'm like, I'm not signing shit until I have a good chance to read over all this.
And right now I'm like on 9 blue meanies. So you're gonna give me time to level out. I'm not gonna read.
Yeah.
Well, at this point in time, you're pink elephants, and you're talking to me in cartoon land.
Right now, there's a bunch of fairies on the page, and they're telling me not to sign this shit.
Yeah, Yeah, and this is at the time when you guys were still at the old house and had the other place. So I went over there because this was on a Friday, and you guys were all over there, and I'm like, oh, I'm depressed, and you guys are like, oh, it'll be fine. You'll get a job in no time. The usual trying to console your friends.
Sure.
And it was 8 months later.
Yeah. Behind the scenes, by the way, we're like, ooh, that's not good.
Yeah.
I'm like, what did he do with his pain pills? I'd really like to eat those and go to Charlie's Steakhouse.
We were like, you think he'll give us pain pills if we just let him on the show every day?
Yeah.
And I think there was a good 8 or
How many
9
pain pills
months.
can I buy if I slam the door in his elbow? and then I was like,
And then I was like, no, you idiot, because this is why I'm a businessman. Just trade them pain pills for the slam.
I'm talking
not
to
the
Tom.
money.
I'm talking to Tom. I go, who was the guy that buried himself in concrete at Charlie's Steakhouse? And he's like, that's the guy. I'm like, oh,
There it is.
I fucking forgot. So let's go a little further.
Okay.
So,
So now I feel like we're going to have to soon take a break and come back with part 2.
We can. I'll come back
is
another
that
day.
okay?
Yeah, I just live work right down the street from you guys because right now.
Do you have to go now?
No, I don't have to go right now.
Okay, because I feel like I want to film. I want to record part 2.
We should have filmed it.
and then release it next week.
Okay, yeah, we can do that.
Okay, so let's get the everything straight. So right now you're first time officially been let go from Real Radio.
Yeah, Real Radio.
Okay, and now
this was the beginning of the end. I met a certain host, let's say, in the hallway. I won't call him out, but everybody will know who I'm talking about. And the guy looked at me and he goes, "Yep, this is the beginning of the end." He's like, when you're getting fired for things that have been going on for years that everybody does.
But shortly after that, there was mass layoffs anyway, and then like you would have most likely got swept up with that. There was like two rungs of mass layoffs.
The program director that fired me was fired in the very next layoff.
Okay, yeah. And so there was a lot going on. But so now you're looking for a job. What is because this is what interests me.
I never leave him on a cliffhanger.
Yeah, I never got to experience this. But what do you do as a radio personality when you're trying to find a job somewhere? Like, who do you send tapes to? Or like I said, tapes like it's a fucking 1982.
You would still say that.
But who do you send?
I'll back you up on that.
Like, did you put together a demo reel and send it?
I'll leave you on this.
Okay.
I heard a very large syndicated radio show was looking for a new webmaster.
Okay. Now, did you know anything about websites?
I've done Facebook and Twitter, and that's it.
No, but you've never had a lack of balls, so I think I know where this is going.
So yes, I'll just save it and let you know exactly what I did to get my foot in the door at this very large radio.
Okay,
we'll leave it there.
And just to entice everybody, was this a crazier experience than you've already had?
The craziest, worst '90s radio bit countryland that I've ever been in. Like, my dick and my balls were seen on videotape more than any other person.
Oh, okay,
of all time.
gotcha. Well,
on that note, this has been part 1 of Tuttle Behind the Microphone, or as we like to call it, Chatting with the Master.
Yeah, and I feel like it's just heating up now.
Yeah, it's just
because I know
we've just scratched the
From
surface.
what I know, this is the part where I don't really know the story. Like all of what we said, I knew already.
Yeah.
But coming up now is where I don't really
This
know
is all
exactly
new
what
shit.
happened. It's
Yeah.
new shit,
Yeah.
and I don't even know what happened even in the past year.
Well,
and so
$2.95. You can. You better pay.
Well, no, they've already paid if they.
No, I'm talking to you.
Oh, me?
Like,
I got.
you want to hear it?
I got a free admin.
Yeah, but you're squeezing
sponsorship.
extra money because it's a 2-parter.
You know what? I actually pay a BDM by accident, and my wife keeps telling me to cancel
everybody
it.
uses it. By the way,
But she's like, you pay every time we get it. She's like, you're paying for this, your own company.
Meaty Joker was testing the website. He goes, just use Tom's. Seriously, yesterday I was testing something with the site. He goes, just use Tom's BDM. He fucking forgot about it.
Wait,
He's
do you have an
idiot.
intern called Meaty Joker?
No, he's. I wish
He's smarter
he was,
than all of us.
I wish he was an intern. The guy's a goddamn genius. He put together an entire app. He helped me build computers, stuff like that. Yeah.
Okay.
He should be our boss, actually.
Yeah, he probably is.
All right, we'll be back with part 2 of what I know is going to be pure insanity.
All right.
Dan MegaMix なんだというのだ
あんたの顔、なんかに似とるな。
Shark Tank Widow! Shark Tank Widow! Shark Tank Widow! Shark Tank
All right, so we have our first contestant.
All right, you ready?
For our Tom and Dan Shark Tank.
He ironed his shorts to be here today.
No, it's not about appearance, Ross.
Sorry.
This isn't American Idol.
So,
Ross thinks your idea isn't going to work because you'd have a belly.
all right, so this is the time you're giving us our the pitch.
All right. Well, thank you so much for having me. Talking to all the people out there, I'm like, well, you guys are way more professional than me.
Perfect. I'm already on board.
Thank you for letting me come. A few years ago, quick background on what I do. Pre-kindergarten teacher, worked with little kids for a very long time.
Ew.
Very kid. And one of the biggest things with kids today now, they're very anxious and anxiety. Like, I'm riddled with anxiety. I know some of you.
I'm crippled by it. I'm listening. And you got my attention now.
And it's a real thing. And with kids these days, you're seeing it more and more. You're seeing more medication and stuff like that. So what I did a few years ago with my brother-in-law, we made a little goofy relaxation CD. And we took out a recording tape and went out to the lake and had some wind chimes going. And it was me. I used to have a radio show back in the college days.
Sure.
I used, that experience with that, and we talked, and it's like a very slow, relaxing talk. And then we recorded more sounds, and I would do stories with it as well. Mm-hmm. So about like a 20-minute story. You don't want to go too long; they'll lose attention. Mm-hmm. So with that, coupled with children's books, I started writing a whole bunch. I have tons. Nothing. I'm still looking for like a good illustrator, but it's the umbrella.
Have you ever thought of smoking weed? I feel like Dry Mouth could help you out.
Ross, let it become
Is this not the time to do
No.
My bad.
Yeah, don't interrupt his flow, man.
He's nervous.
He is the mean one. He is the mean one.
Yeah. Look at him.
Look at him. He's got on like surf dukes. Why do you have on surf dukes? Your pouch.
I should have came in my Lambo dick shirt.
No, you're fine.
You're fine. Your dick.
Don't let Ross shake you. Come on.
No. So pretty much the idea was, I feel really goofy because the CD we made was just goofing around, but and no one. I've only played it for kids. And
Yeah.
It's
Well, we're not that far away from that IQ level. That's fine.
And we and
both
Daniel
have
have kids.
kids, yeah.
Jesse, you don't have any kids though.
No, I know of kids though.
Yeah.
so
But Chris, you have
has kids.
I got two.
Hey,
Aiden
congrats.
and Aiden.
Okay,
Yeah.
nice.
so you got
I
three
have a
sharks.
joey.
Yeah.
The no about
Ross's kids are grown men.
I
I
got
have
two
more
boys.
anxiety than anybody else in this room.
Well, you need the CD.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
Yeah, I know you might
He
like
seems high test right now. He's not even wearing shoes. He's so pissed.
No, yeah.
Nice song.
He does it's very off-putting to the comedians too. They all mention it.
He is the America's best local comedian.
Correct.
Oh, I forgot. Congratulations.
Thank you.
That's awesome.
Oh, I like that. You buttered him up.
Yeah, he's just gonna be addicted. He don't got no money to give you.
By the way,
$5 on whatever idea I think is good.
he has 0 vote, but he can throw some salad dressing at you. I guess.
Let me see. I got $8 to invent something. That's on the table right there.
Yeah, lay it out.
Someone's taking that today.
The beer you took from me was $8 actually.
Get out.
He's got the business sense.
So the other
Pack
thing
your
that I
things
wanted to
and get
pitch
out.
along with the CDs was that for Tom and Dan Media, also looking to print media with the children's books, and a lot of BDMs, regular listeners have children, and to have your name on something, we could also pitch it out to them as
Okay,
well.
so the children book now is it going to be a book with a CD accompaniment to it?
Two different.
I'm interested in this. My mother is a librarian.
Yep.
We have gone the route of trying to do educational tools for children. Yeah. I like this because there's a lot of money. Seriously, my mom's a 40-year teacher, like she's been teaching all of her life.
It's a market that'll never go
And
away.
Have you ever purchased a textbook?
I love, exactly. And I love doing voices, and kids love puppets, and they love anything that's on audio. I'm into this, man.
I also wrote a story. I'm sorry.
No, I was going to say, and as far, I was thinking about this the other day when my wife was going on Amazon and spending all of my money on
Stacy.
bullshit for my kids, is that if your demographic is like rich stay-at-home paranoid moms, you will never run out of money because they will literally all they have to do is time, and they will spare no expense for their kids.
Can I tell you something that happened at my? I get a lot of stick because of the daycare that my daughter goes to, but we saw a
What is
MILF.
it, a Scientology daycare or something?
No, it's not.
The mega bus stop.
Every day is Science Day at her daycare. But there was a MILF with brand new jacked up mega tits and dressed to the 100s. I mean, hot as hell, but like obviously so much work done. And there was a book fair at the daycare, like this old school Scholastic. This lady bought one of everything. Her bill came for the book fair. What do you think it was?
$487.
$475. Are you there?
Jesse's a rain man when it comes to
he's a MILF rain man. You like the MILFs, don't you? No,
He literally just blacked out and said a number.
in front of me and my wife, this lady strokes a check for almost $500 for just books she bought for one kid.
That's what I used to work in Celebration at a preschool. And
So all right, I'm into this, man. This is cool.
Scholastic book fair.
So
not that much, but they would come in and boom, 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 boom.
She bought one of everything. She just go around, give me this, give me that, give me that.
Now, before the legitimate sharks ask legitimate business questions, we should hear some of of your product.
And I also wrote a book about you guys too to turn into kids.
Oh, really?
Yes.
That's weird.
That's intriguing.
It scares me.
Please be a little kid.
No one. I didn't pat anybody down before we came in. Here's my way.
If you start fast stabbing me,
I'm like, he got me.
It's gonna be hard for me to edit. I don't care about
I'm
you.
chubby, but I'm taking this window out as I go.
It's very.
Chris can throw a signal vault card like a ninja.
Yeah.
Like
He's obviously He's obviously in the best shape. I mean, I feel like he is good to go.
Well, it's not under Tom and Dan. It's just,
okay.
There's two.
You're already being sued by our lawyer.
Kramer, get on it.
If you could do me a favor, please remove that polo. We own it now.
It's about two. I believe Tom's the panda and you're the kangaroo. They're. I don't know. Pandas are loving, kangaroos are fun.
I like that I'm a kangaroo.
Their zoo gets shut down, so they have to go find new jobs, and the whole book is you guys
that's
try
cool.
different jobs. And,
What job do I as the panda?
your first one's at a pizza place.
We work at a pizza place.
Stop shouting! Yeah.
I feel like all you're doing is talking about 2018. Like, that's going to happen.
Now,
This is a zoo. It's over.
Yeah, we're hemorrhaging money. I'm going to be dressed as a kangaroo slopping pizza on iDrive.
not to disparage your idea or anything, but I feel like every time I read my kids' books, I'm reading like some nonsense about dragons eating tacos and I'm just like, I can
Dragon
do this.
taco.
I can write this. Like,
No, you can't.
like, it's Goodbye Moon, and there's
you
nothing
can't.
really to it.
What's the one you
It's
gave me?
Simple.
Sandra Boynton. What was it?
Something la la la. Like
Mooba la la la.
Yeah, my wife read that at Maisie's school this morning because
Did she?
they have I'm signed up to go read too, and I'm going to dress up and do the whole thing. And the kids went fucking bananas, crazy over it.
I told you,
they
that's a good
loved
book.
it. Oh, it's a great book.
And it's simplistic, but it's hard, Tom. You can't do it.
No, you can't do it. Could you write something as poignant as the Mustache Baby?
Good choice of words.
That was nonsense.
Mustache Baby.
No one's read Mustache Baby?
No.
Because the nurses, when the baby's born, have to discover whether or not the baby has a good guy mustache or a bad guy mustache.
That's nonsense.
It's not.
That's awesome. That's
It's a great book.
I get an edible, just write whatever nonsense
Do
comes
it.
to my head,
Do
and then
it.
it's a kid's book. Anyway, let's hear the CD.
Anyways.
And then we'll have the sharks ask you some legitimate business questions.
What, you brought in your own boombox?
I will say
That's how it rolls.
I got a nice call this afternoon saying we don't have a CD player, and I was like, okay, I will bring in my.
Well,
check.
I mean, couldn't we have extracted it as an MP3?
Well, no, Tom did say, no, I don't have this loaded on.
Oh, okay.
That's the first bad side. When you're
No,
tired,
I literally made this like 4 years ago, like just with my brother-in-law, just for fun. So like that's
Okay, I got you.
only kids have heard it. So I'm a little embarrassed. Like it's just
relax.
Hey, if you're not embarrassed by your first product, you started too late. Never forget that.
I'm still embarrassed by this.
This is our first product.
Still,
and it's pretty fucking
It'll
bad.
get there.
Yeah.
Okay, so what I'm going to put on is the I call it relax, reset, and reflect.
And kids, you're supposed to. Now, the idea is parents buy this and then play it for their kids to relax.
To relax, yep. If
Okay.
they're,
And to teachers and like preschools and
I actually did it at my preschool at nap time. I did it a lot because some kids wouldn't rest at nap time.
Yeah.
So instead of nap time, I called it reflect time. Just lie down on your mat.
They do that.
Relax, reflect.
They do that with my daughter. So it's
Because
that's
a lot of
very
people are
common.
moving away from nap times and just relax.
At Tom's preschool, though, they make them stare at Jesus bleeding out of his hands.
They have to say 50 Hail Marys.
Yeah,
That was for Russ.
they indoctrinate him.
I got the nod. All right.
They indoctrinate him real good.
Yeah, they got him. He's
So ghetto CD player.
Yeah, that's it.
Like
Where'd you?
15 years old.
oh my! What is? I feel like hey, where'd you get that Studio 54? Like, oh my
I was
god!
walking down the road and I had the beer and I had the CD player. Okay. Go easy on me, please.
Yeah, we will.
That's fine. The reason why I pick some of these. It's you can tell like, when they come in with the mangoes, you know what's coming. I'm just joking.
You're gonna love Myth Ellie's CDs for kids.
All right. Here we go.
Okay, let's hear. Put.
Let's begin.
We're going to start with our stretches before we get into our story. This one's called The Windmill. I'd like you to stand up now. Legs spread apart and your arms raised up to your shoulders. This is called The Windmill.
You're aware this sounds super creepy, right?
Legs apart, arms apart.
This is for adults or kids?
Right arm.
Hold on, is this for $100? Like I know someone who would buy this.
I'm going to kill you.
Wait, why want my microphone to do that?
Can you start with your legs spread? Because I'm about to chainsaw your pussy.
1, 2.
Shut it off.
No, it gets better. Yeah.
Let's take our right arm to our left foot.
This is just a yoga.
1, 2, 3. Back up.
I can see your small balls protruding from your diaper. You have quite a full. Your diaper's very full.
Breathe in
I'd like to put my face in it.
and breathe out.
Eat it like a goddamn animal.
Let's begin. Relax.
I'm recording this from
Reflect.
jail.
Now it's time to close our eyes. Close your eyes and picture yourself sitting
Close your eyes. They'll never open back up again.
by a massive lake.
It's supposed to be at a lake. That's where we recorded it.
Oh, okay.
Take in the view. Look around. What do you see? You decide to get off your chair and walk to the lake. You feel the wind blowing in your face and blowing your hair all around.
I'm going to shave my hair like Britney Spears.
Today
I'm going
is
to
a
hit a
perfect
paparazzi's
day
car with an umbrella.
to go for a sail.
It's just me talking through that. Like I said, we made this in like 2 days.
Now I don't want to criticize
10,000.
The company. No, wait. The company's already worth $20 million.
10,000. I'm in.
Okay, so all right,
Tom, write him a check and good day, sir. Just let me know when I've made more money.
So all right, Sharks, do you have any questions?
Yes, where's the defibrillator? Nearest one, stat! Okay. Chris, why don't you start? I'm going to try to recover here for a second.
I liked your idea initially before you played the CD.
He's being honest. You guys are taking it serious. We are taking it
Yeah,
serious.
very serious. Yeah, it's serious and fun at the same time.
And I think there's a reason. Like Baby Einstein, all the kids' videos. Who are they narrated by? An English lady, and why? Because
Harry Potter.
When a dude does it, it sounds creepy.
Well, and a lot of times it's kids, narrating their own stuff, and that's hard though because you're not a.
Hey, there's an idea. Okay, so hold on, you're onto something there.
Yeah.
So, do you know what a pivot is in business? Okay, it's a pivot. So you got a good foundation. I like the concept because anxiety is real, stress is real. I don't have kids.
I'm your guy, by the way.
Yeah. But, I mean, you can see it. I mean,
kids do have it.
Yeah, and kids 20 years ago to kids now, it's a whole different realm. There's social media. There's all kinds of stuff they're seeing, that's affecting lives. what if you did a kids bop version, quote unquote, of stress anxiety? So maybe you had an older kid leading this, right? That might be.
I like that.
Yeah, like a kids bop anxiety.
I think that's a great idea.
Yeah, because I personally, I think you're onto something. And again, don't ever be embarrassed by your first version.
Yeah, no.
You have to start somewhere.
Yeah,
And everybody gets stressed out. Like even my daughter, who's just a toddler.
My dog gets stressed
when
out.
she can't communicate. You can see like that's where like hitting comes from and stuff like that. There's a certain level of stress there. The one thing that does calm her down, she has this teddy bear that you press press its belly and it plays exactly that style music, but there's really nobody talking. So I could see as she would get older how something like that would be extremely beneficial, but I do think a kid probably delivering the message.
Right. I never thought of that.
Well, let's look at it like this, right? There's a stigma behind therapy.
Yeah.
Right? That's really kind of breaking its mold finally. Like people are like, oh, it's okay to have anxiety. It's okay to be depressed. Why don't we talk about it? And so like our generation growing up, if you went to therapy, you were a crazy person.
Oh, that's
right?
absolutely.
So now you're
my dad would have slapped that CD player out of your hand.
Oh yeah, he'd beat your ass with it and send you back to the farm to dig another hole.
He would have poured whiskey in your eyes and told you to leave.
Now, you have one other problem also is you have a lot of competition because like for my kids, Aiden and Evan, like Aiden is a crazy person. He's 3. He is nuts. So to calm him down, I normally will play him like a NWA CD or Insane Clown Posse. So you have a lot of competition out there. But no, I think you are actually onto something. But just it needs to be fine tuned for sure. For sure.
Let me ask you a question: have you sold or have you reached out? Like,
or is that the original right there?
Who's your demographic?
That's the only one.
That is the only one.
God hope
I've been focusing more on
one other copy
side.
has been admitted into evidence in a trial.
I've been focusing more on the book side the past few years. I've had 3 really good illustrators, but it fell through.
Okay.
They didn't take it as seriously, and at the time, I didn't take it that seriously. But now I'm kind of like, let's do it.
I like the pivot idea, man.
I gave out. I would read the stories at my preschool, and I would have the kids illustrate it themselves.
Oh, that's cool.
I like how they thought in their mind.
That's great, man.
Speaking of pivoting,
you should. Some good material.
I can't read, so I have a very problem reading my son books, especially as he's getting older. They're getting more and more words in them. So
what happened to picture books?
I like the idea of having a
Shout
CD
out picture books.
that I could just push play, and then I'm turning the pages. It's reading.
Well, think about that.
professionally.
Where is the new? Remember when you would get the Star Wars, 7-inch.
The read-along.
Yeah, the read-along, and you would know it was time to turn the page when you heard R2-D2 go boop, boop, boop. Yeah, like where is the new version of that? I don't see it.
They have think about Audible, right?
Yeah.
We have an Audible for us. Is there an Audible for kids?
Well, there's not. Wow.
Oh, well, then.
I might drop the mic.
You might need to get out of the hummus game, brother. That's a really good idea.
Nobody steal my idea.
I mean, we'll all do this idea. We got the money to fund it.
But
we have microphones. All right,
you can take your CD player.
And if you ever need any help with any of that, if you ever like make your CDs more grandiose and look like with you're following along the books or anything, and you need voices or anything, I would love to do it and help you.
You were the first person I thought of.
Well, I would love to help you out. I've been wanting to get into this game for so long. Like when I say that me and my mom have investigated that's 100% true. In fact, Tom was going to do a voice. My wife has done voices. What voice were you? You were a voice one time for my mom. My mom has a series of puppets. She wants to get this puppet thing off. I know he doesn't like talking about it, but he does a really good job. And my mom does these puppet things, and you'd be amazed at the amount of retention that you get from a kid watching a puppet versus just watching, the teacher.
Well,
they love the.
Let's ask a couple questions. What do you think the market size is for this? Step one.
Well, first I would say the market would be locally. I would try to the BDMs, to your listeners, where I used to work.
Those animals ain't buying shit for their kids.
Come on.
They all have kids. I mean, a lot of them.
They all have kids, but they want to buy weed.
I miss weed.
Be a responsible big dick.
But I'd also want to reach out to the company that I used to work for. It was in Celebration, just like this. I was like, am I in Celebration? I was like, but I know a lot of people locally, and to get it out. Also, when I wanted to do it a few years ago, my old boss was just like, hey, at this company, you have a curriculum. You have a big book this big. So Tuesday the 3rd, you have to do what it says. And so at Circle Time, you read Where the Wild Things Are. And if you could get marketed into a place like that, every center has that book.
Old man therapy. Dan MegaMix. Old man.
All right, this is a surprise.
Yeah,
that I specifically.
It is a surprise. I see you. You're standing outside.
Yeah.
And then you couldn't figure out how to open our door to the studio. So I hear a lot of of bebop bloops.
These gentlemen are making fun of me. They're like, "That's what you get for having an electronic keypad."
Yeah, back in my day, a good old fashioned key and some tumblers worked. And then I hear. Oh yeah, now, I hear all of this, and then you walk in with what appears to be in sync from the future.
Yeah.
You come in with four gentlemen that are dressed like waiters at a Carrabba's.
Yeah, they're dressed very nicely.
Yeah, they are. They're dressed up. You're all t-shirts and hats.
Yeah, they're all dressed the same. And now, okay,
and I don't know what the hell's going on.
I'll explain to you.
I thought you'd done something wrong, and I thought the OPD just changed the way that they dress.
So I'll explain to you. I get a Facebook message. And usually, and this goes into the theme of I'm so busy, I'm like, yes, sounds good, let's do it. So I get a Facebook message from a gentleman that tells me, like, hey, I know a barbershop quartet, and there's a competition coming up in April.
Oh, nice.
And I would like to, send a barbershop quartet by the studio.
Love it.
To perform for you.
I love
and then
barbershop.
Talk a little bit of quartetting, I guess that's the...
Man, barbershop is a dying art. I'm in. I'm in 100%. My mom is a classically trained musician. She's a vocal major. Man, I'm in. This is good.
And so
you of all people brought a barbershop quartet into the studio?
I did. This is the Sea Breeze Quartet, and it's not SEA, it's the letter C.
Like you? Oh, okay. See, like in music.
Yes,
like hitting a C note.
Yeah.
All right, I like that.
And we got Jim, Larry, Randy, and Frank with us in studio. And
what barbershop are they based out of?
That's what I want to. I don't know.
I think we should send them by Liberty.
We're on the same wavelength.
I think John the barber would love this.
There was some,
we all go to the same barber. He's a traditional, old school, straight razor barber. That's where we go.
There was someone getting their hair cut. This is a no joke at Liberty, and we were talking barbershop quartets. And he was a younger gentleman, like at my age, and he was in a barbershop quartet. And I was asking him the history and why it's called the barbershop quartet, and I don't remember the exact answer. And maybe are you Larry or Randy? Larry. Let me ask
right
you,
on the mic, Larry.
Yeah. Do you know what's the history of barbershop quartet?
Well, way back in the early 1900s, gentlemen would get together at barbershop, as they usually do, and talk.
Yeah.
Well, one of them started singing a song, and another one chimed in.
Okay.
And eventually, they grew to four guys because there were four different voice parts. Tenor, lead, bass, and baritone.
Okay.
Nice.
And they started singing. If you're familiar with the play The Music Man.
Yes, yeah. Not familiar with that, but I understand it. I know The Music Man.
You remember the theme, ice cream, ice cream, ice cream, ice cream.
Mm-hmm.
Barbershop.
Don't lie to the man, Tom.
No, it's the hello.
Yeah. And then we poke each other's eyes.
They were ice cream.
Okay, gotcha. So it literally started from barbers singing.
Right.
And then
patrons at a barber shop.
Oh, patrons, not the barbers.
Patrons.
Okay, gotcha. Yeah. All right.
You're not. He doesn't listen to anyone. I'm 39. Anyone that's 40 or over, he doesn't listen to.
That's not true.
He's a freewheeling youngster, and we could teach him a lot about life.
No. That's not true.
Well, I don't know about that. I mean, he's 83.
Okay.
You look good, man.
I'm 80.
Oh, wow.
85.
Right.
And youngster here.
Yeah, youngster.
78.
Okay, you guys look awesome.
Yeah. I only wish I'm not going to live that long. I already have high blood pressure, and I'm 30. I'm turning 34 in like 3 days. I'm
Happy birthday.
I know.
I got you a barbershop quartet that's in better health than you are.
I feel like my grandfather's 89. He's in better health than I am.
He is. He's a very strong old man.
Yeah, I feel like it's.
But don't call him old man. He'll beat you up.
No, he will. I feel like.
What voice part does he sing?
He's a tenor.
Not very much of a singer.
Yeah, he's a tenor. I'm a tenor.
Are you?
Yeah.
Consider. Yeah. Okay, now let me ask you this.
I'm considered a tenor.
So, okay, a tenor is what now? High.
A little higher. Yeah.
Okay, and bass obviously is low, and then there's baritone too. And that's even lower than bass?
No.
Higher, a little bit higher than bass.
Sometimes higher than the lead.
Okay.
And then you got your lead, who's gonna.
I'm the melody man.
Okay, gotcha. So,
you're the spokesperson, kind of the face. You're the Justin Timberlake.
This
of
quartet,
of the group, right?
Okay.
The gentleman to the right of him is the Joey Fatone.
Yeah,
it's hard to describe. But anyway, it's a NSYNC joke. But okay, so you guys are having a competition come up in April.
Yes.
Okay, is there now barbershop quartets? What I know of them, stereotypically, everybody in a barbershop quartet is older. And what I've noticed, but then there was young barbershop quartets.
You didn't see all those shows? They had this. What is it? The shows where all the barbershop quartets were like really, really young guys. It's really the makeup of the people. It has nothing to do with age.
Oh, well, I mean, like the current barbershop quartets, it doesn't seem like there's a lot of 20-year-olds getting into quartetting.
Wrong, Kimasabi.
Oh, okay.
Wrong, Kimasabi.
It'd be better if you punched me in the face.
If you had knocked him out when he said that and just walked out and not saying a lick, that would have been way better.
That's amazing. He intuitively knew you were of Native American descent.
Sure.
He did. Yeah, he is an Indian.
One of the other quartets has a young fella who's 17 years old.
Oh, really?
Another one is 18 years old.
Oh.
And Barry, how old is Barry? He just graduated. He's in college.
What does he sing, though, Barry?
He sings baritone.
I was going to say, he's got to be a baritone. Yeah, you got to do that. And if you're not, you got to alter your range, man.
So younger people are getting into quartetting.
Again, yes.
Okay, gotcha. Wow. See, these are things I didn't know. This is why we had...
you and I should go to the competition. You would really like it. I have a brand. Well, she's 7 months now. Daughter who loves music, any kind of music. So if it's local, I might bring her out. She would love that.
We practice every Monday night. You're more than welcome to come.
Yeah, I would love that. My mom would love that too. That would be really cool.
The contest is local, by the way. It's at the Marriott Hotel at the airport.
Okay.
Don't bring your mom around these smooth fellas, Dan.
Yeah, that's she's 70. You never know. If any of you guys single, might be hang out. I gotta go watch my stepdad sing the barbershop quartet.
So, okay, in the competition, how is it just judges? Or is it based on, if you're hitting the right melodies, or is it just completely subjective judging?
Judges.
Okay, just the judges. Are they all, old school barbershop quartet members that know, who's...
They're certified judges.
Wow.
Gotcha, okay.
Music, stage presence, presentation...
Yeah, if you guys want to bend your mics down, anybody's able to talk. It's fine.
Yeah. And,
you're all on.
Yeah, all the mics are on. So, okay, and then they just judge by, like you said, stage presence. Which you guys got an awesome stage presence.
Yeah, you look good.
Everybody's matching.
Seabreeze, they went for a blue theme.
Yeah, exactly. I
like it.
Their card is tropical. Yeah. I like it.
Yeah.
And
you gotta break off a little Beach Boys Kokomo.
Now, do you guys move at all, or does that is there any sort of choreography? Yeah. Maybe even a sway back and forth.
Sometimes.
Okay, gotcha. Yeah, that plays into it. But then I guess the younger guys, they can't just all of a sudden start breakdancing and then get a higher score.
I would vote them down for that.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying.
They're not wild animals. Barbershop quartet.
I'm just saying,
at a certain level, you got to be a gentleman.
Yeah, someone from So You Think You Could Dance starts doing a backflip and then taking over the competition.
I'd vote him down personally,
because that's not classic quartetting at that point.
Unless he can carry a tune while he's doing a backflip.
Yeah, gotcha. Yeah.
All four of them have to do backflips.
The 78-year-old wants to talk, but he's too shy because he's the young. I said, "Go ahead, grab that mic, sir. Grab that mic."
No,
he's a minister. Don't get him.
Is that right?
Oh,
okay.
yeah, he's mad. He's mad at you.
Throw some holy water on this one, sir. I'm worried about him.
This guy's bad.
Okay, so I would, now's the time I would like to hear you guys sing. Is this the actual song you're going to sing for competition, or this is something that you normally do?
This is a song that we're doing today for Valentine's Day.
Oh, okay, perfect, awesome.
I'll sing this for my wife.
Yeah, this is great. So you guys can sit, stand, whatever you guys want, I forgot about the part where there's the little, what is that called?
It's our marching band.
No, it's a little
pitch pipe.
Pitch. Okay, pitch.
He doesn't know anything about life. This gentleman here.
I'm sorry. This is barbershop quartetting is new to me.
They'll blow it and then they'll get the key of their song.
Okay, let's hear it.
Heart of my heart, I love you. Life would be naught without you. Light of my life, my darling, I love you. I love you. I can forget you never. From you I ne'er can sever. Say you'll be mine forever. I love you.
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
The bass started walking at the end, man. I heard that. Yeah.
Man, you guys are really good.
Bass was walking at the end. I loved it.
That is impressive. Have you always been able to sing your entire life? Like that's something you've been into, like individually as like hobbies or something?
He and I have been doing this for 55 years.
55 years?
Right into the
Wow.
microphone. There you go.
We've been doing this for over 55 years.
Wow, that is impressive.
That's amazing.
I wish I can get into something and be,
I mean, you haven't known what a pitch pipe is for 34 years. I feel like that's very good.
Right.
Yeah, that's something to be proud of.
I can be ignorant for 55 years.
Yeah, if you can be ignorant for 55 years, I feel like it balances out.
I will accomplish that.
Yeah.
Well,
we're getting you educated.
Yeah, thank you, guys.
That was great, you guys.
So
really, really cool.
If you want to see the Sea Breeze Quartet, you guys are going to be at the Marriott near downtown. Where is it at now? Airport, near the airport.
Let me add something. We
Yes.
also have a chorus.
Okay.
It's a chorus and quartet contest.
Okay.
So we do have a chorus, and they do some dancing, some choreography.
So yeah, it's a cool show.
Yeah, there are some choruses that are 200 men in it that sing 4-part music.
Wow. Yeah, that's pretty impressive. So I appreciate you guys coming. Thank you very much. If you want to see the Sea Breeze Quartet, the Marriott by the airport, what day is what's the date?
April 29th and 30th.
April 29th and 30th. Thank you guys so much. We appreciate you coming by. Do you have a Facebook or anything like that? That's probably not, huh?
Yes. But today, this is what we're doing.
Oh, okay. Oh, this Valentine's Day. So, okay, explain to me this, because you can actually show up at people's houses and sing them a Valentine's Day song. Do you want me to read this number on the air?
Yes, that's a telephone number they can call and order a singing Valentine for today, tomorrow, or Sunday.
Oh, that's really great.
Well, okay, the number is 407-831-4698. Sorry.
Didn't mean.
I apologize. No. It's 407-831.
He loves Valentine's Day.
4698. Sorry.
You okay, man?
I'm sorry. I drank too much coffee, and now I'm losing it.
Yeah. That's the funniest phone number I've ever heard.
So, and you could actually show up at people's house and then sing them a love song.
Or business.
Or business.
Okay, great.
Or factories to call.
Or churches. We just came from a church.
Really? Oh, really? That's awesome.
Same for teachers at daycare.
Oh, cool. Awesome. So, again... I'm sorry.
Off button.
Yeah, I know. We don't. Yeah, we're 407-831-6498. Oh, I'm sorry.
Well, thank you guys for coming in. Appreciate it.
Thank you, man.
Thank you.
Thanks for advertising for us.
Dan MegaMix